The Queen of Pop brought her baby to the house and got the marriage certificate. The selection system was activated, and 100 million was given up at the beginning. Aquaman, no, just a sailor. Just now, in a private room in the cafe, a woman wearing sunglasses and a mask was sitting opposite him. "I'm pregnant," the woman said. "What does it have to do with me?" "You mean mine?" Suluo looked at the woman who took off her sunglasses, revealing a pair of beautiful eyes, and just kept looking at him and asked in confusion. That's impossible," Suluo said firmly. Suluo called himself a sea king, but he never checked into a hotel with a girl. "You..." Buzz, just as the woman was about to speak, Suluo's phone vibrated. Suluo raised her hand to interrupt the woman, then picked up her phone and unlocked it. "A little wildcat, let's break up." Suluo frowned, then began typing a reply. "Sorry, no notes, which one are you?" "A little wildcat, Suluo, you scumbag. Click on the profile picture, click on the upper right corner. Delete the friend and confirm." "Beauty, who are you? What do you want from me?" Suluo put down his phone and looked up at the woman opposite him. He felt a sense of familiarity between her brows. Buzz buzz, the phone vibrates again. Suluo picked up her phone and saw hot news on the headlines. Popular pop diva Yi Zayaramu is suspected of being pregnant before marriage and went to the hospital alone for a prenatal checkup yesterday. Picture. "Look, today's celebrities are actually pregnant before marriage." Suluo casually joked about the news and suddenly found that the woman opposite him had anger in her eyes. She stared at him and then slowly took off her mask. Her eyes were as pure as water, her mouth was as red and small as a cherry, and her long black hair made her look like she had walked out of a comic book. She was Yi Zayaramu. "Are you Yi Zayaramu?" Suluo said in surprise. "Yeah," Yi Zayaramu nodded. "You are pregnant before marriage." "Yeah, yours." "Oh, I haven't even seen you." "The 11th of last month," Yi Zayaramu's crisp voice came. Suluo frowned. Then she remembered that on February 11, when they just started school, 4 people in the dormitory went out drinking, drank too much, and stayed in a hotel. When she woke up, there was a smear of red on the bed sheet. Suluo was upset that her first time was lost in such a muddle. She didn't even know who the partner was, and she didn't even have any feelings. "How do you know it's mine?" Suluo frowned. Although everything made sense, how did the other party know it was his? He had no memory of that night. "Your ID card and student ID card." Yi Zayaramu took out 2 documents from her bag and placed them on the table. "I said I couldn't find my ID card and student ID card, and it turns out they are with you." Suluo took the ID card and student ID card and looked at them. They were indeed his. "I'm pregnant." Seeing that Suluo had no intention of cooperating, Yi Zayaramu spoke in a cold voice, emphasizing each word. Ding! Suluo was about to speak when a voice suddenly sounded in her mind. "The God-level selection system has been activated. After testing, Yi Zayaramu is pregnant with the host's child. Please choose. 1. Abort the child and receive a cash reward of 100 million. 2. Keep the child and receive a cash reward of 1 yuan. Suluo frowned, feeling the options in her mind. What the hell is this? Unbind it. Unbinding the system will destroy the host. Do you want to unbind it? Why should I untie it? If I don't, will it be my child? Suluo thought to herself. There is a 99.999999% chance that the child Yi Zayaramu is carrying is biologically related to the host. Suluo sighed. Although 100 million was within reach, although he was a sea king, he also had his bottom line. Option 2. Selection successful. Reward has been received. I understand. What do you think? Suluo looked at Yi Zayaramu. I don't know. I only found out when I went for a checkup yesterday and it was exposed. Seeing that Suluo finally believed him, Yi Zayaramu felt relieved but also a little confused. On the afternoon of February 11, Yi Zayaramu held a concert. At the dinner after the concert, she was drugged and returned to the room with a man in a daze. When I woke up in the morning, I found myself. In order to avoid being exposed, I left in a hurry. I also took away Suluo's ID card and student ID card. If you don't mind, why don't you marry me? Seeing Yi Zayaramu's panic-stricken look, Suluo made a ruthless decision in her heart. Yi Zayaramu looked up at Suluo in shock. He had an almost perfect face. Thinking of what Suluo had just said, her heart began to beat faster. I'm 25, Yi Zayaramu said subconsciously. At this moment, she regarded herself as an ordinary person. She was completely unaware of how attractive her identity and appearance were to most people. So how could anyone dislike her? You clearly look only 18 years old, Suluo said, looking at Yi Zayaramu's delicate face. Then he took out his cell phone and opened WeChat chat. 1 Nana 167D deleted. 2 Linlin 170B deleted. Yi Zairamu laughed out loud with a blush on her face and whispered, "How can she be 18 years old? If you are not a minor at the age of 17, then I would definitely say that you look more like 17 years old." Su Luo looked at Yi Zairamu with a smile, while her hands were operating quickly. "Ha ha ha, goose, goose, goose." Yi Zairamu was already laughing like a goose. But at the same time, she also realized that her favorability towards Su Luo seemed to be increasing very quickly, and for a moment she felt a sense of falsehood. She was not stupid, she felt that Su Luo was a bit like a scumbag. After all, she had no memory of that night, and she didn't know if Su Luo was skilled. This made her a little hesitant. 100, Tianchen 155G deleted. Su Luo put down her phone, and from then on, she released all the fish, retired from the fish farming world, and never set foot in the fish farming circle again. "Wait for me, you must wait for me to come back." Su Luo looked at the hesitant Yi Zairamu and said seriously, then quickly rushed out of the meat coffee shop. Half an hour later, Su Luo appeared at the door of the box, sweating profusely and panting. He adjusted his breathing slightly, ran his hands through his hair, and took a rough look at his image through the glass reflection at the door. Nothing was wrong. He opened the door to the box and walked in. Yi Zairamu looked at Su Luo, who was sweating profusely, curiously. Listening to her slightly heavy breathing, a hint of curiosity flashed in her eyes. Then Yi Zairamu looked at Su Luo in surprise as she knelt on one knee, took out a jewelry box from her pocket with her right hand, and opened it. A diamond ring that faintly shone with 7-color rainbow light was held up by Su Luo with one hand. "Will you marry me?" A gentle and magnetic voice came from Su Luo's mouth. Chapter 2, Will You Marry Me? "Will you marry me?" Yi Zairamu covered her mouth and looked at Su Luo in front of her in surprise, standing there in a daze for a moment. Su Luo saw Yi Zairamu stunned and was about to speak. "But Yi Zairamu is hesitating about the host's proposal. Please choose. 1. Give up the marriage proposal and get God-level cooking skills as a reward. 2. Continue to propose and receive a cash reward of 1 yuan. Su Luo felt the options and thought that this system might have something seriously wrong with its brain. "Tongzi, are you seriously ill?" "The host is right. A bug has been detected and the system is being adjusted." Adjustments completed. Yi Zairamu is hesitating about the host's proposal. Please choose. 1. Give up the proposal and get a cash reward of 1 yuan. 2. Continue the proposal and receive a God-level cooking skill reward. Su Luo looked at the current interface and nodded with satisfaction. Although he was a Sea King, he was only ambiguous and did not take action. His family education made him never give up his children. Choice 2, Su Luo thought to herself. The choice was successful, and the reward has been issued. The reward will subtly influence the host, and the host's culinary skills will continue to improve. Can you give me a response? This is so awkward," Su Luo said when she saw Yi Zairamu still in a daze. Yi Zairamu suddenly came back to her senses, looked at Su Luo, her face slightly red, and unconsciously she slowly raised her white and tender little hand. Ding-ling-ling. Yi Zairamu's phone rang, interrupting the two of them. "Dad," Yi Zairamu was startled when she saw the incoming call. She picked up the phone in a panic and spoke with a trembling voice. "What's going on in the news? Explain it to me clearly." Yi Zhenhua's serious voice came. Yi Zairamu was speechless for a moment, not knowing what to say. "Is what the news said true? Are you really pregnant?" Yi Zhenhua's voice suddenly became several decibels louder, and Su Luo beside him heard it. What do you mean by me? Where are you now? Who is that man?" Yi Zhenhua didn't know how to describe his feelings at this moment. Angry, heartbroken. "Dad," Su Luo stood up, took the phone from Yi Zairamu's hand, and called out in a familiar manner. "Who's your dad, huh? Who are you? You're the—" "Yes, Dad, I am Zairamu's boyfriend," Su Luo answered with a smile. "Don't call me Dad, I'm not your dad. Just stay where you are, I'll come over now." Yi Zhenhua's tone was unquestionable. "Dad, don't come over here. Zairamu and I will go back now." "I told you not to call me Dad. Let Zairamu answer the phone." Su Luo handed the phone to Yi Zairamu, who was standing beside her in amazement, and flicked her forehead. "Hurry up and talk. Our dad is looking for you." "Dad, let's go back now." Yi Zairamu held the phone in her left hand, raised her right hand to cover her forehead, glared at Su Luo, and said coquettishly, "Yeah, be careful." Yi Zhenhua's tone finally softened. After all, she was his daughter. "Old Yi, what about Zairamu?" After Yi Zhenhua hung up the phone, his wife's son Tingting asked curiously. "They said they had a boyfriend, so I asked them to come back now." Yi Zhenhua sighed. "Why did you snatch my phone and say that?" Yi Zayaramu looked at Su Luo angrily after hanging up the phone. That's because I was a little anxious because you couldn't speak, Su Luo explained. You still call him dad, now you ask us to go back. Yi Zayaramu looked like she was about to cry. Then go back, where are you from? Su Luo shrugged indifferently. Magic City, Yi Zayaramu said unhappily. Okay, I'm not angry anymore, give me a pat. Su Luo rubbed Yi Zayaramu's hair. After Su Luo knew that Yi Zayaramu was the mother of his child, his favorability towards her skyrocketed. Of course, it was only based on their identities. Who is our Su Luo? He is a man known as the Sea King. He has seen all kinds of beauties. How could he be seduced by the peerless beauty Yi Zayaramu? What a joke. Yi Zayaramu rolled her eyes and slapped Su Luo's hand away. Su Luo grabbed Yi Zayaramu's left hand and put the ring on her left ring finger with a serious look on her face. Yi Zayaramu's pupils widened slightly. Seeing Su Luo looking at her affectionately, her face turned red, but she didn't say anything. She picked up the phone and called her assistant. Let's go. Yi Zayaramu put on a mask and sunglasses and walked out. Seeing this, Su Luo raised the corner of her mouth slightly and immediately followed. The two people got into a business car that met at the door of the coffee shop. Hi, Su Luo greeted the driver and the assistant in the passenger seat in a familiar manner. This is Li Yang, Master Li, and this is my assistant Lu Mio Mio. Yi Zayaramu introduced. Master Li Mio Mio, hello, I am Su Luo. Su Luo introduced herself with a smile. Okay, let's go back to the Magic City first. Yi Zayaramu fastened his seat belt and said. Su Luo also sat up straight and fastened her seat belt. Li Yang started the business car and slowly drove towards the Magic City. The car was relatively quiet along the way. Looking at Yi Zayaramu, who seemed to be asleep on the side, Su Luo thought for a moment, unbuckled her seat belt, and went straight to the corner of the back seat to take out her phone. Mom, transfer some money to me, Su Luo said softly, completely unaware that Yi Zayaramu in the front row had opened his eyes. Didn't I just give you living expenses? Why do you want it again? 50,000, Su's mother said in a gradually rising voice. 50,000 is enough. What 50,000? Wait a minute, my son is calling. Didn't I just give you 20,000 yuan for living expenses? Why do you want money again? Su's mother fell silent. That is all used up. Su Luo thought about the diamond ring she just bought for 18,888. What's the point of pretending? She's going to have to eat dirt. It's only been more than a month. Su's mother's voice suddenly became serious. Mom, well, I have a girlfriend and I'm on my way to her house now. I have no money and I can't go there empty-handed, Su Luo explained in a low voice. Good boy, well done. I'll transfer 50,000 to you later. Is that enough? Forget it. I'll transfer 100,000 to you. Remember to be generous. Bring your girlfriend back to me next time. Su's mother immediately smiled happily. Buzz, Su Luo received a transfer of 100,000 yuan via WeChat on her mobile phone. Mom, got it. Okay, you do your best. Come on, my son has a girlfriend. It seems my luck has come. Keep going, son, hang up, Su's mother said excitedly and hung up the phone. There was a hint of smile in Yi Zayaramu's eyes, and then she slowly closed her eyes. Su Luo put away her phone, carefully sat back in the front row, looked at Yi Zayaramu, who was still sleeping, and breathed a sigh of relief. Master Li, let's stop at a shopping mall. I want to buy something, Su Luo said as they got off the highway and into the Magic City. Okay, Master Li responded. IFC building parking lot. Uncle and aunt, do you have any hobbies? Su Luo looked at Yi Zayaramu, who had woken up, and asked. You guess. Chapter 3, What did my father-in-law ask me? Guess, Yi Zayaramu's slightly playful voice came. Su Luo rolled her eyes. What the hell is this guess? Wait for me here, I'm going to buy something. Su Luo opened the car door, turned around, and said to Yi Zayaramu. Wait, I'll go with you. Yi Zayaramu unbuckled his seat belt, walked down, and spoke. Su Luo watched Yi Zayaramu get out of the car, looking thoughtful. Then she asked, Aren't you afraid of being photographed? Okay then. Yi Zayaramu sat back in the car. This matter has not been resolved yet, and public opinion has been allowed to ferment. What do our parents do? Su Luo asked while standing outside the car. What do you mean by our parents? Humph, my dad is a professor of physics, and my mom is a professor of literature, Yi Zayaramu said in a flat voice, but the power of his voice was as if a truck had run over it. So what's your educational background? Su Luo exclaimed, Wow. I don't have a high level of education, Yi Zayaramu said in a low voice. That's good, Su Luo breathed a sigh of relief. Well, Yi Zayaramu is the queen of the music world, so it's understandable that she doesn't have a high level of education. I'm a master of arts. Just when Su Luo was secretly relieved, Yi Zayaramu's voice came faintly. Master, master, master. It seems like I'm the one with the lowest education. Su Luo wanted to cry but had no tears. This was a crushing defeat in terms of IQ. My dad likes drinking tea, and my mom likes beauty treatments. Yi Zairamu looked at Su Luo's deflated look and smiled slightly, then spoke. Okay, I'll be back soon. Su Luo closed the car door and let out a long sigh. I walked into the mall and picked up 2 boxes of tea, 2 bottles of wine, 2 packs of cigarettes, 2 sets of cosmetics, some fruits, and finally a pair of shoes. I also ran to the men's clothing store, changed into a new set of clothes and added some shoes, and threw away the clothes I was wearing because they were just bought casually. No matter what, you should always pay attention to your image when visiting someone for the first time. Although he is already very handsome, there is nothing wrong in pursuing better. Su Luo put all the bags into the trunk, picked up a pair of shoes, and got into the car. You should wear this. You can't wear high heels when you are pregnant. Su Luo handed over the women's sneakers in her hand. He estimated the size by eye. It was size 36, which was theoretically correct. Yi Zairamu blushed as she took off her high heels and put on sneakers. It's quite comfortable. Looking at Su Luo's hopeful eyes, Yi Zairamu said softly, That's fine, Master Li, let's go. Ajk, he said, started the car and drove towards Jinxiu community. Master Li, mio, you guys go back first. After Su Luo got out of the car and took down the things, Yi Zairamu stood aside and spoke. Okay, Sister Zairamu, let's go then. Mio waved at Yi Zairamu. Let's go, remember we are boyfriend and girlfriend, okay? Yi Zairamu said when she saw Li Yang and the others leaving. I know, but wait a minute, let me take a breath. Su Luo was a bit of a social cowboy before, but when she got downstairs, she found that she was really a bit nervous. If you just opened your mouth and called me dad, aren't you nervous now? Yi Zairamu said sarcastically. How is that possible? I just carried a few things and I'm a little tired. I need to catch my breath for a while, Su Luo said, taking a few deep breaths. If your hands don't shake, I'll believe it. Yi Zairamu rolled her eyes. Su Luo looked at her hands, which were somewhat out of control. She forced herself to control herself and walked straight up with her things in hand. Let's go, which floor? 26. Take the elevator. Su Luo walked down the stairs and stood in the elevator. Ding, we arrived at the 26th floor. Wait a minute. Seeing Yi Zairamu preparing to walk out of the elevator, Su Luo immediately spoke. Huh, Yi Zairamu stood at the elevator entrance and looked at Su Luo in confusion. Could you please briefly introduce your family? Like what's your father's last name and how should I call him? I can see you're nervous. It's not shameful, but your IQ might be a little off. My dad's last name is Yi. Yi Zairamu didn't know why, but when she saw Su Luo's expression, she felt like laughing and a little happy at the same time. Okay, let's go, it's okay. My parents won't eat you. Yi Zairamu walked out of the elevator and pulled Su Luo to the door. Although your parents won't eat me, I feel like they will ruin me. Su Luo muttered softly. What did you say? Yi Zairamu entered the password while looking at Su Luo in confusion. Nothing. Ding, the door opened. Dad, Mom, Yi Zairamu called sweetly. Uncle, Aunt. Su Luo said that she was very calm and it was just a small scene. I am Zairamu's boyfriend. My name is Su Luo. When Su Luo mentioned her boyfriend, she immediately felt a chill and couldn't help shivering. Yi Zhenhua was staring at him. This is cigarettes, alcohol, and tea for my uncle, and this is beauty products for my aunt, as well as facial masks. Eating more fruits can also beautify your skin. Su Luo saw that the atmosphere was a little cold, so she immediately spoke up and put the things on the coffee table in the living room. Zairo Luo, is it okay to call you that? Sure, Auntie, Su Luo nodded with a smile. Zairo Luo, come and sit down. Sun Tingting pulled Su Luo to sit on the sofa. Su Luo sat upright, just like a primary school student in class. This made Yi Zairamu on the side laugh so hard. Zairo Luo, what does your family do? When the son-in-law arrived, the first question he asked was, what does your family do? Auntie, my father and mother opened a company that makes automotive glass. I am currently a student at Jinling University of Finance and Economics. I will graduate in the second half of this year. Su Luo answered respectfully. Sun Tingting frowned when she heard that. She was younger than Zairo Mu. Seeing Zairo Mu smiling beside her, she glared at her. Then he winked at Yi Zhenhua, signaling him to come and ask. Zairo Luo, what are your plans for the future? Yi Zhenhua recalled the question his father-in-law asked him that year and spoke. Su Luo's mind was spinning wildly. Was he asking me how I would treat Yi Zairamu in the future, or what I would do after graduation? What's the reply? Waiting online, it's urgent. Uncle, I'm visiting you this time to express my feelings to you too. I want to marry Zairo Mu. Su Luo finally chose the former. In his opinion, his parents should be more concerned about his attitude towards Yi Zhaomu. The crows fly by. The scene was awkward. Yi Zhenhua didn't listen to Su Luo at all because he was still thinking about the question his father-in-law had asked him that year. No one else spoke, so Su Luo naturally didn't speak either. She glanced at Yi Zhaomu, who stuck out her tongue, expressing her helplessness. Zhaomu, come with me to cook. On the contrary, after hearing what Su Luo said, Sun Tingting's worries were reduced a lot, and she was ready to give space to Yi Zhenhua and Su Luo. Cooking? Su Luo's eyes lit up. She was worrying about how to get rid of this awkward atmosphere. Auntie, how about I cook? Su Luo stood up and looked at Sun Tingting. Chapter 4, we plan to get the certificate first. Xiao Luo can also cook. Sun Tingting's brows immediately lit up with joy. This was a plus point, so she wrote it down in her little notebook. Yes, Auntie, let me show you my skills today. Okay, Lao Yi, go and help out. Sun Tingting intended to let the two men stay together and chat, because she wanted to talk to Xiaomu alone. After all, her daughter's boyfriend was over, so she still had some questions for her. Su Luo was stunned. What an awkward atmosphere, but if she had something to do, it shouldn't be as awkward as she imagined. Right. Xiaomu, what do you think? Sun Tingting pulled Yi Zhaomu to sit on the sofa. Yi Zhaomu didn't say anything, but her face turned slightly red, and she raised the ring on her hand. After he knew I was pregnant, he used all his money to buy a ring and propose to me. Yi Zhaomu whispered in Sun Tingting's ear. Sun Tingting nodded with satisfaction. How long have you been dating? When did you get pregnant? Yi Zhaomu panicked when she heard this, hesitating and unable to speak. Seeing Sun Tingting's scrutinizing eyes, she steeled herself and spoke. More than a month. I've been pregnant for more than a month. What, you? Sun Tingting's face changed, and her voice suddenly rose but quickly subsided again. Yi Zhaomu nodded with a red face. There was no other way. She couldn't tell her parents that she was drugged, slept with him, and then got pregnant. As professors, they didn't want her to enter the entertainment industry. If they knew about this, they would definitely ask her to quit. Mom, we fell in love at first sight, and we had a few drinks. Yi Zhaomu looked at her mother and could only speak in a low voice. She was determined to cover up her lie even if she had to kneel down. You've been drinking, and what about the baby in your belly? Sun Tingting said with some concern. It's fine. I just had a checkup yesterday and the doctor said I'm healthy. Sun Tingting nodded and immediately felt relieved. Although the two of them had known each other for a short time, Sun Tingting was quite satisfied with Su Luo's performance and naturally did not have too many opinions. The other side. How long have you been dating? Yi Zhenhua, who was cutting vegetables, asked casually. Well, more than half a year. Su Luo suddenly panicked. She had only said that they were boyfriend and girlfriend before, but didn't say how long they had been together. She was afraid that her statement would be exposed. I've liked her for more than half a year, and we were only officially together last month. Su Luo thought for a moment and added. This way, no matter what Yi Zhaomu said outside, he would have a way to make it work. There was a moment of silence. If two grown men were not familiar with each other, especially in this kind of relationship, it would indeed be awkward. Fortunately, Su Luo had already prepared the meal, so they got rid of this embarrassment. The four of them sat together and started eating. Wow, it's delicious. Yi Zhaomu's eyes suddenly lit up. Su Luo kicked her lightly from the side, then signaled with her eyes. It's much more delicious than before. Yi Zhaomu's eyes turned, and she immediately understood what Su Luo meant. She almost let herself go. She was pregnant, but she had never eaten Su Luo's cooking. It was a little leaky. Sun Tingting and Yi Zhenhua also nodded. The taste was indeed good, and Sun Tingting's satisfaction increased again. Master System, so this is your purpose. Thank you. Su Luo thought to herself as she looked at the satisfied expressions of the three people. Xiao Luo, what do you plan to do in the future? You know, Xiaomu is in the entertainment industry and may not be at home for a long time. Sun Tingting asked when she saw that they had almost finished eating. Su Luo looked at Yi Zhaomu. Your teammates are asking for help. Yi Zhaomu rolled his eyes at Su Luo, then lowered his head and continued eating. Your teammates rejected your request and rolled their eyes at you. Su Luo smiled in her heart, since you are unkind. Then don't blame me for being unjust. Uncle, I originally planned to start a business in investment. After all, this is my major. Su Luo said, glanced at Yi Zhaomu, and continued with a smile on her lips. But Zhaomu disagreed, so she asked me to accompany her and be her assistant. Yi Zhaomu was stunned. Looking at Su Luo, who was looking at her with a smug look, she gave him a look that said, may you be lucky. Su Luo looked at Yi Zhaomu and felt confused. Wouldn't her parents think she was being willful? That's great. We were worried about Zairamu being alone in the entertainment industry. It would be best if you could accompany her, Zairaluo. Sun Tingting immediately smiled with excitement in her tone. Su Luo was puzzled. How could he not mind such an obvious gigolo? Yi Zairamu shrugged at Su Luo. Zio Mu is pregnant now. Should she quit the entertainment industry temporarily and get married first? Yi Zhenhua put down his chopsticks and asked. Yi Zairamu paused and looked at Su Luo. At the same time, he reached under the table with his left hand and pinched Su Luo's thigh. Your teammates send you a request for help and force you to assist. Su Luo felt the faint pain in her legs and found it funny. Do you think I, the owner of a fish pond, can withstand such a threat? Uncle Ant, I feel the same way. Before Su Luo finished her words, she felt the hand on her thigh had rotated 120 degrees. Since Zairamu likes singing, I support her. Su Luo spoke immediately, and the pain disappeared. As he spoke, he put his right hand under the table and held Yi Zairamu's hand. Yi Zairamu subconsciously struggled to break free, but was held tightly by Su Luo. He looked up and glared at Su Luo. But she saw Su Luo looked at her seriously, then turned to face Yi's father and mother. Uncle, Aunt, Zairamu and I plan to get the marriage certificate first. My parents will come over to visit you as soon as possible. Then we can sit down and discuss the wedding date together. My child, Dad gave up the entire forest for you. Su Luo sighed in his heart. At this time, Yi Zairamu felt a little complicated. By accident, she was pregnant. Now she had to get married. Yi Zhenhua and Sun Tingting looked at each other and nodded helplessly. Ding-ling-ling, Yi Zairamu's phone rang. You guys eat first, here's my agent's call. Yi Zairamu said, then stood up and walked to the living room. Zio Luo, you are graduating this year, right? Didn't you choose to continue your studies? Yi Zhenhua asked when he saw his daughter walk out. Here it comes, IQ suppression is coming. Old Yi, what are you talking about? If Ziro Luo continues to take the postgraduate entrance examination, how can he take care of Ziro Mu? Sun Tingting patted Yi Zhenhua and said to him, Ziro Luo, whether or not to continue taking the postgraduate entrance examination is something you two can discuss among yourselves. Sun Tingting said to Su Luo with a smile. Okay, Auntie, Zairamu is pregnant now, so I might focus more on her. Su Luo breathed a sigh of relief and said with a smile. Sister Ya. Yi Zairamu walked into the living room and answered the phone. Ziro Mu, this matter has now fermented and requires a response. What are your thoughts? Tanya's voice came from the other end of the phone. Chapter 5, no, I didn't hesitate, don't talk nonsense. Tanya, a 37-year-old gold medal agent in the entertainment industry, is Yi Zairamu's agent. Listening to Tanya's words, Yi Zairamu subconsciously looked towards the restaurant. At this time, Su Luo and his parents were chatting and laughing. Looking at the warm scene in front of her and the ring on her hand, Yi Zairamu's eyes became firm. Sister Ya, I plan to get married with him. Yi Zairamu's gentle voice was like a bolt of thunder, striking Tanya directly. What? Tanya asked in surprise, her voice unconsciously getting louder. I said I was planning to get married with him, and now he's at my house. Are you crazy? You might get blacklisted by the company if you do this. No, although I just met him and can't say anything else, but he gets along well with my family, and he is very responsible. Yi Zairamu said this, with a hint of smile in her eyes as she looked towards the restaurant. Wait, let me think of a solution. Zairamu, you must wait for my notification before making an official announcement. Tanya's tone was a little flustered. A top diva suddenly got pregnant and got married. What a bombshell. If it wasn't handled properly, it would be a heavy blow to Luohua Entertainment. Okay, Yi Zairamu said and hung up the phone. Ziro Mu, you two have been dating for more than half a year, so you should get the marriage certificate later. Yi Zhenhua said in a somewhat depressed tone when he saw Yi Zairamu coming back. Half a year, Sun Tingting asked in surprise. Yi Zairamu also looked at Su Luo in surprise. Oops, Su Luo panicked when she didn't get the right answer. Isn't it more than a month? Sun Tingting looked at Yi Zairamu puzzledly, with suspicion in her eyes. Yi Zhenhua's expression changed, and he looked at Su Luo seriously. Uncle, Auntie, this? Su Luo breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, she had taken precautions. We officially confirmed our relationship over a month ago over a few drinks. After Su Luo finished speaking, her face flushed and she whispered, I confessed my feelings to Ziro Mu half a year ago, but she didn't express her feelings, so. Sun Tingting and Yi Zhenhua finally breathed a sigh of relief. I had a little crush on him at that time, so I wanted to look around. Yi Zairamu on the side also breathed a sigh of relief, glanced at Su Luo and quickly added, Your teammates praised your wit and gave you assists. Zairamu, help me wash the dishes. After the four of them finished their meal, Sun Tingting stopped Zairamu, who was about to leave, and spoke. What? You're about to be a mother, and you don't do any housework. Sun Tingting patted Zairamu's arm and pulled her to put away the dishes. You're pregnant now, you can't do that at night, Sun Tingting said in a low voice when she saw Yi Zhenhua and Su Luo walking out. Mom, Yi Zaiamu blushed and murmured softly. Zio Luo is young and hot-headed in this regard. You have to remind him. Sun Tingting is indeed an experienced person and understands this aspect. Mom, I understand. Yi Zaiamu nodded awkwardly in response. Kai Adusak, her mother said that. Does that mean Su Luo wants to sleep with her at night? What Yi Zaiamu wanted to say was stuck on her lips, and she couldn't utter it. She could only bear the evil she had done with tears in her eyes. In the living room, Yi Zhenhua and Su Luo stared at each other. Zio Luo, I heard that in the first 3 months of pregnancy. Yi Zhenhua broke the awkward atmosphere and spoke first. Obviously, he received instructions from Sun Tingting through the cloud. Uncle, I understand. Su Luo naturally understood what Yi Zhenhua meant. Silence is Cambridge tonight, and the two people fell into silence again. Come and have some fruit. Not long after, Sun Tingting came out with Yi Zaiamu and placed a plate of sliced cantaloupe on the coffee table. Thank you, Auntie, Su Luo said to Sun Tingting with a smile. Let's eat quickly. Sun Tingting pulled Yi Zaiamu to sit next to Yi Zhenhua. Sun Tingting finally had time to look at Su Luo. She was very pretty and a good match for her daughter. She can cook, is responsible, and has a good temper. Sun Tingting naturally noticed Yi Zaiamu's little movements during the meal. Zio Luo, where are you from? Sun Tingting saw that Yi Zhenhua had not spoken, so she glanced at him, turned around and asked Su Luo with a smile. When the son-in-law came, the second question he asked was, Where are you from? Auntie, I'm from Jinghai, and my home is in Zixi City. Oh, that's not far, Sun Tingting nodded. Where are you going to live when you get married? When the son-in-law came to the house, he asked for the third time, Do you have a house? Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu for help. Mom, Su Luo is still in school. When he graduates, we will have our own plans. Yi Zaiamu said that she had received Su Luo's request for help. Okay, stop asking. Zaiamu is pregnant now. She needs to rest early and let the children rest. When Yi Zhenhua saw that Sun Tingting seemed very satisfied, he suddenly felt a little annoyed. His little cotton-padded jacket was about to be gone. What are you doing? What time is it now? Sun Tingting patted Yi Zhenhua. Zio Luo, look, sometime you can make an appointment with your parents and we can go over there. Sun Tingting was pulled up by Yi Zhenhua and asked anxiously. Auntie, tomorrow is Sunday. I plan to ask my parents to come over tomorrow. Do you think it's convenient? Seeing that Yi Zhenhua and Sun Tingting had both stood up, Su Luo quickly stood up and spoke. Good, convenient. Sun Tingting nodded with satisfaction. You guys should go to bed early, Yi Zhenhua said, and at the same time glanced at Su Luo. Don't worry, uncle, Su Luo immediately said seriously. Yi Zhenhua nodded and took Sun Tingting back to the room. Bang, the bedroom door was closed. How am I going to sleep today? Su Luo breathed a sigh of relief as she watched the door close. She looked around the two-bedroom, one living room house and couldn't help but ask. How can I sleep? I won't sleep. Yi Zaiamu gave Su Luo a displeased look. How else could she sleep? She definitely couldn't sleep in the living room. Hey, come back to the room with me. Yi Zaiamu's heart beat faster when he thought of being in the same room with Su Luo. He stood up quickly, hiding his slightly red cheeks, and spoke. Yeah, Su Luo nodded and followed. She was not very excited after all. Yi Zaiamu was pregnant now. As soon as she entered the door, Su Luo moved her nose and smelled a fragrance. Come in. Yi Zaiamu looked at Su Luo, her face flushed again, and she spoke. Just sleep here. Yi Zaiamu took a few quilts from the cabinet and spread them on the floor, then looked at Su Luo. Bite. How can the host, as a man, sleep on the ground? If you are hesitating, please choose. 1. Sleep on the bed and get a cash reward of 100 million. 2. Sleep on the ground and get a cash reward of 1 yuan. No, I didn't hesitate. Don't talk nonsense, Su Luo thought to herself. Report. Su Luo raised her hand and looked at Yi Zaiamu. Chapter 6. 1 person is called rest. 2 people are called sleep. Speak. Yi Zaiamu saw Su Luo suddenly raise her hand, like a primary school student in class. So she stopped what she was doing and said with a smile. Can I sleep on the bed, wife? Su Luo said with a smile. Who is your wife? Stop shouting. You must sleep on the floor. Yi Zaiamu was furious. He threw the quilt in his hand and lay directly on the bed. Option 2. Selection successful. Reward has been received. I'm going to take a shower. Su Luo shook her head. This broken system is inhumane. Then she walked towards the bathroom. Oh, wait a minute. Yi Zairamu stood up instantly, walked out of the room, then took a bunch of things and went into the bathroom. I've put your toiletries and towels away for you. They're blue. Yi Zairamu came out and said. I've also put your pajamas away for you. They belong to my dad and he's never worn them. Yeah, Su Luo looked at Yi Zairamu, rubbed her hair with a smile, and then walked into the bathroom. Yi Zairamu narrowed her eyes slightly. Bang, the bathroom door was closed. The voice interrupted the stunned Yi Zairamu, and she shook her head violently. What? When did she become a fangirl? Mom, Su Luo walked into the bathroom and took out her phone. Zio Luo, how are you? How are you? I have never dared to call you for fear of affecting your performance. Sun Yun's excited voice came. Well, I'll send you the address later. You and Dad can come over tomorrow. Go over? Wait, you're done? Are you going over to discuss the marriage? Yes, remember to bring your household registration booklet. Household registration book. Wait, you want to get a certificate? Sun Yun's voice instantly rose 8 degrees. This matter is hard to explain in a few words. Su Luo's voice was a little complicated. What's the girl's name? Sun Yun's tone became calm as she listened to her son's voice. Yi Zairamu. Yi Zairamu. She has the same name as the female singer who's been trending lately. It's either the same name, it's her. What, she's pregnant, yours? Sun Yun said excitedly. Well, yes, we have been dating for more than a month. Su Luo decided to continue the lie. Otherwise, his parents might have a worse impression of Yi Zairamu. Now that things have come to this, the marriage is definitely decided. Good job, son. We'll go there tomorrow. See you and go find your household registration booklet. We'll take the earliest bus tomorrow. This brat got me pregnant without telling anyone, and I haven't taught him a lesson yet, Su Siyun said seriously. What lesson are you talking about? She's a big star. It's our blessing that she likes your son. Be careful tomorrow and don't embarrass your child. Su Luo listened to her parents' quarrel and smiled helplessly. How could her parents understand the happiness of the fish pond owner? Sighed and hung up the phone. Yi Zairamu's heart was pounding. It was the first time she spent the night with a boy, and she was unconscious more than a month ago. My heart was filled with nervousness and a hint of fear. After all, he was a man, and I wondered if he would. After all, my mother said that youth is full of vigor. Squeak, the bathroom door opened. Yi Zairamu was stunned when she saw Su Luo with messy hair. Who said girls don't like looking at handsome guys? My mom and the others are coming over tomorrow. I'll tell them we've been dating for over a month so we don't let it get out of the way. Su Luo rubbed her hair. Yeah, Yi Zairamu nodded blankly. Then I'm going to take a shower. Then, as if she came to her senses, she shook her head and rushed into the bathroom with her pajamas. Su Luo looked at Yi Zairamu's reaction with amusement. She was just a little girl. She would be dazed and shy when she saw a handsome guy. He shook his head and laid down on the floor beside the bed. When Yi Zairamu came out, he squatted beside her and saw that Su Luo had fallen asleep. A high-nose bridge, as delicate as a baby's skin. What long eyelashes, Yi Zairamu said softly, and was surprised to find that Su Luo slowly opened her eyes. Ah, Yi Zairamu screamed, immediately moved away, lay on the bed, and covered herself with the quilt. Su Luo closed his eyes and felt a little itchy on his face. Yi Zairamu's falling hair touched his face. Su Luo slowly opened her eyes, and what came into her sight was Yi Zairamu, who was standing right next to her. Su Luo saw Yi Zairamu scream and stand up. Her tight lace nightgown showed off her figure to the fullest, with her perky butt and plump, little buns. Haha, it turns out to be the airport. But putting aside her flat chest, Yi Zairamu's figure is really good. If you want to see me, just look at me openly. There's no need to peek. Su Luo shook her head and put aside the thoughts in her mind. Since things have come to this, what can she do? Just try to fall in love with her. Who wants to look at you? Yi Zairamu pouted and said angrily. Next time you look at me, I will lie next to you and let you look at me slowly. Su Luo teased. Old pervert, Yi Zairamu cursed softly, then closed her eyes. Sleep. One person is called resting, 2 people are called sleeping. Are you hinting at me? Su Luo said with a wicked smile. I'm hinting at you, you big-headed ghost. Go to sleep. No, rest. Yi Zairamu suddenly felt like her lungs were about to explode, but she didn't realize that she was not angry at all. Su Luo smiled and closed her eyes. Ding-ling-ling. Yi Zairamu was awakened by the ringing of the phone. Hello, Yi Zairamu picked up the phone in a daze. Ziomu, it's me. Sister Ya. Yi Zairamu sat up immediately. Only then did she realize that Su Luo was no longer in the room, but now was not the time to pay attention to that. Ziomu, the company held a special meeting this morning, and I explained your attitude to them. What does the company say? Yi Zairamu still wanted to stay in the entertainment industry. She loved singing. She asked expectantly. The company's intention is to see your luck. If you fail, the company will no longer provide you with resources. I understand. Yizayamu lowered his head and said in a low voice. But the company isn't too extreme. They've found a resource for you. It's up to you whether you accept it or not. Sister Ya, what do you think? When are you going to get the marriage certificate? Sister Ya did not answer, but instead asked about Yizayamu. Well, this hasn't been decided yet, but his parents are coming over today, so it should be confirmed. Yizayamu said hesitantly. It's like this. The resource provided by the company is a live variety show. This is a dating variety show called Daily Life of Celebrity Couples. If you can attract a group of CP fans and change the public's attitude towards you, then there should still be a chance. My suggestion is that you get your marriage certificate and officially announce it tomorrow, then participate in this show. That should change some public opinion. We'll see the results after the show starts. Chapter 7, I married you because of the child. You are just a bonus. Okay, Sister Ya, no problem on my side. Yizayamu agreed without thinking. Okay, I'll go talk to the production team. I'll need you to send me a statement of authorization and copies of both of your ID cards. Sister Ya, thank you. Yizayamu hung up the phone, washed up, yawned, and walked out of the bedroom. Shocked, he looked at the 2 extra people in the room, as well as Su Luo, who was sitting beside him. He called out awkwardly, Uncle, Aunt, hello. Hello, hello. Sun Yun looked at Yizayamu with her mouth almost grinning from ear to ear. It's almost noon and you just got up. Zio Luo's parents are here. Sun Tingting felt a little embarrassed when she looked at her daughter. My dear relatives, I'm sorry. We spoiled this girl. Sun Tingting turned around and said apologetically to Su Siyuan and Sun Yun, who were sitting on the sofa. It's okay, it's okay. It's normal to be sleepy when you're pregnant. I was like this when I was pregnant with Zio Luo. Sun Yun smiled and waved her hand. Su Luo, Su Luo, Yizayamu called softly. Seeing Su Luo looking at her, she raised her hand and waved it gently to signal Su Luo to come over. Seeing this, Su Luo stood up and walked towards Yizayamu. Yizayamu grabbed Su Luo's arm and walked towards the bedroom. Why didn't you call me? A resentful voice came from Yizayamu's mouth. This kid, Yi Zhenyue shook his head with emotion. Then the 4 of them started chatting. I saw you were sleeping soundly and snoring. I felt you were very tired, so I didn't call you. Su Luo walked into the bedroom and looked at Yizayamu with a wicked smile. You're the one snoring. Yizayamu rolled her eyes and reached out to pinch Su Luo. Hiss, Su Luo took a breath and made a huge contribution to global warming. I have something to discuss with you. Seeing Su Luo's expression, Yizayamu withdrew his hand with satisfaction, coughed lightly, and said seriously, What's up? There's a variety show that invites us 2 to participate. I think you will agree. Yizayamu said and looked at Su Luo expectantly. Participating in variety shows means being exposed to the public. If you hesitate, please choose. 1. Agree to participate and be rewarded with God-level dancing skills. 2. Refuse to participate and receive a cash reward of 100 million. Oh, woman, if you ask me to agree, I will agree. I am not too embarrassed. Su Luo rolled her eyes. Is there still a choice? It must be 100 million. Seeing Su Luo's reaction, Yizayamu curled her lips and looked at her resentfully. At the same time, she reached out her hand to Su Luo again. Oh my God! Su Luo's face was serious, and he rubbed the flesh on his waist calmly. You agreed, Yizayamu said seriously. No, I didn't. You said I'd go. That's an interjection. I don't care, you agreed anyway. Yizayamu smiled sweetly. Okay, then you have to tell me what the show is. Su Luo nodded helplessly. Option 1. If you choose successfully, you will be rewarded with God-level dancing skills. This reward will subtly influence the host, and the host's dancing skills will continue to improve. It's just a dating variety show, Yizayamu explained with a red face. Filming us in love, Su Luo was surprised. How could he be in love? He only knew how to flirt with girls. Yeah, the show is called Daily Life of Celebrity Couples. Is there a script? Of course not. How do we shoot it? Well, it's fine for us to just be like this for now. Just be a little careful. The program crew will tell us later. Yizayamu thought for a while and said, All right then. Then you go out first, I'll change clothes. Yizayamu smiled and pushed Su Luo out of the bedroom. Alas, you are already husband and wife. I think it shouldn't be too much for you to change clothes. Su Luo said as she retreated towards the door. You old pervert, you wish. Let me clarify something. Su Luo paused, raised a finger with a serious expression. Yizayamu on the side looked at him blankly. I'm not old. Su Luo finally uttered these 3 words slowly. Yi Zaiamu laughed out loud. You pervert, get out of here. Then, with a smile on his face, he pushed Su Luo out of the room. Yi Zaiamu changed her clothes with a blushing face, opened the bedroom door, and walked out. In-laws, it's almost noon. Let's go out for a meal together. Let's also discuss the matter of the 2 children. Yi Zhenhua saw his daughter coming out, stood up, and said to Su Siyuan and Sun Yun, Hey, my dear in-laws, how can I let you arrange this matter? I will treat you at noon. I have already booked the hotel. It is the Walton in the central building next door, Su Siyuan said. Then I'll let you pay for it. When Yi Zhenhua heard that the other party had already made the decision, he stopped refusing. 6 people walked towards the central building. UMSU Luo, what do you think? Yi Zaiamu walked at the back with Su Luo's arm in arm and asked in a low voice. The moment she walked out of the room, Yi Zaiamu's heart suddenly became confused. This was the road to marriage. But she and Su Luo, her mind was instantly filled with 1,000 thoughts. Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu, who was holding his arm tightly, with a similar panic on her face as yesterday. He reached out and patted her hand gently. At the same time, Su Luo also felt her panicked heart suddenly calm down. Don't worry, my parents brought the household registration book. We will go to register tomorrow. I will do my best to protect you and your mother, Su Luo said seriously. Listening to Su Luo's words, Yi Zaiamu recalled the man who proposed to her yesterday with sweat all over his forehead and kneeling down. Her originally panicked heart gradually calmed down. HMPH, you married me because of the child, I'm just a bonus. As if she thought of something, Yi Zaiamu glared at Su Luo with a red face. Well, you wouldn't look down on me if I didn't have a child, Su Luo said with a wry smile. It turned out that the fish pond owner had nothing good about him except being handsome. I'm marrying you because of the child, you should be the extra one. Yi Zaiamu smiled and nodded. Seeing that her parents had already walked away, she took Su Luo's arm and followed them. Su Luo, who is 183 cm tall, and Yi Zaiamu, who is 169 cm tall, formed a beautiful landscape walking on the street. Fortunately, Yi Zaiamu was wearing a mask and sunglasses. Otherwise, there would have been a commotion immediately. In-laws, come and sit down. Su Siyuan walked into the box and pulled Yi Zhenhua to sit in the seat inside. Sun Tingting and Sun Yun sat next to Yi Zhenhua and Su Siyuan respectively. After entering the room, Yi Zaiamu pulled Su Luo to sit next to Sun Tingting. Waiter, you can serve the dishes now, Su Luo said to the waiter standing beside her. Everyone is here. Okay, we'll arrange it now. The waiter nodded and walked out. My dear relatives, I also know about my brat's affairs. Don't worry, this kid will never let your girl down, no matter what. When Su Siyuan saw the waiter leave, he took the initiative to start a conversation and glared at Su Luo at the same time. Chapter 8, come up and don't do bad things. Yi Zaiamu blushed and lowered her head without saying a word. She secretly glanced at Su Luo beside her and saw that he was also lowering his head with an embarrassed look on his face. She couldn't help laughing. Still laughing, don't you feel ashamed? My dear, this is Zaiamu's fault, but I can guarantee that our Zaiamu is a good child. Yi Zhenhua said that since she was in the entertainment industry and was pregnant before marriage, it would be easy for her to be looked down upon by the man's family. Yi Zaiamu curled her lips, lowered her head, and stopped talking. We like this child very much, my dear relatives. Don't worry, we won't have any other ideas, Sun Yun said with a smile on her face looking at Yi Zaiamu. Everyone was chatting while the dishes were served. Zairo Luo, pour some wine for your uncle and drink some with him. Su Siyuan pointed to the 2 bottles of wine on the table and said, Yeah. Su Luo stood up, opened the wine, poured it for Yi Zhenhua and Su Siyuan, and then poured herself a glass. Yi Zaiamu immediately stood up, poured drinks for Sun Yun and Sun Tingting, and finally poured a glass for herself. The wine was flowing, and half of the round was over. Old Yi, we're here today to finalize the marriage of our 2 children. You can raise any requests you have, and we'll discuss it together. Seeing that everyone had almost finished eating, Su Siyuan spoke. After a meal and a drink, both sides became familiar with each other. We don't have any requirements. As long as the 2 children are happy and live in harmony, that's enough, Sun Tingting said. Yes, let the couple discuss this matter, Yi Zhenhua echoed from the side. In that case, Zairo Luo, you tell us what's going on. You have to give them an explanation. Su Siyuan pointed at Su Luo and said, Mom, Dad, Uncle, and Aunt. Su Luo put down her chopsticks and stood up after hearing this. Zairo Mu and I have discussed this. We will go get the marriage certificate tomorrow and hold the wedding at the end of the year after I graduate. After hearing this, Yi Zaiamu's eyes were filled with confusion. When had they discussed this? And why was they holding the wedding at the end of the year? A hint of anger flashed in his eyes, and he secretly reached out and pinched Su Luo. The corners of Su Luo's mouth twitched, and she endured the pain and continued to speak. Xiao Mu is in the entertainment industry after all. This incident has had a huge impact on her. So, her company has arranged a variety show for her, and I will accompany her to participate. Yes, the filming is expected to start this month, and we will shoot a pilot film in 2 days, Yi Xiaomu added from the side. Okay, let's do it, Su Siyuan nodded. The remaining time is spent discussing the bride price and buying a house in the future. Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu had no say in these matters. They looked at each other and lowered their heads at the same time. You little brat, you can participate in the show, but be sure to protect Xiaomu, okay? Su Siyuan said to Su Luo downstairs in the central building. Don't worry, Dad, I will pay attention, Su Luo nodded. Old Yi, that's it for now. I'm a little drunk today. I came here in a hurry this time and haven't arranged the business at home yet. When I go back and take care of it, I'll move over here and we can have a good drink then. Although Su Siyuan and Yi Zhenhua have a gap in cultural level, Su Siyuan has been working hard in society and has rich social experience. After a drink together, the two of them felt that they had met too late. This way we can live together and visit each other often, Yi Zhenhua said with a smile on his face. Su Siyuan smiled and nodded, then looked at Su Luo. You little brat, find some time to look at houses with Xiaomu, and you can discuss among yourselves which one to buy. I'll transfer the money to you then. By the way, here's the household registration booklet. Su Siyuan took out the household registration booklet from his briefcase and handed it to Su Luo. I understand, Dad. Su Luo nodded, then took the household registration booklet. Old Yi, take your time. Xiao Luo, you drank a lot at noon. Go to sleep for a while. When they got home, Sun Tingting supported Yi Zhenhua and looked at Su Luo and said, Okay, Auntie. Su Luo nodded. She had just walked back and was blown by a cold wind. Su Luo immediately felt dizzy and could hardly stand. Xiao Mu, take Su Luo to rest for a while. After Sun Tingting said that, she supported Yi Zhenhua and walked towards the bedroom. Yi Xiaomu took Su Luo's arm and walked to his room. Looking at Su Luo's appearance, he hesitated for a moment and then put Su Luo on the bed. Su Luo endured the headache, lay down on the bed, and fell asleep quickly. When Yi Xiaomu saw Su Luo fell asleep, he squatted beside the bed, looking at Su Luo's face, seeing his brows slightly wrinkled because of the headache. He raised his hand and gently touched Su Luo's eyebrows. Ding-ling-linged. Yi Xiaomu was startled and hung up the phone immediately. He looked at Su Luo carefully and found that she had not woken up. He breathed a sigh of relief, took out his phone, and called back. Sister Ya, how are things going over there? It's already been agreed. I'll send you the materials later. Okay, I'll talk to the director now. Evening. Su Luo. Yi Xiaomu called softly in Su Luo's ear. Su Luo slowly opened her eyes. It was already dark outside. She shook her head and realized her headache was gone. After a whole afternoon of rest, she felt better. Get up and have dinner, Yi Xiaomu said gently. Okay, Su Luo stood up, straightened her clothes, and followed Yi Xiaomu out. Auntie, I'm sorry, I drank a little too much today. Su Luo saw Sun Tingting serving dishes, scratched his head, and said, Xiao Luo, it's okay, come over and have dinner. Your uncle drank too much at noon today and hasn't gotten up yet. Don't worry about him, let's eat ours, Sun Tingting said with a smile. Okay, Auntie. Night room. Yi Xiaomu sent the information to Tanya. Well, we're getting the marriage certificate tomorrow. Can I sleep in bed? Su Luo slept very comfortably in the afternoon, especially the faint fragrance, which made Su Luo feel a sense of happiness. What do you want to do? Yi Xiaomu, who was wearing pajamas, put down her cell phone, immediately crossed her arms over her chest and spoke. What do you think I can do? Su Luo asked with a wicked smile. You old pervert, I'm not even 3 months old yet. Yi Xiaomu lifted the quilt to cover half of her face, talking in a buzzing voice. That means it will be possible after 3 months. Su Luo stood by the bed, close to Yi Xiaomu. HMPH, don't even think about it, Yi Xiaomu said, lying down and covering herself with the quilt. Come up here, don't do anything bad. After a while, a deep voice came from under the quilt. Su Luo's eyes lit up. She walked to the other side, lifted the quilt, and lay down in it. Yi Xiaomu's body trembled, and a sense of tension instantly came over her. Go to sleep. Su Luo felt the nervousness of the girl next to her, reached out and patted Yi Xiaomu gently and said gently, Where are you clapping your hands? Yi Xiaomu blushed and pushed Su Luo's hand away. Chapter 9, Miss Yi, please give me your guidance for the rest of my life. Su Luo smiled. She had indeed felt a soft sensation just now, and she naturally knew where it was. I thought it was the back, Su Luo teased. Ah, Yi Zaiamu blushed, sat up, and looked at Su Luo angrily. What are you doing? Go to sleep. Just sleep like this today. Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu with her hair disheveled with amusement. You said I was small. Yi Zaiamu's cold voice came. Well, a beautiful woman won't mind if you say she's ugly. An older woman might get angry if you say she's old, Su Luo said meaningfully. HMPH, go to sleep. Yi Zaiamu glanced at Su Luo, then lay back down, turned around, and faced Su Luo with her back. What could she do? She didn't want to be small either. Okay, don't be angry. I don't dislike you. Who cares whether you dislike it or not? Humph! Yi Zaiamu was angry, but still turned around and looked at Su Luo. Two people lay on the bed, looking at each other. Su Luo and Yi Zaiamu's heartbeats quickened. The two gradually approached each other, and Yi Zaiamu slowly closed her eyes. There was a knock on the door. Su Luo and Yi Zaiamu reacted instantly and separated quickly. Yi Zaiamu took a few deep breaths to relieve her tension, then stood up and opened the door. Mom, seeing Sun Tingting at the door, Yi Zaiamu called out with a red face. Auntie, Su Luo also got out of bed and stood beside Yi Zaiamu. Zairo Mu, Zairo Luo, this is for you. Sun Tingting handed the household registration booklet to Yi Zaiamu and tapped her forehead. Seeing the two of them blushing, I naturally knew what they had just done. It's normal for two young people, but this is a special period and they can't do anything rash, Sun Tingting hinted to Yi Zaiamu. Mom, Yi Zaiamu looked at Sun Tingting's face and naturally knew what she was thinking. It was a misunderstanding and an injustice, but there was nothing she could do. Okay, go to bed early. Be careful in the first 3 months. Sun Tingting emphasized the words first 3 months. I understand, Mom. You should go to bed early, Yi Zaiamu said with a red face. It's all your fault. Yi Zaiamu closed the door, glanced at Su Luo, walked to the bed, and lay down. Su Luo scratched her head, walked to the other side, and lay down on it. Stay away from me. Yi Zaiamu's voice came faintly. It's okay, I can bear it, Su Luo said lightly and moved towards Yi Zaiamu. Yi Zaiamu was nervous. Brother, you can hold it in, but I'm afraid I can't. Thinking of Su Luo's face, she shouted in her heart. Go to sleep. Su Luo saw that Yi Zaiamu looked a little collapsed, reached out, held her hand, and said softly. Yi Zaiamu calmed down all of a sudden and did not struggle, allowing Su Luo to hold her hand. In the morning, Yi Zaiamu opened her eyes and saw Su Luo still sleeping beside her, and smiled slightly. Su Luo opened her eyes when she sensed the movement and smiled faintly at Yi Zaiamu. Good mornings. Good mornings. Two people stood in the bathroom, brushing their teeth together. Their coordinated movements made their originally unfamiliar hearts gradually closer. After washing up, they walked out of the bedroom. Yi Zhenhua and Sun Yun were not at home. They were university professors, so they naturally still needed to go to work. Let's go. Su Luo handed the household registration book, an ID card to Yi Zaiamu and said, Okay. Yi Zaiamu habitually put his arm around Su Luo's. Li Yang and Lu Mio Miao were already waiting downstairs in the community. Let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau. Yi Zaiamu walked out of the corridor with Su Luo's arm in arm, saw the two of them, and said with a smile, Okay. Li Yang opened the car door and got in without any nonsense. Su Luo opened the side door, waited for Yi Zaiamu to get in the car, walked to the other side, opened the door, and sat in. Register. Su Luo handed over 2 household registration books and 2 ID cards. Yi. The staff member looked at the ID card in shock, then looked at Yi Zaiamu in front of him who was wearing a mask and sunglasses. SHH, Yi Zaiamu put a finger to her mouth. Yeah, the staff nodded excitedly. As someone in this line of work, they still had the basic ability to keep information confidential. Although they were excited, they still didn't shout out. Snap, Yi Zaiamu and Su Luo both had smiles on their faces. A handsome man and a beautiful woman, the picture froze. Snap, the steel stamp was stamped down. Mew, I'm your fan. Can you please sign an autograph for me? The staff member whispered after processing the marriage certificate. Okay, Yi Zaiamu nodded, took the paper and pen handed to her by the staff and quickly signed her name. Thank you, I hope you will be happy. Your husband is so handsome. The staff carefully collected the signatures and gave blessings with a smile. Thank you, Yi Zaiamu said with a smile. Then he put on sunglasses and a mask and walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau with Su Luo. Ms. Yi, please give me your guidance for the rest of my life. Walking out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, the sun was warm in front of them. Su Luo held Yi Zaiamu, looked at her affectionately, and spoke seriously. Mr. Su, I hope I will never betray you in this life. Looking at Su Luo's serious look, Yizayaramu felt warm in his heart as if in the spring sunshine and responded softly. Back home, Yizayaramu took off her mask and sunglasses. Then he took out his cell phone and took a picture of the two marriage certificates. Then he patted his left hand again, and a ring on the flawless white jade hand was extremely conspicuous. Then take off the mask. He pulled Su Luo over, took his arm, rested his head on his shoulder, and took a photo, in which only a little bit of Su Luo's profile was shown. With Su Luo's wry smile, he pulled Su Luo to the balcony and used the timer to take pictures of their backs. In this way, a total of 9 photos were collected. This is even after deleting the photo of the ring, because the two have not yet held a wedding and have not bought wedding rings. Only one ring is not suitable. Then Yizayaramu opened Weibo and edited the text. Today the sun is shining brightly. Mr. Su, the vast mountains and rivers, the fireworks of the world, all of them are you, all of them are you. Yizayaramu hasn't sent it yet, but is waiting for a time. Su Luo also cooperated and took out her cell phone. Log into Weibo. Looking at his more than 100 followers and 0 fans, his face changed, and he immediately unfollowed all of them. He couldn't let Yizayaramu see so many young ladies. What are you doing? Yizayaramu said softly from the side. That, Su Luo smiled awkwardly. Give it to me. Yizayaramu snatched the phone away and saw the account that Su Luo followed. Wine-fermented dumplings. The peak is unreachable. Yizayaramu's expression began to change, and he looked at Su Luo. Listen to my excuses. Oh no, listen to my explanation, Su Luo said embarrassedly. Come on, explain, Yizayaramu said in a cold voice. He shook his cell phone and just looked at Su Luo quietly. Well, okay, I admit that I was wrong, but I promised that last time was my first time, Su Luo said calmly and seriously. Chapter 10, Draw Your Swords. What are you talking about? Yizayaramu blushed, patted Su Luo, and handed the phone back. After spending the past 2 days together, Yizayaramu could feel that although Su Luo looked a bit bad, he was really responsible and patient, and they are very gentle and respectful to him. And these young ladies, it's not that Yizayaramu is bragging, but when put together, they are overwhelming. Wait, that unreachable peak? Okay, it's drooping. I'm small, I'm strong, I'm proud. But my future can't be determined by it. Stop, it's off the track. Su Luo took the phone and saw that Yizayaramu was not really angry, so she started to operate, unfollowing all the beautiful bloggers she followed, then found Yizayaramu's Weibo and clicked to follow. Editorial copy. Today is a beautiful day, Miss Yi. 1,000 mountains and rivers, the sun, the moon, the stars, all I can see is you. At Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter expression. Gentlemen, draw your swords. Su Luo and Yizayaramu smiled at each other. We'll send it together later. Go cook first. Yizayaramu pushed Su Luo. Okay, wife, Su Luo replied with a smile. Oh, go quickly. Yizayaramu's face flushed red as she pushed Su Luo hard and walked to the kitchen. March 27, 2023, 13:14:00. Su Luo and Yizayaramu's scheduled copy was sent out. Weibo instantly became lively. The number of comments instantly exceeded 10 million. Ah, Miu Miu is really pregnant. It's too late to get married now. She's pregnant before marriage. She's definitely not a good person. Who is this Su Luo? I want to duel with him. Why not me? Unfollowed. Isn't the picture beautiful? That back view looks so good together. The height difference between the two of them really hits me. Go check Su Luo's Weibo. He challenged me. I want to duel him. The number of fans on Su Luo's Weibo account instantly exceeded 1 million, and most of them were cursing him. Su Luo didn't care at all. She lay on the sofa and read the comments. Eat fruit, what are you looking at? Yizayaramu cut some fruit and saw Su Luo holding her phone and smiling, so she asked curiously. Your fans are so funny. Su Luo put the phone in front of Yizayaramu. They are all scolding you and you are still laughing. Yizayaramu read a few messages. You bastard, give Miu Miu back to me. Su thief, I want a duel with you. Little white face, how dare you post on Weibo? Because they all say the grapes are sour because they can't eat them, Su Luo said indifferently. This is the first time you can laugh after seeing someone being scolded. You can't be. Yizayaramu looked at Su Luo suspiciously. What are you thinking about? It's just that your husband has a good attitude. Su Luo rolled her eyes and reached out to flick Yizayaramu. Bah, what husband? Yizayaramu covered her head and said with disdain. This is a Huaxia certificate. Su Luo picked up the marriage certificate on the table and shook it, saying with a proud look on her face. Come on, call me husband. No, Yizayaramu was speechless and said with a pout. Su Luo smiled and didn't force it. After all, they had only known each other for 3 days. As for feelings, they definitely had some feelings for each other, but it wasn't that level yet. He's a man, so he's a bit thick-skinned. That's normal. Girls, on the other hand, are thin-skinned, so they definitely wouldn't be able to yell at him. But don't ignore it just because the girl can't scream out. This is something that will increase your favorability, so write it down in your notebook. Of course, you have to wait until the relationship is confirmed. Don't call me husband before you are together. Otherwise, there is a high probability that you will become a blacklisted person. Yi Zairamu, who was standing by, saw Su Luo pick up her phone again and type something, so she came over curiously. A faint fragrance came over. Su Luo glanced at Yi Zairamu and tilted the phone slightly to the side to make it easier for her to see. "You bastard, how dare you post on Weibo?" "Did I eat your rice?" Su Luo replied. "Let's all expose this gigolo's Weibo. I've had stomach problems since I was a kid, and the doctor told me I could only eat soft food. Brother is so handsome, do you want another girlfriend? Don't do that, little brother, I'm already taken. Su Thief, draw your sword. That year, I had my hands in my pockets and didn't know what an opponent was. Pigeons, pigeons, geese, geese, geese." Yi Zairamu on the side laughed so hard that her body shook with laughter, because she found that Su Luo's sarcasm was really funny. "Is it so funny?" Su Luo looked at Yi Zairamu curiously. "Ha ha ha, of course you replied one by one, you are so funny," Yi Zairamu kept saying with a smile. Ding-ling-ling. At this moment, Yi Zairamu's phone rang. "Hey, Sister Ya. Zairo, I've already communicated with the production team for the celebrity couple. You guys should go over there tomorrow. The show will be filmed in Jiangcheng at 8 a.m. tomorrow. I've booked a flight for tonight at 6:35. We need to get to the airport before 6:00. Li Yang and I will pick you up in advance." "Okay, Sister Ya, do you have any information about other guests?" Yi Zairamu had a general understanding of this program. It was about the daily lives of several celebrity couples, interspersed with some mysterious tasks. "That's still unclear. The production team is keeping it a secret." "Okay, thank you, Sister Ya. We'll be leaving soon." Yi Zairamu hung up the phone and immediately dragged Su Luo to the mall. Although Su Luo's parents had brought a few pieces of clothing, they were clearly not suitable for the show. "Why are you in such a hurry?" Su Luo said in the mall. "We have a flight at 6:35 p.m. and it's almost 3 o'clock now." Yi Zairamu dragged Su Luo while looking around the clothing store. Su Luo looked at the 3 sets of clothes in her hands and fell silent. "Zairo, do you think there is a possibility that I need to wear underwear?" Su Luo said with a smile as she looked at the outer clothes but no underwear. "Ouch!" Yi Zairamu immediately covered Su Luo's mouth. Her face flushed red. "Let's go, let's go." Yi Zairamu immediately pulled Su Luo into the lingerie store. "Well, give him a few," Yi Zairamu said in a low voice. "Ma'am, what size does your husband wear?" the waiter asked in confusion. Yi Zairamu was silent, looked at Su Luo beside him, and signaled with his eyes. "Your wife has sent you a request for help." "Let me do it." Su Luo pulled Yi Zairamu behind her and said to the waiter, "Get some 3XL ones." "Okay. Why did you buy so much?" Yi Zairamu asked with a red face after walking out of the lingerie store. "Well, I bought 20 of them right away. Don't you know how long you'll be gone? Buy some extra just in case. What else is there to be prepared for?" "Well, guess." Su Luo looked at Yi Zairamu meaningfully. Yi Zairamu looked at Su Luo's expression and thought about the knowledge about gender that he had learned. Her little face flushed and she glanced at Su Luo. "You old perverts," he muttered. "I'm not old," Su Luo said seriously. Chapter 11. Pregnancy makes one stupid for 3 years. Looking at Su Luo's evil smile, Yi Zairamu blushed and pushed Su Luo away. "Hurry up and go. It's already 4 o'clock, and we still have to pack our bags when we get home." Su Luo turned around and grabbed Yi Zairamu. After feeling her slight struggle, she let him hold her hand. He smiled slightly and looked at her lovingly. Let's go home." The two of them carried a lot of bags home. Su Luo saw Yi Zairamu running quickly towards the bedroom, and after a while she came out pushing a suitcase. In the living room, he opened the door and started helping Su Luo pack her clothes. Su Luo sat on the sofa, watching Yi Zairamu folding clothes and putting them into the suitcase. "So this is what it feels like to have a wife. It's pretty good." Thinking of this, Su Luo stood up, walked to Yi Zairamu, and handed the clothes to her. Su Luo really didn't know how to fold clothes. In the end, Yi Zairamu blushed and left 10 of Su Luo's 20 underwear at home. "There are only 10, not enough for me to wear," Su Luo said with a wicked smile. "They can be worn after washing." Yi Zairamu rolled her eyes. "How can I carry 20 pairs at once?" "I don't know how to wash," Su Luo shrugged. HMPH, I'll wash it, okay? Yi Zairamu said unhappily. When she thought of that scene, apart from feeling shy, she did not feel disgusted or disgusted. Thank you, my wife, Su Luo said with a smile. I also need to bring cosmetics. Yi Zairamu got up and ran to the bedroom. About 20 minutes later, she came out carrying a bag. Is this to take out all the makeup? Well, Zairamu, do you think it would be faster if we take the suitcase to the bedroom? Su Luo said from the side. Yi Zairamu fell into deep thought. What he said seemed to make sense. A woman becomes stupid for 3 years after she gets pregnant, Su Luo sighed. Yi Zairamu ignored Su Luo and sat on a small stool, looking at the cosmetics in the bag, and began to mutter. As she spoke, she placed the bottles and jars in her hands on the coffee table. This skincare product, you have to bring it. I have to bring this moisturizing one too. This lipstick is too dark, I won't wear it. This mask is for Su Luo, you must bring it. Su Luo smiled when she heard that, and she stood up and walked to the kitchen to prepare dinner. She guessed that after dinner, it would be time to set off. Ding, 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 the sound of entering the password. Yi Zhenhua and Sun Tingting returned home from get off work. What are you doing? Sun Tingting saw Yi Zairamu packing her luggage. Uncle, Aunt, Su Luo came out of the kitchen and said. Still calling you uncle and aunt? Sun Tingting looked at Su Luo with a smile. The two children got their marriage certificate today, so they naturally knew about it. Dad, Mom, we are going to Jiangcheng tonight to shoot a pilot film, Su Luo explained. Then you have to take good care of Zairamu. You must pay attention to her in the first 3 months, okay? Sun Tingting looked at Yi Zairamu worriedly as she was still muttering. Don't worry, Mom, I will, Su Luo nodded. Okay, finally packed. Yi Zairamu packed up the cosmetics, put them in the suitcase, patted her butt, and stood up. Dad, Mom, when did you come back? Yi Zairamu looked at Yi Zhenhua and Sun Tingting in surprise. I just came back. Why don't you have dinner before leaving? Sun Tingting said. Mom, I've prepared dinner. The four of them sat at the dining table, looking at the sumptuous dinner and smelling the fragrant aroma. Yi Zhenhua also showed a rare look of satisfaction. No matter what, he has now become my son-in-law. I can't give him a hard time or be dissatisfied with him anymore, otherwise my child will suffer. Because we have too little time, we didn't make any soup. Zairamu, you should have some stewed eggs. They are quite nutritious. Su Luo scooped some stewed eggs with a spoon and placed it in front of Yi Zairamu. Su Luo, I eat too much and I will get fat. Yi Zairamu looked at the dishes in the bowl, including a bowl of stewed eggs, and said with a bitter face, You're pregnant now. Even if you don't eat, the baby will have to eat too, Sun Tingting said, and she placed another piece of pork ribs in Yi Zairamu's bowl. Yi Zairamu looked at Su Luo for help. It's okay, eat without worry. I don't mind if you're fat, Su Luo said with a smile. Is this what I'm talking about? I mean, there are so many dishes, I can't finish them. Yi Zairamu patted Su Luo. You eat first, I'll eat if you can't finish it. Su Luo glanced at Yi Zairamu's bowl and nodded. Yi Zhenhua and Sun Tingting looked at the two children with smiles on their faces. I used to worry that the relationship would be unstable during the period of time they were dating. But now, I see how they get along. Although Su Luo is young, she is more mature most of the time. Although Yi Zairamu can be willful sometimes, she is older after all and knows her limits most of the time. Sun Tingting and Yi Zhenhua looked at each other, nodded, and felt relieved. Mom and Dad, the car is waiting for us downstairs. We'll leave first, Yi Zairamu said. Mom and Dad, we're leaving. Su Luo pulled the suitcase and said goodbye to Mr. and Mrs. Yi. Okay, be careful, Yi Zhenhua said. Downstairs, Su Luo put the suitcase into the trunk of the business car and opened the door. A strange, intellectual woman was sitting in the passenger seat. Su Luo nodded at her. Then he let Yi Zairamu get on the bus and ran to the other side to get on. As expected, Mayomio, who had the lowest status, sat in the last row. Sister Yi Zairamu greeted the intellectual woman in the passenger seat after getting in the car. Sister Yi, Su Luo also called out. Zairamu, your husband is so handsome, Su Luo, right? Do you want to enter the entertainment industry? Sign me, I will definitely make you famous. Tanya's eyes lit up when she saw Su Luo. But, faced with the invitation to enter the entertainment industry, Yi Zairamu hesitated. Please choose. 1. Agree to enter the entertainment industry and receive a cash reward of 50,000 yuan. 2. Refuse to enter the entertainment industry and receive a cash reward of 5 million. Is this even worth considering? I've been short of money lately, and all the clothes I bought today were from Yi Zairamu. Living off others' money is delicious, but having money in your pocket makes your words more powerful. Option 2. The selection was successful, the reward has been issued, and the cash has been transferred to the bank card. There is no problem with the source of funds. Please feel free to use it. Feeling the vibration from the phone in her pocket, Su Luo smiled knowingly. Sister Ya, I won't enter the entertainment industry. I'm here to accompany Xiao Mu to participate in the show. Su Luo refused. Yi Xiaomu, who was standing aside, had a smile on her face. In her heart, she didn't want Su Luo to enter the entertainment industry. On the one hand, there are many temptations in the entertainment industry. And on the other hand, being a star is really busy, and she kind of likes the feeling of being together every day. Laugh, laugh again, your mouth will almost reach your ears. Tanya smiled after being rejected. Turning around, she saw Yi Xiaomu grinning foolishly and started to tease. Chapter 12, Transparent Glass in the Bathroom. Su Luo, you're still in college, right? Will it affect the filming of the show? Tanya stopped teasing Yi Xiaomu and turned to look at Su Luo. Yes, we are in our senior year, but we don't have classes anymore. We just focus on internships and papers. Su Luo nodded. Then you can temporarily join Xiao Mu's team and be a, life assistant. Sister Ya thought of what Yi Xiaomu had mentioned to her in the morning and asked. Okay, no problem. Su Luo glanced at Yi Xiaomu in surprise. This girl was really planning to let him live off her. Then she nodded and agreed readily. A group of 5 boarded the plane through the VIP channel and sat in the first-class cabin, which was spacious, comfortable, and private. Feeling the flight attendants constantly moving around and the glances coming at her, Su Luo smiled and closed the curtain. This flight is from Shanghai to Jiangcheng, with an estimated flight time of 3 hours and 10 minutes. There was a feeling of weightlessness and turbulence, and after about 10 minutes the plane stabilized. Su Luo smiled, put on an eye mask, and began to rest. After a while, a tall figure walked in and sat beside Su Luo's legs. Su Luo took off the blindfold and looked at Yi Xiaomu. What's wrong? Su Luo asked softly. I'm a little nervous. You're a big star, are you afraid of flying? Su Luo rolled her eyes. No, this is my first time filming a variety show. I'm a little nervous and don't know how it will turn out, Yi Xiaomu said worriedly. It's okay. You're often not nervous in front of the camera, so why are you nervous this time? Su Luo smiled. That's different. I just asked Sister Ya. We'll finish filming the pilot tomorrow, edit it, and send it out tonight. And then officially start filming the day after tomorrow, and it'll be live. You can edit it when shooting the MV, Yi Xiaomu said in a low voice. When you're performing a concert, isn't that the equivalent of a live broadcast? That's different. I'm good at singing, but I've never been in a variety show. Well, just be yourself. Pretend the camera doesn't exist. Su Luo thought for a long time and came up with some words of comfort that seemed useless. If the reputation cannot be reversed this time, I will really quit the circle. Now many endorsement contracts have been terminated with me, Yi Xiaomu said with a pout. Su Luo looked at the dejected look on Yi Xiaomu's face and opened her arms. Come, lie down for a while. You won't be so nervous soon. It's already this time, and you're still thinking of taking advantage. Yi Xiaomu rolled his eyes at Su Luo. What do you mean by taking advantage? I just want you to feel your husband's embrace. Su Luo raised her eyebrows. Yi Xiaomu's face turned red. After thinking for a while, she lay down in Su Luo's arms. Her petite body was embraced in Su Luo's arms. Feeling the fragrance of Su Luo and her steady heartbeat, Yi Xiaomu seemed to have calmed down a lot and slowly closed his eyes. Su Luo smelled the fragrance on Yi Xiaomu's body and closed her eyes. Not long after, Su Luo was woken up. Yi Xiaomu said with a red face that the plane was about to land and it was time to go back. Su Luo rubbed Yi Xiaomu's hair and nodded. Looking at Yi Xiaomu's panic, Su Luo smiled. 5 people came to the underground parking lot where a business car was parked. This car was rented in advance. Su Luo couldn't help but sigh that traveling with a team was indeed convenient, as everything was arranged perfectly. Soon, several people arrived at the Garden Hotel near the shooting location. Your room card? Tanya handed Su Luo a room card. Yi Xiaomu on the side lowered her head and said nothing. Well, I got used to it while sleeping. This was how she comforted herself. Okay, let's meet downstairs at 7:20 tomorrow. We'll go shoot a pilot first and the rest will be up to the director. It's getting late, so go back and get some rest. After Tanya checked in, she explained a few things to everyone and left first. Su Luo pulled the suitcase and left with Yi Xiaomu. 1608. Yi Xiaomu, who was walking in front of Su Luo, held the room card in his hand and muttered while staring at the room number. Here we are, 1608. Yi Xiaomu stopped and put the room card on. Ding ding. The door unlocked and Yizayamu pushed the door open and walked in. Her face immediately turned red. Suluo followed him in and gave Yizayamu a wicked look, because the glass of this bathroom was transparent. "Well, how about we open another one?" Yizayamu asked tentatively. "What do you think?" Suluo rubbed Yizayamu's hair. "But I want to take a shower," Yizayamu said with a pout. "Isn't there a bathroom here?" Suluo said, pointing to the bathroom. "This is transparent," Yizayamu said in a low voice. "What's wrong with being transparent? You are my wife, not an outsider. I don't mind looking at you." Suluo came close to Yizayamu and spoke in a low voice. "You old pervert, is that the question? I don't mind you looking at it." Yizayamu blushed and glared at Suluo. "Okay, you take a shower first. I'll go out and buy some food." Suluo looked at Yizayamu's angry face, pinched her face, and said with a smile, "I want to eat skewers," Yizayamu said in a low voice. "Okay, I'll go buy it. It will probably take me an hour," Suluo said as she walked out of the room. "Huh," Yizayamu breathed a sigh of relief as she watched Suluo walk out of the room. Her heart felt warm. Then she opened her suitcase, grabbed her pajamas, and went into the bathroom. Suluo left the hotel and looked at the time. It was 22:20. She stayed for an hour and then went back to stroll around casually. "Handsome guy, do you want to buy some flowers?" A girl about 20 years old walked up to Suluo. "Well, how many do you have here? I want them all," Suluo said, feeling the slightly cool breeze. "A total of 66 flowers, 660 yuan," the girl said with her eyes lighting up. "Okay, I want them all. Can you pack them for me?" "Sure, wait a moment." The girl immediately took out colored paper from her bag and wrapped it skillfully. "Handsome guy, here you go, just 600. After wrapping the flowers, the girl handed them to Suluo. "Bite. 660 yuan received via WeChat chat." "Thank you." Suluo took the flowers, waved her hand, turned and left. "I found a barbecue restaurant, bought some barbecue, and then walked towards the hotel." Knock, knock, knock. Suluo knocked on the door. "It's me." Suluo was worried that Yizayamu would be scared, so she spoke out to indicate that it was her. When the door opened, Yizayamu saw the flowers in Suluo's arms the first time. "Is this for me?" Yizayamu said in surprise. "Well, do you like it?" "I like it." Yizayamu smiled happily. "That's good, let's have some barbecue." Suluo put the barbecue on the table in the hotel and said, "Okay." Yizayamu smelled the flowers, then carefully placed them on the bedside table and walked over. "You eat first, I'm going to take a shower," Suluo said. "Ah," Yizayamu looked at Suluo in surprise. Chapter 13, I had a nightmare last night. "What, help me take off my clothes?" Suluo reached out and tapped Yizayamu's forehead. Yeah. Because of the flowers, Yizayamu felt happy at this moment. He quickly ran to the suitcase, took out a pair of shorts with a red face, and handed it to Suluo. Then Yizayamu watched Suluo walk into the bathroom with her clothes. Yizayamu was a little shy, but still looked towards the bathroom with some anticipation, and she saw Suluo making a face at her. The transparent glass turned frosted in an instant. "Can't see anything." Yizayamu immediately felt something strange coming. This was a provocation. Then she stood up, but it was only a moment later Yizayamu sat down with a red face she didn't dare. About 20 minutes later, Suluo came out wearing a bathrobe. "Is it delicious?" Suluo asked. "Yeah," Yizayamu nodded. Her face flushed as she recalled her previous thoughts. "Why are you blushing? Are you hot?" Suluo looked at Yizayamu and asked deliberately. "Ah, no, it's just the barbecue that's a little spicy." Yizayamu pretended to be spicy and raised her hand to fan herself. "I didn't put any chili in it," Suluo said quietly. "Ah, you are so annoying." Yizayamu put down the skewers and pushed Suluo. Okay, I won't tease you anymore." Suluo waved her hand, sat next to Yizayamu and started eating with her. "Suluo, this is delicious. You eat it." Yizayamu handed a chicken wing to Suluo while eating. "You eat it, I'll eat this," Suluo said, pointing to a bunch of kidneys on the table. "Pa," Yizayamu scratched Suluo. Then he raised his head and said casually, 3 months. "Why do you always remember 3 months? Are you particularly looking forward to it?" Suluo suddenly leaned close to Yizayamu and said in a low voice, "Get out of here, you old pervert." Yizayamu ignored Suluo and pushed him away. "Eat quickly, it's time to go to bed after eating. It's almost 12 o'clock." Suluo smiled and stopped teasing Yizayamu. Yizayamu's mouth was full of oil. "So delicious." After finishing the meal, Yizayamu covered her stomach and breathed a long sigh of relief. "Go to sleep," Suluo said from the side. Yeah, the two of them went to the bathroom to wash their hands and lay down on the bed. Yizayamu suddenly turned around and looked at Suluo. Suluo sensed the movement, opened her eyes and looked at her curiously. "Don't tell Sister Ya," Yizayamu said seriously, stretched out her jade arm and waved her little fist. "Okay, let's sleep." Suluo reached out, took Yizayamu's hand, put it down, and then closed her eyes. "Yeah," Yizayamu agreed softly. Seeing that Suluo didn't move, she closed her eyes as well. On March 27, 2023, the weather was clear. Suluo had a nightmare. She dreamed that she was entangled by a python and could not breathe at all. When he woke up, he found that Yizayamu was lying on top of him. Suluo did not move either, but quietly looked at Yizayamu's pretty face. Unconsciously, a smile appeared on the corner of Suluo's mouth. Seeing Yizayamu's eyes move slightly, Suluo immediately restrained her smile and closed her eyes. Yizayamu opened his eyes and found himself lying on Suluo's body, and immediately felt a little embarrassed. Maybe it was the flowers from last night, or maybe it was the fact that they had just gotten their marriage certificate yesterday. That made Yizayamu completely lose his guard against Suluo. This is what Yizayamu told herself. Seeing that Suluo didn't wake up, she breathed a sigh of relief and began to move slowly, fearing that she would accidentally wake Suluo. "Right leg, left leg, good job, Yizayamu, you can do it." He turned around and suddenly found Suluo looking at him. "When did you wake up?" Yizayamu's surprised voice came out. "I woke up when you were still asleep." Feeling the delicate body still moving gently on her body, Suluo smiled and continued. "I had a nightmare last night. A snake wrapped itself around me tightly, almost suffocating me. I woke up, and then—" "Don't say anything." Yizayamu immediately supported Suluo with his left hand, jumped up, knelt beside Suluo, and pressed Suluo's mouth with both hands. "Ouch!" Suluo cried out in pain, and stretched out her hands to pry Yizayamu's hands apart. "You're putting pressure on me," Suluo muttered. "I'm sorry," Yizayamu stood up and said softly. "It's already past 7 o'clock, get up." Suluo looked at her phone and said, then sat up. "Ah, it's too late." Yizayamu screamed, immediately took off her pajamas and began to change clothes. Suluo looked at the scene in front of her with amusement. After Yizayamu put on her clothes, she seemed to think of something and turned around to see Suluo, who was grinning. "You didn't see anything." Yizayamu's voice was filled with a hint of doubt. "No," Suluo smiled and shook her head. "Laugh, what are you laughing at? Hurry up and get up, it's too late, I'm going to wash up first." Yizayamu didn't dwell on it for too long. Well, she was already his wife, so it wouldn't be a big deal to just wait and see. "Okay," Suluo nodded and began to change clothes. Yizayamu looked at Suluo's exquisite abdominal muscles and ran into the bathroom with a red face. At 7:20, two people appeared downstairs of the Garden Hotel. "I haven't washed the clothes I took off yesterday," Yizayamu said in a low voice. "Let's wash it tonight," Suluo smiled. She was really anxious this morning. "Oh, and I haven't put on makeup yet." Yizayamu pouted and looked at Suluo and said in a low voice. "I think I'll be able to draw when I get there, right?" Suluo said uncertainly. "Besides, you're no different than you were yesterday." As for her natural appearance, Suluo had seen her before, and there wasn't much difference between her with and without makeup. Yizayamu's facial features were already very delicate, and makeup was just the icing on the cake. At this time, a business car drove over from the parking lot. "Why aren't you wearing makeup?" Tanya frowned and said after seeing the two of them get in the car. Yizayamu immediately turned around and looked at Suluo angrily. "Didn't you say it's no different from putting on makeup?" This was the message conveyed by Yizayamu's eyes. "There's really no difference," Suluo said with her eyes. "Then how did Sister Ya see that?" "You're probably still wearing your headband." "I put it on when I was washing up. I forgot to take it off." Yizayamu took off her hairband and combed her hair in the car. She didn't deliberately style her hair, just let it hang naturally. "Sister Ya, will all the guests be here today?" Yizayamu asked on the way. "Yes, right," Tanya said uncertainly because she didn't know the specific process. The director team meant that they needed to ensure the scene of the couple's meeting for the first time, so all information was kept confidential. Even the promotion on Weibo did not reveal the identity, and the mystery was overflowing. After about half an hour, the business car stopped and arrived at the agreed place. "It's so beautiful." Yizayamu was attracted by the scenery as soon as she got off the car. She opened her hands, closed her eyes, and felt the spring breeze on her face. Suluo stood beside Yizayamu with a smile. Chapter 14 Pilot film filming begins. In front of the two people was a small courtyard with several houses. This should be where they can live. What kind of variety show is this? Suluo wondered. Let's go in," Tanya said and walked into the yard first. Yizayamu took Suluo's arm and followed her in. Hello, Director Ding. Tanya walked into the yard and saw a man directing the on-site layout. This man looks to be about 30 years old. Ding Lei, the director of the celebrity couple. Hello, Sister Ya. Ding Lei heard the voice, turned around, and found it was Tanya, and also greeted with a smile. Tanya is a gold medal agent and is also well known in the entertainment industry, so it's not surprising that you know her. Ding Lei nodded to Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu again. Director Ding, what happens next? Tanya asked. Let's find a place first. Yi Xiaomu and Su Luo are here too. I'll give you a rough outline of the program. As he spoke, he took a few people to the other side of the yard. There were also a few houses there, and Ding Lei took a few people into one of them. Sit down, Ding Lei greeted a few people. This place looked like a conference room. Let me tell you about the show first. We will arrange for 3 celebrity couples to stay here, and you are one of them. Our show is a live broadcast with editing. The filming process lasts for a month. The live broadcast time is from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. All you have to do is live in this yard and complete the tasks we assign you. You two will go shoot the pilot film in a while. It's next door. Just follow the instructions and then you can go back first. You have to come by noon tomorrow, and we will install cameras on your cars today. The cameras will automatically turn on at 8 o'clock tomorrow. This means the live broadcast will begin the moment you get on the bus tomorrow. Do you understand? Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu nodded. Sister Ya, do you have any other questions? Ding Lei said, looking at Tanya. Well, if it's a month, I definitely won't be here all the time. Director Ding, do you have any room here for my assistant? Tanya glanced at Lu Mio. Yes, we provide an assistant room for each couple. Ding Lei nodded. Mio, you just stay here. Li Yang, after you send Xiaomu and the others off tomorrow, come to the hotel to pick me up and we'll go back to Shanghai together. Tanya immediately arranged plans for tomorrow. Okay, Mio and Li Yang nodded. Oh, by the way, since I'm always live streaming, there's a high possibility that I'll enter the country without makeup. Is that acceptable? Ding Lei said as if he had thought of something. Sure, no problem, Yi Xiaomu nodded. In that case, let's get started. Yi Xiaomu, Su Luo, you can just go to the next room. Seeing that there was no problem with Tanya, Ding Lei said to Su Luo and the others. Su Luo looked at Yi Xiaomu, who suddenly seemed a little nervous, and took her hand and walked out. Don't be nervous, Su Luo said gently. Yi Xiaomu nodded and held Su Luo's hand tightly. 2 people walked into the next door. Yi Xiaomu, Su Luo, hello. I'm the executive director, Lu Jun. Don't be nervous. The pilot will be just an interview with you, followed by a talent show. Finally, the 3 celebrity couples will meet and introduce themselves to each other. Lu Jun could see that Yi Xiaomu was very nervous. Okay, you say, and we'll cooperate. Su Luo nodded and spoke. Okay, let's get started. Xiaowan, take them both to touch up their makeup. Lu Jun shouted. Okay. Xiaowan took the 2 of them and sat next to the makeup mirror to start touching up their makeup. Basically, it was just to make the photos look good, so it didn't take too much time. Just sit on the sofa over there first, Lu Jun said after finishing his makeup, pointing to the sofa not far in front. Snap, there was a sound from somewhere. Okay, Su Luo agreed and pulled Yi Xiaomu to the sofa and sat down. 2 staff members came up and handed 2 clip-on microphones to Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu. Su Luo looked at Yi Xiaomu with a wry smile while holding a set of equipment. He had never carried this thing before. After Yi Xiaomu put it on, he turned around and started helping Su Luo put it on. Are you still nervous? Su Luo whispered in Yi Xiaomu's ear. Don't be nervous anymore. Yi Xiaomu paused slightly but quickly relaxed and spoke softly. After putting on the microphone, the 2 of them sat back on the sofa. Are you ready? Lu Jun looked at the 2 of them. Wait, Su Luo raised her hand. What's wrong? Lu Jun held back his laughter and looked at Su Luo, who looked like an elementary school student. Is it an interview, the kind where you ask questions? Su Luo asked curiously. Yes, Lu Jun nodded. Can you show it to me in advance? I want to prepare myself, otherwise I'm afraid I won't be able to answer it later. Su Luo was actually a little nervous. It was also his first time recording a show. He was quite calm just now, but now that it was about to start, he became a little nervous. They are all simple questions, there is no need to look at them. But we are recording, and we can make NGs if there are any problems, Lu Jun explained. Su Luo relaxed immediately after hearing this. It can be edited, so there is no problem. Any more questions? Lu Jun asked. Don't you think my answer after reading the question might be more effective for the show? The relaxed Su Luo was naturally a bit of a social bull. Yi Xiaomu heard Su Luo's words and immediately laughed and nodded. Well, it seems so, but no, any other questions? Lu Jun rejected Su Luo's request. How about some tea? I always feel it's a bit awkward to just sit here like this. Su Luo glanced at the coffee table in front of the sofa and said again. Ha 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 ha, Yi Zayaramu laughed out loud and patted Su Luo. What are you doing? Lu Jun held his forehead and waved his hand. Soon a staff member brought 2 cups of tea and placed them on the coffee table. Su Luo picked it up, blew on it, took a sip and sipped it. This tea is good, I have no problem, Su Luo said. Yi Zayaramu, who was holding Su Luo's arm, smiled and nodded, indicating that there was no problem. Lu Jun turned to look at the cameraman beside him, and seeing him nod, he smiled with satisfaction. Pilot Yisu action. Bang, the sound of hitting the board was heard. Welcome Yi Zayaramu and Su Luo to join the first season of the daily life of celebrity couples, Lu Jun said from below. Pa pa pa, Su Luo started clapping. Everyone looked at Su Luo. Su Luo suddenly felt that the atmosphere was not right and clapped twice awkwardly. Well, this place will be accompanied by applause later, so you are not needed. Lu Jun was satisfied in his heart, but he had to take over this burden, so he said it with pretended embarrassment. Chapter 15. Were your breasts also flattened at that time? Cut out that part just now. Su Luo's face turned red. Yi Zayaramu smiled at the side. She had participated in various announcements and knew the idea of recording and editing. It was likely that the previous part would be retained. Let's continue, Lu Jun said. Let's say hello to everyone first. Yi Zayaramu, you go first, Lu Jun said, holding a card in his hand. Hello, everyone. I'm Yi Zayaramu, Mew Mew. Yi Zayaramu let go of Su Luo, waved his hands, and introduced himself. Hello, everyone. I'm Su Luo. Su Luo also waved like Yi Zayaramu. Liu Liu. Ha ha ha, Su Luo, do you have to be so funny? Yi Zayaramu laughed out loud immediately, especially when she heard the tone of Su Luo's voice when she said, Where is Luo Luo? She leaned on Su Luo's shoulder and kept laughing. Ah, that's not right. Wait, if you subtract the one just now, this one doesn't need a template, right? Su Luo immediately became serious and straightened Yi Zayaramu. Hello, audience friends. I'm Yi Zayaramu's husband, Su Luo. Gentlemen, draw your swords, Su Luo said seriously. The scene was filled with laughter again. Lu Jun was delighted. This Su Luo was really good at variety shows. The first question is, who of you is chasing whom? Su Luo immediately looked at Yi Zayaramu, and Yi Zayaramu also turned to look at Su Luo. Neither of them spoke for a moment. Yi Zayaramu reached out and pinched Su Luo, then looked at the camera and said, Yes, it's me. I should take the blame. Su Luo nodded and said seriously. Yi Zayaramu widened his eyes, looked at Su Luo in surprise, and reached out to pat Su Luo. Su Luo stretched out her cloud hand to block it, then took it and touched Yi Zayaramu's forehead with her right hand. Hehe, the staff instantly felt like tons of dog food were fed to their mouths, but they all laughed out loud. In fact, it was me who pursued her first. I was just joking, Su Luo said seriously. Joking is fine, but the sense of security and respect that should be given must be there. Of course, due to special reasons, they had already edited the process, so there was no problem of mismatching the answers. The next question is the recent online news about Yi Zayaramu being pregnant true? Lu Jun asked the question that many netizens were most concerned about. Yeah, Yi Zayaramu blushed and nodded. Su Luo secretly thought that this was not good. Although this answer was true, she would be labeled as pregnant before marriage. I want to add something to this, Su Luo thought for a moment and continued. Yi Zayaramu looked at Su Luo curiously. This is a real case. Warning our audience friends, this safe period is really unsafe, Su Luo said with a bitter face while tactically drinking water. Ah, Yi Zayaramu screamed immediately, covered her face with her hands, and lay on Su Luo's shoulder. For the third question, give the other person a score and explain your reasons. Let me speak first. Su Luo looked at Yi Zayaramu, who was still shy, rubbed Yi Zayaramu's head, and then spoke. Out of 100, I'd give it 82. I'll give her the remaining 18 points in the form of 666. Su Luo saw Yi Zayaramu raise her head and glare at him, and quickly continued. As for the reason, I won't tell you. Those who understand will understand. Su Luo blinked at the camera. Yi Zayaramu rolled her eyes at him again. Well, I'll give him 99 points, and I'll give him 1 point because I'm afraid he'll become proud. Yi Zayaramu's expression returned to normal. He glanced at Su Luo and said with a smile in his eyes, He is usually a very gentle person and good at taking care of others, but he is a little bad. When talking about bad, Yi Zayaramu even patted Su Luo on the shoulder. The most important thing is that he's handsome, Su Luo added immediately. Yi Zayaramu smiled and did not deny it. All the staff members looked at the two of them with anti-smiles on their faces. The next question is for Yizayamu. Since his daughter is getting married, the person with the most complicated emotions is her father. What is the thing that left the deepest impression on you about your father? Yizayamu fell into deep thought when she heard this question, but she quickly remembered it. My dad was usually busy with work, so I didn't see him often. At that time, I even felt that he didn't like me. That was the final exam for the second year of junior high school. My dad was waiting for me at the school gate when it was over. When I saw him, I was so excited that I ran very fast. Then my foot slipped and I fell to the ground. My teeth fell out and there was blood all over the floor. When my father hugged me, I saw how nervous he was and I felt very happy, Yizayamu said with a smile on her face. So your breasts were also flattened at that time? Suluo said quietly from the side. Is it flattened? Flat. Ah, Suluo, I'm going to fight you. Yizayamu was being sentimental, but Suluo said this and mocked her. Yizayamu couldn't stand it, so I sat astride Suluo and pinched her neck with both hands. Suluo immediately grabbed Yizayamu's waist to prevent her from falling, and screamed with her. After a while, Yizayamu remembered that she was still rehearsing the program. She blushed and moved away from Suluo, sat aside and tidied her hair. That part just now, cut it out, Yizayamu said lightly, his eyes sweeping towards Lu Jun. I have to say that when Yizayamu gets serious, she still has a certain aura. Lu Jun nodded frantically on the surface, but in fact, he was already very happy. Yizayamu, the queen of the music world, is gentle and sweet. I didn't expect that she would be in such a state. One last question, Suluo. We understand that you're still a senior in college. Is it stressful being with Yizayamu? Suluo thought about it briefly. The pressure is still quite high. When I think about a future without worries about food and clothing but without any goals to strive for, I feel depressed. I even feel like crying. Suluo pretended to look lost, but she couldn't hide the smile on her lips. Well, I'm a little amused. Can we start over? Suluo couldn't help laughing out loud and said immediately. Yizayamu covered her mouth and laughed. Suluo often teased her, and she knew that Suluo was sometimes like this, not serious at all. But if he really encounters trouble, Suluo will definitely take on the responsibilities that he should bear. This is the sense of security that Suluo gives her. Just a joke, Suluo said quickly when he saw the staff around him looking at him with eyes that wanted to stab him. Actually, I do feel a bit of pressure. I'm mainly worried about Yizayamu. I'm afraid that because of me, she'll be forced to quit the industry. I know she loves this industry. Suluo said seriously. Yizayamu looked at Suluo, stretched out his right hand and shook hands with Suluo. The two looked at each other and laughed. Thank you both for your cooperation. I'm satisfied with today's dog food. Lu Jun's voice came. Next, let's move on to the next step, Lu Jun said. Chapter 16. The man on the road is as beautiful as jade, and the young master is unparalleled in the world. Next, let's move on to the next step, Lu Jun said. Suluo and Yizayamu looked at Lu Jun with pretended curiosity. Talent show. Lu Jun didn't keep the audience in suspense but said it directly. Yizayamu relaxed after hearing this, and just looked at Suluo with a teasing expression. Suluo shrugged indifferently. Just check out his god-level dancing skills. He was not joking. But there is a condition, Lu Jun added. Lu Jun saw that the two of them were already looking at him and smiled mysteriously. Cross-dressing. Suluo was immediately shocked. What is cross-dressing? Isn't that just a man dressed as a woman? What are you doing? I quit. Suluo looked reluctant, while Yizayamu beside her showed an excited look. Suluo? Yizayamu looked at Suluo with a smile on her face. Director, I won't do this. Even if I die here today, I will never wear women's clothes. Suluo looked at Lu Jun with a serious face. I want to see it, Yizayamu said with anticipation, wrapping her arms around Suluo. No, you don't want to? The softness of the arm made Suluo think, although it is small, it is there, but she still refused. The talent show conditions of the three couples are not the same, but the cross-dressing performance is undoubtedly the most interesting. Lu Jun was just thinking about what to do when he saw Yizayamu holding Suluo's arm and kissing him on the cheek. Suluo, I want to see it, Yizayamu said with a slightly red face. Can you do it again here? Suluo felt the warmth coming from her left cheek, pointed to her right cheek and said with a silly smile to Yizayamu. Yizayamu narrowed her eyes and moved closer. Suluo nodded in satisfaction. It wasn't that Suluo didn't want to turn around and continue with her lips, but this was her first conscious kiss after all. He couldn't quite remember whether they kissed last month, so it didn't count. This kind of occasion is indeed not suitable. I, Su Luo, am like the sea, but I am full of waves. Although I am the king of the sea, I am romantic. Well, I have retired from the world of romance. So I, Su Luo, will become a romantic man. Don't ask who romance is. Are those two okay? Lu Jun was secretly happy. These two were so sweet, so he spoke immediately. No problem, Yi Zaiamu answered excitedly. Okay, there's a changing room over there with men's and women's clothing. After you go in and choose your clothes, you can come out to perform, Lu Jun said, pointing to a door on the side. Yi Zaiamu immediately pulled Su Luo in. How do I change? Yi Zaiamu looked at the bright changing room with a blushing face, thinking to herself that she was going to be seen by Su Luo again. It's okay, you've basically seen everything you should have seen. Su Luo closed the door of the room, looked at Yi Zaiamu with a blushing face, and teased. It's too bright here, I'm a little embarrassed. Yi Zaiamu walked to Su Luo's side, holding her hands with both hands, and whispered. In the morning in the room, the light was dim after all, so I could comfort myself that he couldn't see clearly. But here, the lights are bright. This is because they are afraid that Su Luo can't see clearly. Okay, stop thinking about it and go pick out clothes first. Su Luo rubbed Yi Zaiamu's head. Oh, Yi Zaiamu pouted and responded, then walked to the men's clothing rack. It can be seen that the production team must be very rich, as they are all new clothes. Well, they may be provided by sponsors. But, faced with the request for women's clothing, the host hesitates, please choose. 1. Agree to wear women's clothing and get a God-level voice changer as a reward. 2. Refuse to wear women's clothing and receive a cash reward of 100 million yuan. No, I didn't hesitate. Since Su Luo had already agreed to wear women's clothing to Yi Zaiamu, she naturally wouldn't refuse at this time. Choose 1, choose successfully, and you will be rewarded with God-level voice changing. God-level voice changing allows you to make various female voices. Then Su Luo picked around and finally chose Hanfu. While Yi Zaiamu was still choosing, she quickly took off her clothes and changed into Hanfu. Wow, Yi Zaiamu turned around and was stunned when she saw Su Luo. She then took a wig from the dressing table and put it on Su Luo. A tall and beautiful woman with an ancient heroic style appeared. Okay, go change your clothes. Su Luo blushed a little when Yi Zaiamu stared at her and said unhappily. Your voice. Yi Zaiamu looked at Su Luo in shock. That was a girl's voice just now. Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu with amusement and shushed her with a finger. Okay, go quickly, you still have to put on makeup later, Su Luo said in her original voice. Tell me, are you just waiting to see me change clothes? Yi Zaiamu looked at Su Luo seriously and said in a low voice. What's so good about the little steamed buns? Su Luo said with pretended disdain. Ah, you despise me. Yi Zaiamu got furious and stretched out her hand to pinch Su Luo's arm. Ah, Su Luo put on a mask of pain. I like the smaller one, okay. That's better. Yi Zaiamu let go of his hand and nodded. Wait, why am I arguing with him about this? HMPH, you're just an old pervert. Yi Zaiamu reacted and glared at Su Luo. Su Luo pulled Yi Zaiamu over and whispered in her ear, You are my wife. If I don't lust after you, who else can I lust after? You are so annoying. Feeling the heat coming from her ears, Yi Zaiamu's body suddenly softened. Okay, go change your clothes. Su Luo let go of Yi Zaiamu, rubbed her head, and spoke gently. Yeah, Yi Zaiamu squinted her eyes and nodded. Yi Zaiamu walked around the men's clothing area, turned to look at Su Luo, and finally carefully picked out a men's hanfu. Su Luo, I'm a little embarrassed to change. Can you please stop looking at me? After Yi Zaiamu took the hanfu, she saw Su Luo staring at her and whispering. Okay. Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu's pretty face and responded gently, then turned around. Looking at Yi Zaiamu in the mirror after she took off her clothes, Su Luo sighed in her heart. It turns out that she is not that small. At least she has a C cup. It just looks a little smaller compared to the hips and overall body shape. Su Luo didn't keep staring at her, but stood up and walked to the corner. In case Yi Zaiamu realized that there was a mirror here, she would probably cry out of shyness. Su Luo naturally would not make Yi Zaiamu feel uncomfortable, whether because of her good impression of Yi Zaiamu or because she was her wife and the mother of her children. Su Luo would not embarrass Yi Zaiamu. Su Luo, I'm fine. Does it look good? Yi Zaiamu's voice came, making Su Luo turn around. What a handsome man. He is like jade, unparalleled in the world, Su Luo exclaimed. In ancient times, men had long hair. Yi Zaiamu tied her hair up and put on hanfu, and since she was not short, she looked so delicate, which was rare. Chapter 17, I'll dance another sad song for you. Su Luo, you are so beautiful. Yi Zaiamu pulled Su Luo to stand in front of the mirror and said, You can use adjectives like handsome, powerful, strong, and durable to describe me, but you can't use the word beautiful, Su Luo emphasized seriously. HMPH, Yizayamu patted Su Luo. Apart from the word handsome, other words were not good. Let's go out, Su Luo said. Yeah, Yizayamu nodded, took Su Luo's arm and walked out. Wow, the staff on site exclaimed when they saw the door open and the two people. I'm in love, a man said blankly while looking at Su Luo. Miu Miu is so handsome, a girl shouted immediately. Upon hearing this, Yizayamu smiled at the girl and winked at her. Ah, in response, several girls screamed one after another. What are you going to perform next? Lu Jun made a gesture to quiet the scene and asked. Yizayamu subconsciously looked at Su Luo. Just sing your song, Su Luo said. What about you? Yizayamu looked at Su Luo curiously. I'm dancing. You can dance, Yizayamu said in surprise. Not bad, Su Luo touched his nose. Well, Yizayamu, what song do you want to sing? Lu Jun asked. Today, Su Luo and I are both wearing hanfu, so I will sing one of my latest songs, which is also a Chinese-style song, Xinyu Muzai. Original, edited, understand, Chinese-style song, main content. During the Han Dynasty, a woman in seclusion waits for her husband to go to the battlefield. In the end, she returns with the news of her husband's death and a jade hairpin. The accompaniment of the guzheng slowly sounded. This was the first time Su Luo listened to Yizayamu singing seriously. When the first line of lyrics was uttered, Su Luo began to dance. The sad and beautiful music was performed to the fullest by Su Luo. A sense of anticipation, despair, and regret for her husband emanated from Su Luo's dance, filling the entire room. Thinking of you for 1,000 times, waiting for the moment of separation, I will dance a sad song for you again, the ending of the main character of the song. Su Luo spun barefoot, and when the last note fell, she stopped, stretched out her right hand as if to grasp something, then gently withdrew it and placed it on her heart. There were soft sobbing sounds coming from all around, and Yizayamu looked at Su Luo with a sad face. Well, the performance is over. Su Luo ran to the side, put on her shoes, and spoke. Pa pa pa. Everyone seemed to be awakened and started clapping. Excuse me, didn't they say that the applause would be added later? Su Luo saw the staff talking to each other and raised her hand. At first the girl burst into laughter, and a bubble appeared under her nose, making her blush and lower her head. Su Luo, you dance so well, I like it so much. Did you prepare this specially? Yizayamu quietly pulled Su Luo and said. In her opinion, this tune fits her song very well. Could it be that Su Luo had arranged it in advance? Could it be that Su Luo had? Thinking of this, Yizayamu couldn't help but feel a little moved. Just dancing? Su Luo scratched her head and told the truth. It was indeed just dancing, dancing according to the emotion and rhythm of the music. God-level dance skills YYDS. Ah, Yizayamu was not even half moved when she was touched by Su Luo's Versailles. Director, what should we do next? Su Luo rubbed Yizayamu's head and asked. Next, you go to the next room and wait for the other two couples. Please note that the next room is always recording, Lu Jun reminded. Okay, let's go change our clothes first. After Su Luo finished speaking, he pulled Yizayamu, who was still looking at him in confusion, and walked into the locker room. What's wrong? Are you stupid? Su Luo closed the door and saw that Yizayamu still looked conflicted. Can you dance to this song for me? Yizayamu said, holding Su Luo's arm. I just danced randomly. I don't even remember the moves myself. Su Luo shrugged and said. Yizayamu pouted and looked at Su Luo without saying a word, which made Su Luo feel a little distressed. Okay, I'll think about it later or watch the show again, and it should be fine. Su Luo couldn't help laughing when she saw Yizayamu pretending to be about to cry. HMPH, Yizayamu snorted and walked towards her clothes. She was in such a good mood that she even forgot Su Luo was beside her. She hummed a song softly while changing her clothes. Su Luo shook her head. Xiaomu's trust in him was growing stronger, and her favorability towards him was definitely increasing as well. That was good. Thinking about this, Su Luo also started to change his clothes. When he finished changing his clothes, he saw Yizayamu looking at the ceiling with a red face. Does it look good? Su Luo asked with a smile on her face. What? Yizayamu said, pretending to be innocent. Do I think my figure is nice? The man approached Yizayamu and said softly. The fragrance from Su Luo's body reached Yizayamu's nose, which immediately made Yizayamu feel a little flustered. Well, it's just average, Yizayamu said while pretending to be calm. Who else have you seen? Su Luo said, pretending to be angry. Ah, I haven't seen anyone else's. Yizayamu felt a little nervous when he saw Su Luo's expression and immediately began to explain. Yi Zaiamu looked at Su Luo, who had been silent, walked to her side, leaned over and spoke into her ear. "I've only seen yours, it looks great." Yi Zaiamu's sweet voice made Su Luo laugh. He stretched out his left hand and looked at Yi Zaiamu. Yi Zaiamu looked at Su Luo's expression and naturally knew that he was not angry, so she cooperated and stretched out her right hand. Holding hands, the two walked out of the room. "Su Luo, Yi Zaiamu, you can go wait next door. The other two couples are already being interviewed and will be there soon after they finish." Lu Jun saw Su Luo and the other person come out and spoke, then took them to the next room. Su Luo and Yi Zaiamu looked around the room. It was not big, like a living room, with 3 long sofas surrounding a coffee table. Su Luo and Yi Zaiamu thought for a moment and walked to the sofa facing the door. "Su Luo, tell me, who are the other 2 couples?" After Yi Zaiamu sat down, he took Su Luo's arm as if out of habit and asked, "You don't think I can guess it, do you?" Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu in surprise. "I just want to discuss this with you." Yi Zaiamu blushed and explained, "Well, I think you should remember to introduce me to some people later. I haven't paid much attention to the entertainment industry before, and I don't know many of them." Su Luo said to Yi Zaiamu seriously. Chapter 18, 3 Celebrity Couples. "Okay, don't worry, I know almost all of them." Yi Zaiamu patted the little rabbit and said with a smile, "Stop taking pictures. You really won't grow up if you keep taking pictures." Su Luo joked casually. Since no one came, it would be nice to chat with Yi Zaiamu casually. "HMPH, you despise me." Yi Zaiamu had completely forgotten that there was a camera here. "I don't have any." "Yes, you always say I'm small." Yi Zaiamu glared at Su Luo. She was not too angry. She just liked the feeling of bickering with Su Luo. Sometimes when she was about to lose, she just had to pretend to be aggrieved, and Su Luo would comfort her. This feeling made Yi Zaiamu feel very satisfied. "Just to be clear, I personally don't mind it, and I quite like it." Su Luo said this at the end, and even whispered in Yi Zaiamu's ear. Yi Zaiamu's face lit up when she heard this, but Su Luo's next words left her dumbfounded. Su Luo sat up straight and spoke clearly. "I'm just worried that our baby won't have enough to eat right after it's born." "Ah, Su Luo, I'm going to fight you." Yi Zaiamu sat astride Su Luo's legs, gently pinching Su Luo's neck with both hands. Cough, cough, a slight cough was heard. Yi Zaiamu stopped moving, turned around mechanically, and saw a man and a woman standing at the door. He immediately got off Su Luo. "Hello, Teacher Zhujai. Hello, Teacher Tangjiro." Yi Zaiamu greeted them with a red face. "Hello, Teacher Zhujai and Teacher Tangjiro. I am Su Luo." When Su Luo saw Yi Zaiamu's expression, she immediately stood up and greeted them. "Hello, Yi Zaiamu, Su Luo." Zhujai and Tangjiro greeted them with a smile. Zhujai, China's youngest best actor, is 32, and Tangjiro, best actress, is 29. They registered their marriage last October. "Teacher Zhu, Teacher Tang, please take a seat." Su Luo pointed at the sofa in the middle, motioning them to sit down. "You guys sit down too." Zhujai didn't refuse. He took Tangjiro's hand and sat on the sofa in the middle. "I heard that, Teacher Yi, you are pregnant." Tangjiro looked at Yi Zaiamu curiously after sitting down. "Teacher Tang just called me Zaiamu. Yes, it's been more than a month." Yi Zaiamu nodded and said. Although they were both in the entertainment industry, Yi Zaiamu was a singer and Tangjiro was an actress, and neither of them had chosen to develop in multiple fields, so naturally they were not very familiar with each other. "Zaiamu, come on, just call me Sister Ru." Tangjiro looks like a very gentle woman, and she is a little fat, which may be related to the requirements of filming. "Sister Ru," Yi Zaiamu called out seriously. "I'm so envious of you. We are also preparing for pregnancy now." Tangjiro showed an envious look. Su Luo saw Zhujai with a bitter look on his face and felt happy. Well, you can imagine how miserable Zhujai's life was at home. Because they were not very familiar with each other, Su Luo did not start to tease. The 4 of them chatted for a while and became familiar with each other. "Isn't Zairo Luo in the entertainment industry?" Zhujai asked. "Well, I'm still in my senior year, majoring in finance." Su Luo answered seriously. "Wow, you two are in a relationship between an older woman and a younger man." Tangjiro on the side immediately said, Did you guys find out? I think I look very young." Su Luo reached out and lifted her bangs, speaking seriously, but her expression was somewhat cocky. Yi Zaiamu sat next to Su Luo and patted him quietly. After all, one should be more restrained in front of a senior. But Su Luo doesn't care about seniority or not. If they get along well, then get along. If they don't get along well, then don't get along. At present, Su Luo has a very good impression of Zhujai and Tangjiro. Hello, a voice came from the door. Su Luo and the others looked in the direction of the voice. Suddenly, an older couple walked in. Ah, Yi Zayamo screamed. Tang Jiru's eyes lit up. King Zhou, the two women shouted in unison. Su Luo and Zhu Jai looked at each other. A hint of helplessness flashed in their eyes. They can't compare, they can't compare. King Zhou Yang, 45 years old, is a top superstar in the fields of film, television, and music. Li Na, 40 years old, amateur, Zhou Yang's wife, and also his personal assistant. Zhou Yang greeted everyone with a smile. The six of them sat down and introduced themselves to each other, so they all got to know each other. However, Zhou Yang vaguely felt a hint of hostility coming from the side. If Zhu Jai and Su Luo's eyes could kill, Zhou Yang would have been tortured to death. Looking at the two men, Tang Jiru and Yi Zayaramu exchanged a glance, then shook their heads helplessly. They each held Zhu Jai and Su Luo's arms. Yi Zayaramu pinched Su Luo, and when he saw Su Luo looking at him, he wrinkled his nose at him. Su Luo smiled. It wasn't that she really had any problem with Zhou Yang, but men always had some little thoughts. In the eyes of my girlfriend, I should be the most powerful one, not anyone else. Hello, everyone. At this time, Ding Lei walked in. Director Ding, everyone greeted him. Today, our celebrity couple's daily program crew is complete. Filming will officially begin at 8 a.m. tomorrow, and the actual start time is 12 noon. The yard next door is where you live. There are 6 houses connected together. One of the smaller rooms has a kitchen, and the other 5 are standard suites with 1 bedroom, 1 living room, and 1 bathroom. Zhou Yang is in room 1, Zhu Jai is in room 2, and Yi Zayaramu is in room 3. Do you understand everything? Ding Lei looked at everyone. What about me? Su Luo asked. Everyone immediately looked at Su Luo in confusion. Even Yi Zayaramu patted Su Luo, signaling him not to cause trouble. Zhou Yang is in room 1, Zhu Jai is in room 2, so why is Yi Zayaramu in room 3? I am the head of the family. Su Luo immediately stood up and shouted loudly. Everyone then understood what Su Luo meant and burst into laughter. Director, are you indifferent to gender or are you doing this on purpose? I feel like I've suffered 10,000 points of damage. Puff. Su Luo looked at Ding Lei with an unwilling look. Ding Lei couldn't help laughing. Well, the list is based on the people we invited. Ding Lei explained with a serious expression. So I'm not qualified to be invited. Su Luo looked at Ding Lei resentfully. Stop it, Yi Zayaramu glared at Su Luo from the side. Director, please ignore him. He's been slacking off on his medication lately. Yi Zayaramu said with a slight smile. At the same time, she turned around and glared at Su Luo with a Sichuan opera-like face change. Director, please continue. Yi Zayaramu spoke with an apology. Today's footage has been filmed. Everyone can go back now. Remember to arrive at the courtyard before 12 noon tomorrow. Chapter 19. Your girlfriends come to block you every day. Okay, Su Luo responded, pulling Yi Zayaramu to leave, but Yi Zayaramu pulled her to sit down. What's wrong? Su Luo looked at Yi Zayaramu in confusion. Let's wait and see what others say. Yi Zayaramu whispered in Su Luo's ear. Director, have you hit the clapperboard? Zhu Jai suddenly spoke. Snap, Zhu Jai stretched out his hand and clapped it. Ka, Ding Lei shouted immediately. Wait, Su Luo and Yi Zayaramu looked at each other. Were they filming the whole time? Yes, Zhu Jai looked at the two curiously. Don't you know? Yes, Yi Zayaramu blushed immediately and fell into Su Luo's arms. Su Luo hugged Yi Zayaramu with an embarrassed look on her face. You guys, Zhu Jai looked at Su Luo with a puzzled look on his face. It's okay, ahem. Su Luo had a blank expression on her face. Fortunately, she hadn't gone too far before. Cough, Ding Lei coughed lightly, attracting the attention of several people. Our program will send out the promotional video tonight at 8 o'clock sharp. You can all help promote it on Weibo then. Seeing everyone looking over, Ding Lei spoke. That's no problem, director. How do we shoot next? I'm completely confused about this show, Zhu Jai said jokingly. To put it simply, you just have to live a good life. Then, every few days, there might be celebrities visiting, and you'll be responsible for entertaining them. Ding Lei considered the wording and said it out loud. He did not want to reveal some of the most important things now. Okay, then let's retreat first and go back to prepare, Zhu Jai said. Zhou Yang nodded and pulled Li Na out of the room. Su Luo and Yi Zayaramu looked at each other and followed him out. Sister Ye, let's go. As soon as Yi Zayaramu went out, she saw Tanya and Lu Mia waiting there. Okay, let's go. Tanya nodded, and the 4 of them got into the business car together. Li Yang started the car and drove towards the Garden Hotel. How is it? Tanya turned from the passenger seat and looked at Yi Zayaramu. It's okay, I'm not so nervous anymore. That's good. Go home and have a good rest today. Li Yang and I will go back first and pick you up next month. Yeah, Yi Zaiamu nodded. This show has Zhu Jai, Tang Jiru, and Zhou Yang, so it should be very popular, so you must perform well. Su Luo, Zio Mu is pregnant. You have to take good care of her, Tanya reminded. Yes, I will, Su Luo nodded and replied. Let me do it, Su Luo said as she watched Yi Zaiamu run to the bathroom and start washing yesterday's clothes as soon as she returned to the room. No, I'll wash it myself. Yi Zaiamu's face turned slightly red, thinking of the underwear she took off yesterday. Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu and smiled without any force, and her liking for Yi Zaiamu increased again. As a queen, she was willing to wash his clothes and had a good temper. Even Su Luo's behavior, Yi Zaiamu didn't mind at all and was willing to let him eat soft rice. Although it is not ruled out that it is because of the child, this is enough to make Su Luo feel very satisfied. Thinking of the child, Su Luo recalled that night and took out her cell phone. Hey, second brother, Su Luo said. Don't call me the second brother, call me the second brother. No, just call me by my name. Gyu Rui's voice came from the other end of the phone. Gyu Rui, Su Luo's roommate, is the second child, while Su Luo is the eldest. School just started, let's go drink. What happened that night? Su Luo asked. In terms of drinking capacity, Gyu Rui is the best in their dormitory, so it is very likely that he will be sober at the end. Hehe, did you remember? Gyu Rui let out a sinister laugh. Don't be ridiculous. What happened that night? How did I get back to my room? Let me think about it. You drank too much that day, and we were about to take you back to your room. Just as we were about to open the door, a girl rushed over and hugged you. Then you started kissing. The way you did it, wow. You almost wanted to be at the door. We pushed you into the room, closed the door, and left, Gyu Rui said with a smile. Well, do you want to thank me? When you didn't react the next day, I thought it didn't work out. Go, in other words, you know who that girl is? Su Luo asked. I don't know. I rushed over and fell into your arms. I couldn't see her face clearly, but she looked like she had a good figure and was a good match for you. You didn't keep in touch later? What happened? You bastards, if someone wants to get their kidneys cut, you'll be accomplices. Su Luo was speechless. It turned out that the culprits were actually these three people. That's impossible. After all, our Jinling has good security. All right, I got it, hanging up. You haven't been back to school lately. Your girlfriends come to the dormitory every day to block you. Ignore them, just tease them, they actually took it seriously, Su Luo said casually. Then he was surprised to see Yi Zaiamu looking at him quietly with anger on her face. Second brother, I'm hanging up first. Your sister-in-law wants to talk to me about something, Su Luo said, and immediately hung up the phone. Su Luo, what do you mean by your girlfriend? Yi Zaiamu said in a low voice. Well, you know my college roommate is a bad guy, I was just joking. Su Luo smiled awkwardly. Does my existence affect you? Yi Zaiamu said calmly with no expression on his face. What affects me? If you don't want to be with me, we can get a divorce. I can raise the child by myself. Yi Zaiamu's voice trembled slightly. Su Luo stared at Yi Zaiamu in a daze, a hint of mist already in her eyes. Yi Zaiamu had just finished washing clothes when she saw Su Luo making a phone call. The phone was quite loud, and she heard the word girlfriend. Yi Zaiamu was stunned for a moment. She immediately thought of the behavior of the god Su Luo. He already has a girlfriend. Then what is she? Is she a third party? Thinking of this, Yi Zaiamu felt very aggrieved. Su Luo had been particularly good to him these past few days, and she even felt that it would be fine to live like this for the rest of her life. Su Luo suddenly panicked. For the first time, he felt a little regretful about his previous behavior towards Aquaman. Such a good girl was sad for him. Su Luo stood up and hugged Yi Zaiamu. Feeling the other party's struggle, Su Luo used force. I did have flirtations with many girls before, but the moment you appeared in front of me, I cut off contact with them. I didn't even hesitate and deleted them all. I can't deny my past, Zaiamu. Although the feelings between us weren't very deep, we are already husband and wife. From the moment we met, my future has been yours. Su Luo's gentle voice reached Yi Zaiamu's ears, causing Yi Zaiamu to slowly raise her hands and hug Su Luo. Chapter 20, I want to eat hot pot. Su Luo felt Yi Zaiamu's arm around her, and a slight smile appeared on her lips. Then he continued to hold Yi Zaiamu in his arms, straightened up, and looked into her eyes affectionately. At this moment, Yi Zaiamu seemed to see the sun, moon, and stars, and deep sweetness filled her heart. A soft touch came, and Yi Zaiamu's body completely softened. Although Su Luo had no experience, she had taken advanced courses after all, so she was still adept at this basic knowledge. Stick out your tongue. Ah, Su Luo let out a scream, and the two people quickly separated. Yi Zaiamu's face was red, and she was looking at Su Luo with anger. "Why are you biting me?" Su Luo kept taking a deep breath and said to Yi Zaiamu, "Stick out your tongue, what are you doing?" Yi Zaiamu said angrily. "Sister, we are kissing." Su Luo rolled her eyes. "Is this how you kiss?" Yi Zaiamu asked somewhat embarrassedly. "What do you think?" Su Luo covered her mouth and said speechlessly. "Then why are you so skilled?" Yi Zaiamu reacted, his eyes turned cold, and he looked at Su Luo. "I've seen the video. This is something you can learn on your own. It's instinct, it's instinct. Are you in a lot of pain?" After hearing Su Luo's words, Yi Zaiamu realized that he had overreacted a bit and said with some guilt, "What do you think?" Su Luo was still breathing heavily, looking a bit like a silly husky. "I'm sorry." Yi Zaiamu walked to Su Luo, took his arm, and whispered, "It's okay, I don't blame you. It just hurts for a while, but it will be fine soon." Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu and felt happy in her heart, but she also wanted to make her feel at ease. "Well, can we try again?" Yi Zaiamu suddenly pulled Su Luo hard, causing Su Luo to squat a little, and then whispered in his ear. Upon hearing this, Su Luo stood up straight without any other movement and gently hugged Yi Zaiamu. Yi Zaiamu sat on the table, looked at Su Luo, who was so close to her, and closed her eyes. The soft touch came again, and this time both of them were extremely gentle. Su Luo kept testing, while Yi Zaiamu cooperated awkwardly. After a long time, their lips parted, and Yi Zaiamu's eyes were full of love. "Su Luo," Yi Zaiamu opened her red lips slightly. "Zaiamu, I'm here." Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu gently and replied. "Thank you," Yi Zaiamu said seriously. "Thank you for being a responsible person, thank you. It's a good thing it was him. If you really want to thank me, just call me husband." Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu with a smile. I can't say it." Yi Zaiamu stared at Su Luo, his face falling. "It's okay, don't worry. Are you hungry? Do you want to eat something?" Su Luo rubbed Yi Zaiamu's head and spoke gently. "Well, I'm hungry, Yi Zaiamu suddenly hesitated. "What's wrong?" Su Luo looked at Yi Zaiamu curiously. "I want to eat meat, but I seem to have eaten too much recently." Yi Zaiamu said a little embarrassedly. "You are pregnant now, so your appetite will increase," Su Luo explained. "But I'll get fat like this." Yi Zaiamu pouted, and once again brought up the body image issue that all girls are worried about. "Don't worry, I will make a diet meal. When you are out of confinement and want to lose weight, I will make it for you. You will lose weight after eating it for a while." Su Luo scratched Yi Zaiamu's nose and said with a smile. "Really?" Yi Zaiamu's eyes lit up and he asked. "What do you think?" Su Luo raised her eyebrows. Her god-level cooking skills were not an exaggeration. In addition to cooking skills, it also includes recipes for food supplements, weight loss, muscle building, and more. "Then I want to eat hot pot," Yi Zaiamu said with his hands raised high. How could he not eat hot pot when he came to Jiangcheng? "Okay, wait a minute, I'll check." Su Luo took out her phone and did a quick search and found a Jiangcheng old hot pot. "Let's go, wife." Su Luo stretched out her hand and looked at Yi Zaiamu. "Let's go, old Su." Yi Zaiamu couldn't bring himself to call out, so he jumped off the table and took Su Luo's arm. "Wait, put on your mask and sunglasses." Su Luo was about to leave, but looked at Yi Zaiamu's pretty face and immediately said, "Oh, yes, yes." Yi Zaiamu quickly put on a mask and sunglasses, took Su Luo's arm, and walked out of the hotel. After walking for about 10 minutes, Su Luo and Yi Zaiamu stopped in front of a restaurant called Jiangcheng Hot Pot. It looks a bit shabby from the outside, but once you walk in, you will find it has an antique charm. The rich fragrance made Yi Zaiamu a little envious. Su Luo found a private room and sat down with Yi Zaiamu. Yi Zaiamu is from Shanghai and can't eat spicy food, so Su Luo ordered a Xiongyuan hot pot. After the dishes and hot pot were served, Su Luo seemed to have thought of something and took a few photos of the hot pot. Then he walked to Yi Zaiamu and took a few photos with her. Finally, at Su Luo's request, he took a photo with his face blushing and kissed Su Luo on the cheek. Su Luo sent the photo to Yi Zaiamu and said, "Promote the show." Yi Zaiamu remembered what the director had said before, but she had forgotten it all. Pull out your phone, open Weibo, and write the following. "Experience hot pot. Tonight at 8 o'clock, watch the celebrity couple's daily preview. 9 pictures, especially the kiss in the middle, is particularly prominent." Yi Zaiamu checked and found nothing wrong. In the photos, Su Luo's face was only partially exposed. The anticipation should be full. "Okay, let's eat." Su Luo opened the chopsticks and handed them over. "Thank you." After taking it, Yi Zaiamu picked up a few pieces of beef, dipped them in the sauce, and started eating happily. Ding-ling-ling, Yi Zaiamu's phone rang. "Sister Ya," Tanya's voice made Yi Zaiamu panic. You also went to eat hot pot. Well, I feel like eating hot pot is the only way to truly feel like you've been to Jiangcheng. Yi Zayaramu replied in a low voice. If you eat this hot pot, the calories will increase dramatically. You'll gain weight during pregnancy, so if you don't control your intake. Sister Ye, it's okay for my wife to eat more. Now is the time when she needs nutrition. She's fat and I will make her lose weight. It's really hard to lose weight after giving birth to a child, Tanya said, a little depressed. Her husband doesn't mind, so what else can she say? Don't worry, I have a way. Do you want to come and have some too? Is it okay? Will it disturb you? Tanya replied immediately. This also made Su Luo feel that Tanya seemed to be here just for the hot pot. No, come here, let's eat together. We just started and thought you had already eaten. Come here, Jiangcheng hot pot, Su Luo said with a smile. Then she waved to Yi Zayaramu and asked her to sit over. Okay, we'll be there right away, Tanya said and hung up the phone. Come and sit here. Su Luo saw that Yi Zayaramu had not responded, so she spoke after hanging up the phone. Oh, Yi Zayaramu took chopsticks and a plate, walked to Su Luo, sat down, and started to shabu-shabu the beef tripe. Chapter 21. Don't ask me this kind of salary-giving question. Su Luo smiled and looked at Yi Zayaramu, who was eating beef tripe with some doting. Su Luo, why don't you eat? Yi Zayaramu felt Su Luo's gaze, swallowed the tripe, turned his head and looked at Su Luo. I'll eat after your agent and others arrive. Su Luo rubbed Yi Zayaramu's head and said gently. Oh, then I'll wait a while too. Yi Zayaramu put down his chopsticks and smiled at Su Luo. Then Su Luo and Yi Zayaramu ordered some hot dishes. About 20 minutes later, Tanya and Lu Miao came over. Where is Master Li? Yi Zayaramu asked curiously. Master Li has eaten and said he wants to play King of Glory in his room, so he won't be coming, Tanya said. Then she looked at Su Luo and Yi Zayaramu with a smile and started to tease. Didn't you two think of us when you came out to eat? That I forgot. Yi Zayaramu stuck out her tongue and said embarrassedly. Some people don't even care about us anymore. Tanya shook her head pretentiously and teased Yi Zayaramu. Don't you think so, Miao? Tanya turned to look at Lu Miao. Lu Miao said, You treat me as if I don't exist. I am just a nobody, so don't ask me such salary-grabbing questions. Sister Ye, I was wrong, Yi Zayaramu said with a red face. At the same time, she pinched Su Luo without changing her expression. Sister Ye, I ordered some dishes. Do you want to eat anything else? Su Luo held the hand that Yi Zayaramu extended to her, looked at Tanya and asked. No, this is enough. Tanya waved her hand and said politely. She wasn't very familiar with Su Luo, so naturally she couldn't speak to her as familiarly as she did to Yi Zayaramu. Then I'll start eating. Don't be so polite. We are all family. Yi Zayaramu couldn't help it any longer. He picked up another bowl of tripe. 1, 2, 7, 8. Well, the way to eat tripe is complicated. No one doesn't know it. After thinking for a while, Yi Zayaramu put the tripe into Su Luo's plate. She picked up another tripe and ate it with a smile. Su Luo smiled, dipped it in the sauce, and started eating. Several people ate with great relish. Sister Zayaramu, your Weibo has exploded again. Lu Miao, who was secretly browsing her phone nearby, suddenly spoke up. Upon hearing this, Yi Zayaramu took out her cell phone and opened Weibo. The third most popular post she saw was the one she had just posted. Wow, the goddess is going to film a variety show. Looking forward to it. Didn't you notice Su Luo showed up? What a handsome boy. I agree to this marriage. So the requirements for being a gigolo are so high now. Do you want to learn? If you want to learn, I can teach you. Su Luo just took out her cell phone to reply. How can you say that about yourself? Yi Zayaramu patted Su Luo. It's all the same, I don't care about these. Su Luo waved her hand and said casually. Su Luo, with your mentality and your looks, you will definitely become the new generation of superstar if you enter the entertainment industry. Tanya exclaimed in admiration. Su Luo smiled and said nothing, continuing to read the comments below. She must have had plastic surgery, otherwise she wouldn't be so beautiful. Su Luo, if you think I'm handsome, just praise me directly. Don't be embarrassed. I can handle compliments. Don't worry, I won't get carried away. Does anyone know Su Luo's information? I want to fight him in real life. I practice boxing and I also learned the inch punch. Su Luo, so what if you can box? So what if you can use the inch punch? If we really start fighting, you will definitely kneel on the ground and cry and beg me not to die. TT keyword add data title equals game. Data tag equals quality recommendations. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1913 / TT keyword add. Su Luo, you're famous. Yi Zayaramu said to Su Luo in surprise. She watched helplessly as a topic suddenly jumped to the 4th place in the hot topics. The queen's husband is actually a joke teller. Hot. Suluo looked at the title and smiled helplessly. Isn't this just a joke? Normally, no one would pay attention to a joke, but now, just a casual reply can make it a hot topic. Are you full? Suluo shook her head, put away her phone, and looked at Yizayamu. I'm so full. Yizayamu lay back, touched her stomach with her right hand, and said lazily, You're letting yourself go? Tanya opposite rolled her eyes. No, it's been a while since I last had it, but the show recording is going to start tomorrow, and judging from the production crew, they won't provide any delicious food. Yizayamu sat up and defended himself. Okay, let's go back, Tanya asked. You guys go back first. I'm full and want to take a walk. After Yizayamu said this, he looked at Suluo with anticipation. Suluo nodded, pulled Yizayamu up, ignored Tanya who was rolling her eyes, and helped Yizayamu fix her hair. Put on the mask, Tanya said, and pulled Lumayomi away. Let's go too. Suluo looked at Yizayamu, who was wearing a mask and sunglasses, stretched out her hand, and spoke. Yeah, Yizayamu nodded, raised her hand and placed it in Suluo's hand, then followed him out. Suluo took Yizayamu to settle the bill first. Then the two of them walked out of Jiangcheng Hot Pot. There's a smell on your body. Yizayamu, who had just walked out of the door, suddenly curled her lips and said to Suluo, How about we go back and change our clothes before going shopping? Suluo sniffed Yizayamu. Besides the fresh fragrance, there was indeed a smell of hot pot. Ah, don't come over here, there are so many people here. Yizayamu pushed Suluo and said in a low voice. Her pretty face under the mask was a little blushing. Although she and Suluo were already very close, Yizayamu still felt shy about Suluo's intimate actions. I'm not going back. The wind should blow it away for a while, and I'll change it when I get back. Watching Suluo step away, Yizayamu raised her hand and tucked her hair. Then let's go. Suluo took Yizayamu's hand and walked towards the shopping mall next to them. The March sunshine is the warmest, and two figures gradually disappeared in the crowd. Suluo, why did you bring me here? Yizayamu leaned on Suluo, raised his head, and asked in a low voice. At this time, the two were standing at the door of a lingerie store. Your pajamas are a bit too thin. They're not suitable for recording a show. Go buy a new set. Suluo lowered her head and whispered into Yizayamu's ear. Yizayamu felt the heat coming from her ears, and her face gradually turned red. She felt a sense of relief in her heart. She had never thought about this problem before. Suluo couldn't see Yizayamu's appearance, but she could feel her condition and knew that she was very happy. So he took her hand and walked in. Hey, are you here to buy underwear? As soon as the two of them walked into the underwear store, a waiter came to greet them. Buy 2 sets of pajamas, Suluo said. What do you want to buy? I can recommend it to you, asked the waiter. Chapter 22, Do Fairies Also Eat Snail Noodles? Something that's comfortable to wear and a little conservative. Suluo spoke when she saw Yizayamu didn't say anything. Okay, come with me. The waiter turned around and took Suluo and Yizayamu to the pajamas area. This is good. Yizayamu just came over and pointed at a pair of Stitch's pajamas and said. Suluo followed her gaze and saw a pair of pink Stitch plush pajamas, but they were a bit thick. It's almost summer now, it's too thick. Let's try something else. Suluo rubbed Yizayamu's head and said. Yizayamu nodded and looked at other styles. After looking around, she looked at Suluo with some confusion. Another look. What's wrong? Suluo saw Yizayamu looking at her frequently, so she walked over to her and asked, Do you want to buy it? Yeah, Suluo nodded. Suluo herself didn't have pajamas, so she was still wearing the hotel's bathrobe from yesterday. Then let's buy the same one. Yizayamu rolled his eyes and spoke. Same thing, just call them couple pajamas. When Suluo heard Yizayamu's words, she leaned close to Yizayamu's ear and whispered, Oh, just tell me whether you want to buy it or not. Yizayamu shyly dodged and reached out to pinch Suluo's waist. Buy, you must buy it, Suluo said with a serious expression. The two of them bought 2 sets of black striped couple pajamas. Yizayamu seemed to be in a good mood after taking the pajamas. She hummed softly and seemed to be in a good mood. Let's go buy some more things. Suluo gently embraced Yizayamu and said, What else are you buying? Yizayamu asked in confusion. Suluo smiled but didn't answer. That afternoon, the two of them basically walked around the entire mall. I bought a new 4-piece set, a computer, a tablet, and at Yizayamu's strong request, I also bought a lot of snacks. Suluo wasn't sure if she could bring these things with her, but she was in a hurry this time and didn't bring many things with her, so she bought them first to be prepared. After shopping, the two took a taxi back to the hotel. I'm so tired. Yizayamu entered the room, walked to the bed and said loudly, then lay down on the bed. Seeing Yizayamu letting herself go more and more in front of him, Su Luo smiled. He liked this feeling more and more. Looking back at the days of wanton flower-dwelling, there's no such thing as the fragrance of marriage. Su Luo looked at Yizayamu and saw that she didn't want to move. She shook her head, picked up the phone beside the bed, and called room service. Ding-ling, soon the doorbell rang. Su Luo stood up and opened the door. "Hello, sir, this is room service. Are you here to do your laundry?" asked the waiter at the door. "Yes, please wait a moment." Su Luo handed over the newly bought 4-piece set. "Excuse me, what can I do tomorrow morning?" "Yes, sir, we have a special drying service." The waiter nodded. "Okay, thank you for your help," said the waiter and left with the 4-piece set. Su Luo did not take the pajamas to wash, but prepared to wash them by hand. After all, they were underwear, so it was better to wash them by hand. Looking at Yizayamu lying on the bed, Su Luo shook her head. Although she was not very good at washing clothes, it seemed that she had to wash them herself. She took the clothes and walked into the bathroom. Seeing that there was no sound, Yizayamu slowly got up from the bed and looked around, but didn't see Su Luo. When I walked into the bathroom, I saw Su Luo washing her pajamas. "Let me do it," Yizayamu said softly, then walked to Su Luo's side and squeezed in. Seeing this, Su Luo raised her left hand, walked behind Yizayamu, put her arms around her, and spoke softly. "Wash together." Yizayamu looked up at herself and Su Luo in the mirror, her face feeling a little hot. She hummed softly and lowered her head to wash. It seemed that this was not very convenient. Yizayamu raised his hand and patted Su Luo's hand, who was making things worse. "Go away, it's hard for me to wash like this," Yizayamu said coquettishly. "Okay," Su Luo took a look. This posture looked romantic, but it actually did delay things. Then he turned on the faucet, rinsed the foam off his hands, and stepped back. "You go watch TV, I'll take care of this." Yizayamu felt a little uncomfortable because Su Luo was watching her from the side, so she spoke softly. "Okay," Su Luo responded. And while Yizayamu was still not reacting, she kissed her cheek and left the bathroom. "You're so annoying." Yizayamu felt her face was a little wet, so she raised her arm to wipe it and said tenderly, "Ha ha ha." Su Luo's laughter came from outside the bathroom, making Yizayamu snort lightly. But the smile on the corner of her mouth could not be concealed. "By the way, Zairamu, what do you want to eat tonight?" Su Luo looked at the time and saw that it was almost 6 o'clock, so she called out. "Well, I want to eat snail noodles. Is that okay?" Yizairamu's eyes turned and he shouted. "Will fairies also eat smelly food?" Su Luo pushed open the bathroom door and teased. "I'm not a fairy," Yizayamu spat. "Then I'll order takeout." Su Luo took out her phone and checked the takeout app. There really was snail noodles, she said. "Yeah, but I don't want it spicy," Yizayamu reminded. "Okay." Su Luo flipped through the pages casually and found a snail noodle shop with the best reviews. She ordered 2 servings and added a braised egg to each. "It's ordered." Su Luo shook her phone at Yizayamu. "Yes, okay." Yizayamu nodded. Su Luo looked at Yizayamu, who was washing clothes for a while, smiled and walked back to the room, turned on the newly bought computer, connected to Wi-Fi, and browsed casually. "Hua, hua, hua," a sound of water was heard. Not long after, Yizayamu came out holding the basin. Su Luo immediately stood up to take it, found the hanger, and hung up her pajamas. "Then I put away yesterday's clothes." What's this pink strip of cloth?" Su Luo looked over curiously. "Ah," Yizayamu suddenly rushed out from behind Su Luo and quickly picked up a pink thing. "What is this?" Su Luo naturally guessed what it was. "Oh, don't ask any more." Yizayamu pushed Su Luo with a red face. "It looks pretty good, but you're pregnant and your belly will get bigger, so you can't wear this kind of thing," Su Luo said seriously. "Ah, stop talking." Yizayamu raised his hand to cover Su Luo's mouth. "Okay, I won't say anything more. It's good enough that you know it." Su Luo smiled and dodged Yizayamu's hand. "HMPH, you're just an old pervert paying attention to these things all day long." Yizayamu frowned and said. Su Luo smiled and didn't refute. She took out her phone and checked. The takeaway would arrive in 10 minutes. She smiled, put away her phone, and looked at Yizayamu. "You say I'm old and perverted, so I have to do something to live up to this title." Su Luo looked at Yizayamu with a deliberately evil smile. Chapter 23, It's Not Spicy This Way. Yizayamu looked at Su Luo with a wicked smile. Her beauty and the wicked smile made her heart beat fast. No, Yizayamu felt a little shy when being stared at. She slowly closed her eyes and murmured, "You say no with your mouth, but your body is very honest." Su Luo looked at Yizayamu, who looked like she was ready to be taken advantage of, and reached out to touch her forehead. "Su Luo?" Yizayaramu's face turned hot when he heard Suluo's teasing, and he immediately glared at him. Suluo pulled Yizayaramu over and kissed her. Yizayaramu's body stiffened, then quickly softened, and he reached out to hug Suluo. Feeling Suluo pressing towards him, Yizayaramu took a few steps back. Suluo hugged Yizayaramu tightly, and a faint fragrance emanated from her soft body. Suluo hugged Yizayaramu and lay down on the bed. The touch made Yizayaramu subconsciously let out a moan. Suluo, don't! Yizayaramu, who was lying down, regained some of his wits, let go of Suluo, leaned against Suluo's chest, and spoke softly. Hearing this, Suluo raised her head and looked at Yizayaramu, who was still blushing. She gently stroked her fair and flawless face with her left hand and kissed her again. Yizayaramu, don't be nervous. Suluo's gentle voice reached Yizayaramu's ears. She slowly opened her eyes and saw Suluo's affectionate gaze. Yizayaramu felt a little shy under Suluo's gaze, so she leaned towards Suluo and snuggled into his arms. Suluo leaned lightly on Yizayaramu's head, but the imagined fragrance did not come. Ziomu, your hair smells like hot pot. Suluo said something that spoiled the mood. Suluo, you're dead. Yizayaramu's body stiffened, and he rolled over, riding directly on Suluo. He exerted a little force with his little butt, pressing directly on Suluo's lower abdomen. A muffled groan. Gently. Suluo put her arms around Yizayaramu's waist to protect her, while putting on a mask of pain and screaming. Humph, you are so mean. Yizayaramu, who was sitting on Suluo, patted Suluo's chest with his right hand. No way, I'm just reminding you, Suluo argued. Do you dislike me? Yizayaramu pretended to be angry and questioned. I dare not. Suluo quickly begged for mercy. Yizayaramu didn't say anything else, but looked at Suluo gently, then lay on Suluo's chest, quietly feeling Suluo's heartbeat. What is this? Yizayaramu felt as if something was hitting her and stretched out her hand. Wait a minute. Suluo spoke somewhat awkwardly, but before she finished speaking, she felt a strange feeling. Yizayaramu climbed up from Suluo with a red face, her eyes looking somewhere from time to time. It's a natural reaction. Suluo looked embarrassed. Something she could truly endure. How did you manage to endure it last time? No wonder it hurts so much when you wake up this morning. You're just an old pervert. Yizayaramu's eyes turned and he slapped Suluo hard. Oh my God, stop taking pictures randomly. What if you damage it? Suluo immediately sat up while hiding her embarrassment. HMPH, don't do bad things in the future. Yizayaramu said coquettishly and glared at Suluo. It's mainly because you are so beautiful, Yizayaramu. You really can't blame me for this. Suluo smiled and rubbed Yizayaramu's hair. Yizayaramu turned her head with a smile on her lips. Ding-ling, the doorbell rang. The takeaway is here, I'll go get it. Suluo grabbed Yizayaramu, who was about to get the takeaway, and said, Yeah, Yizayaramu nodded, got off the bed and sat on the chair next to the table. Suluo took a deep breath, got off the bed, put on her slippers, bent her body slightly, put her right hand in her pocket, and adjusted it to prevent it from being pulled. Ha. Yizayaramu looked at Suluo and laughed out loud, his eyes narrowed. The back teeth are showing. Suluo turned her head to look at Yizayaramu and said. Yizayaramu ignored Suluo, but still restrained her smile. Your takeaway? Suluo opened the door. The rider at the door looked at the room number and spoke. Thank you. Suluo took the takeaway and said thank you. If it's convenient, please give me a 5-star rating, the rider said as he retreated. Suluo made an okay gesture, closed the door, and walked towards Yizayaramu with the takeaway. This one's not spicy, it's yours. Suluo flipped through it, took out a bowl of non-spicy snail noodles and handed it over. The rich flavor of snails and sour bamboo shoots that is unique to the snail noodles comes out. That's the taste, Yizayaramu said with a smile. Ziomu, your taste is getting stronger and stronger, Suluo said as she opened the snail noodles. I think it might be related to the pregnancy. I really want to eat something with a strong flavor. Yizayaramu smoothed her hair, tied it up again, and spoke. Well, if you feel unwell or have any problems, remember to tell me. Suluo looked at the content on the phone and spoke. As long as there is no discomfort or adverse reaction, there is no big problem in eating something with a strong taste during pregnancy. Yeah, I get it. Why are you so concerned about me now? Whoosh, Yizayaramu said and took a sip of snail noodles. You are my wife now, of course I have to care about you, Suluo replied subconsciously. HMPH, it's our first time meeting and you're looking at me with disdain. Yizayaramu held the chopsticks and shook his hand. My fault. I admit I spoke a little too loudly at the time, Suluo said with a bitter face. What should I do if my wife brings up the past? Waiting online. Suluo, you're really a joke teller. Yizayamu chuckled and teased Suluo. Who can resist a handsome and humorous man, don't you think? Suluo looked at Yizayamu with a smile and winked at her. Narcissistic, Yizayamu rolled his eyes at Suluo. Suluo, I want to have a taste of yours. This is a bit spicy. Aren't you afraid of spicy food? Suluo said while looking at the red oil in the bowl. You see how delicious it tastes when you eat it. I want to try it too. Yizayamu said eagerly. Okay, you try it, Suluo said, pushing the bowl in front of Yizayamu. Yizayamu carefully picked up one, put it on the spoon, blew on it, then opened her mouth and ate it in one bite. Wow, so spicy. After eating it, Yizayamu immediately opened her mouth and breathed out, fanning herself with her little hands. Here you go. Suluo took a bottle of mineral water, opened it, and handed it over. Gulp, gurgle. Yizayamu took a few big gulps. This is so spicy. After drinking the water, Yizayamu said while breathing slightly. It won't be spicy this way, Suluo said with a smile, then moved closer and kissed Yizayamu's lips directly. Chapter 24, I understand, you are just shy. Woo, Yizayamu immediately pushed Suluo away and glared at him. Your mouth is covered in chili oil, which makes it even spicier. Yizayamu hit Suluo hard, picked up the mineral water and drank it again. Eat quickly, the show will start soon. Suluo looked at Yizayamu with a smile on her face. Yeah, Yizayamu nodded. TT keyword add data title equals game, data tag equals quality recommendations, data type equals 1, data value equals 1913 / TT keyword add. After eating the snail noodles, the two of them sat on the bed with their computers. Suluo, don't you feel a smell in this room? Yizayamu said seriously, leaning on the bed. Isn't this the taste of snail noodles? I didn't see you mind when you were eating it. Yizayamu just looked at Suluo with his eyes open. I've been defeated by you. I'm going to open a window and get some fresh air. Suluo shook her head, got out of bed and opened the window of the room. Come quickly, the trailer has started. Yizayamu suddenly screamed, waving at Suluo with one hand. Coming, Suluo immediately ran to the bed and lay down next to Yizayamu. Ah, Yizayamu cried out. It actually started from here. All you see in the picture is two people giving each other pink bubbles with microphones. Suluo looked like a serious elementary school student, which made her extremely embarrassed. I can feel like this is my first time on the show. I'm dying of laughter. Is that when your breasts were flattened? This is official complaint. This is the most fascinating couple. Love it, love it. I originally thought that Suluo was just a pretty boy, but I didn't expect that he is really a joke teller. Wow, this little brother is wearing women's clothes. I'm numb. Don't be silly, even I, a man, am a little moved. U1S1, this dance is so beautiful. Please include it in the MV. Geese, geese, geese. Yizayamu kept laughing. Is it so funny? Suluo looked at Yizayamu dimly. Goose, 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 yes, you are so funny. Yizayamu pointed at Suluo and said with a smile. Suluo looked a little embarrassed. It was just women's clothing, so why was it so funny? Suluo thought about it, then immediately picked up the computer, closed it, and put it on the bedside table under Yizayamu's puzzled gaze. No need to read it. Today I want to think about how to take charge as a husband. Suluo looked at Yizayamu with a smile. Yizayamu was a little nervous and stammered. 3 months can't. Suluo smiled and rushed towards Yizayamu. I'll collect some interest first. After saying that, she kissed Yizayamu. I can't breathe. After a long time, Yizayamu stepped away from Suluo, leaned in Suluo's arms, and said in a low voice. Suluo admired Yizayamu's gentleness. It was hard for him to imagine that a queen of pop could be so feminine in love. This made him like Yizayamu even more. Let's go to bed early tonight. We'll start recording the show tomorrow, Suluo said to Yizayamu. Okay, Yizayamu nodded in agreement. Then I'll go take a shower first. Do you want to go together? Suluo asked. No, you old pervert. How do you adjust this? Yizayamu asked, pointing at the bathroom glass. Guess, Suluo blinked. Oh, help me quickly. Yizayamu pushed Suluo and pulled him towards the bathroom. Okay, I'll teach you. Suluo nodded helplessly. There was a switch on the bathroom glass which could be adjusted by pressing it. Suluo gave the method to Yizayamu, and Yizayamu nodded. You take a shower, I'll go out first. If you invite me to take a shower with you, I'll stay. Suluo looked at Yizayamu seriously. Go, get out of here quickly, you hooligan. Yizayamu frowned and pushed Suluo out. Suluo smiled and closed the window to prevent Yizayamu from getting cold. Not long after, Yizayamu came out, wearing the suspender pajamas she had been wearing before. You should go take a shower too. I'll wash your clothes, Yizayaramu said while wiping her hair. Yeah, Suluo nodded, picked up her clothes and walked into the bathroom. Yizayaramu's eyes rolled and she followed quietly. When they reached the bathroom door, Yizayaramu did not go in immediately. Instead, he waited until the sound of water was heard. Yizayaramu smiled and turned the handle. Do you need help? Yizayaramu stuck his head into the bathroom, looked at Suluo with a surprised face and spoke. You go out first. Suluo shook her head helplessly. Is this married young woman so crazy now? Yizayaramu's heart was beating rapidly. He stepped back and thought about Suluo's body. His face turned red. You little bitch, I'm done washing. Suluo came out in a bathrobe and said when she saw Yizayaramu lying on the bed. Who is the female hooligan? You are the hooligan. Yizayaramu glared and said. You are the one who peeked at me taking a bath. Suluo smiled. I was just seeing if you needed help. Yizayaramu looked up at the ceiling and said casually. How's my figure? Is it nice? Suluo suddenly leaned close to Yizayaramu and asked in a low voice. Great, Yizayaramu said subconsciously, then reacted and saw Suluo looking at her teasingly and immediately lay back under the quilt. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Suluo smiled and patted Yizayaramu's butt. You always take advantage of me. Yizayaramu immediately stood up, covering her butt and looked at Suluo. Who told you to be so nice? Suluo scratched Yizayaramu's nose. I'm going to do the laundry. You can go to bed if you're sleepy. Yizayaramu walked towards the bathroom and said. Suluo nodded and lay down on the bed. Not long after, she fell asleep. In a daze, I felt a delicate body approaching me. Suluo hugged Yizayaramu and adjusted to a more comfortable position. Go to sleep, a gentle voice came from Suluo's mouth. Yeah, Yizayaramu nodded, nestled in Suluo's arms and fell asleep with a smile. Suluo, why do you sleep with your phone? Yizayaramu murmured. Ah, don't use too much force. Suluo felt a hand grabbing her and immediately spoke. Are you okay like this? Yizayaramu opened his eyes, looked at Suluo and asked. It's okay, don't worry, it's less than 2 months away, Suluo said in a low voice. You rascal, you think about these things all day long, Yizayaramu said and nodded at the same time. Ah, Suluo cried out in an instant, feeling comfortable. What's your name? Yizayaramu immediately looked at Suluo. The phones you clicked on are vibrating, I can feel it, Suluo said shyly. Is that so? Yizayaramu nodded again. Okay, it's time to get up. Suluo stopped Yizayaramu from ordering any further, as it would make her look embarrassing. Why don't you want it anymore? Yizayaramu looked at Suluo curiously. Well, let's not talk about this. Suluo blushed a little and spoke. I understand, you are just shy. Yizayaramu suddenly smiled and said in a low voice. Chapter 25, the show starts. Okay, get up and wash up quickly. We still have to record the show. Suluo looked embarrassed and sat on the bed without getting up. Yizayaramu saw Suluo's expression, smiled, and sat directly on Suluo. What are you doing? Suluo asked curiously. Am I so charming? Yizayaramu leaned over and asked Suluo in her ear. Yes, of course there is. Okay, get up quickly. When did you become so bold? Suluo immediately stood up without caring about anything else, picked up Yizayaramu, put her on the edge of the bed, and walked towards the bathroom with her body bent. Ha ha ha, Yizayaramu laughed out loud when she saw Suluo blushing. Then he took out his cell phone and sent a message to a man named Zhu Qing. Wow, my husband is shy. Hey, Yizayaramu, is it really okay for your husband to know that you tease him like this? Zhu Qing replied. Who said I was teasing him? I was serious. Wouldn't it be better if you waited another 2 months? What you're doing now is just treating the symptoms, but not the root cause. Just wait patiently. Well, see if there's a chance I'll. Zyro when did you become so dirty? It turns out that married young women are so scary. Lululu, I'm so jealous, ha ha ha. Envy makes me mitotic, envy makes me plasmolysis. Zyro go wash up. After Suluo finished washing up and walked out of the bathroom, she saw Yizayaramu holding her cell phone and smiling foolishly. No more talking, my husband asked me to go wash up. Ah, let me eat dog food so early in the morning, wash your mouth. Yizayaramu couldn't call her husband, but when she showed off in front of her best friend, she called him husband all the time. Yizayaramu turned around and saw Suluo standing behind him. He looked at Suluo's face, then looked down, smiled, and walked towards the bathroom. Suluo was full of confusion. When did Yizayaramu become so good at flirting? Suluo, why don't you go down first? Yizayaramu walked out of the bathroom, her face slightly red, and spoke. Your condition this morning and your reaction now are quite different. Suluo naturally knew why Yizayaramu was shy at the moment, and that was when she needed to change into pajamas. HMPH, I'm doing this for your own good, Yi Zayaramu said proudly with her head held high. That's not good for me, Su Luo said with a smile. Of course I'm afraid you can't help it, Yi Zayaramu said in a low voice. Well, I'll go down first, you take the things down later. Su Luo scratched his head awkwardly. No, wait for me. Yi Zayaramu stopped Su Luo and took off her pajamas. After seeing this, Su Luo turned her head away awkwardly. The two little rabbits, small but perky, glanced at Su Luo. Silly girl, I'm fine. Yi Zayaramu, who had changed his clothes, saw Su Luo's condition, smiled and spoke. Ah, oh. Su Luo turned around, her face still a little flushed. Although I saw it yesterday morning, it was just a fleeting glimpse. Today I really saw it carefully. The two of them began to pack their luggage. And at the same time, they also put away the pajamas they bought yesterday and the 4-piece bedding that had been washed and dried in the guest room. Su Luo pretended to speak casually. What's wrong? Yi Zayaramu looked at Su Luo curiously. You still have to be careful when recording the show. You should wear something underneath your pajamas. After Su Luo finished speaking, she picked up her suitcase and walked out. Yeah, I know, don't worry. Yi Zayaramu narrowed his eyes, raised the corners of his mouth slightly, and followed. Master Li, thank you for your help. Su Luo and Yi Zayaramu went downstairs, and Master Li and Miao Miao were already there. Let's go, the live broadcast equipment has been started. Li Yang looked at his watch. It was already 9:30 and spoke. I heard a sound. Is someone finally going to show up? We said it would start at 8 o'clock, but it's already 9:30. They are so sleepy. I'm not happy. So I'm not the only one waiting here. By the way, none of these 3 live broadcast rooms clearly state who owns whose. I'm afraid I'll be left alone. At this moment, the barrage suddenly started to move because of the conversation between Su Luo and the others. Let's get in the car first, Su Luo said, putting the luggage in the trunk. Then she opened the door and let Yi Zayaramu get in. Wow, it's the goddess Miu Miu. So beautiful it looks like she's not wearing any makeup. Is this a marriage and it's ruined? You don't even bother to change your status. Where did that little black guy upstairs come from? Su Luo also walked to the other side and got into the car. Wow, is this Su Luo? I saw the trailer, but seeing her again, she's still so handsome. A talented man and a beautiful woman, I'm jealous. Su Luo and Yi Zayaramu looked at each other and smiled. Li Yang and Miao Miao also got in the car and started it. It's starting already. Su Luo looked at the camera in the car and put her face directly into it. Oh my God, you scared me. This sudden big face almost made me spit out the coffee I was drinking. I've already sprayed coffee on my boss's face. What should I do? Waiting online, it's urgent. But to be honest, this look and condition are absolutely perfect. Even a girl like me would envy her skin. Su Luo and the others naturally couldn't see the barrage, but Miao Miao, who was sitting in front, could see it. Brother-in-law, if you do this, your face will be all over the screen. Miao Miao couldn't help it and took out her cell phone and handed it to Su Luo. Ha ha ha, Yi Zayaramu beside him laughed out loud. Do you have to be so funny? Su Luo sat up straight with a serious face and took the phone that Lu Miao Miao handed over. Look at me, husband, look at me. Zayaramu, are you also posting comments? Su Luo looked at Yi Zayaramu in confusion. No, what's wrong? Yi Zayaramu looked at Su Luo curiously. This comment said, husband, look at me. I thought it was you who posted it. Su Luo pretended to be innocent and spoke. You did it on purpose, didn't you? This is the nickname your fans give you. Yi Zayaramu rolled her eyes and saw Su Luo was looking at her. Husband, Yi Zayaramu leaned over to Su Luo's ear and called softly. Wow, what are they whispering about? Why do I feel like Su Luo wants Miu Miu to call him husband? I've been single for over 20 years. Why would I turn on a show like this? Don't worry upstairs, do you want to form a CP? The one upstairs, if I'm not mistaken, you're also a man. Can't a man do that? I only care about true love, not gender. I'm convinced by the upstairs. Su Luo heard Yi Zayaramu's words with a smile on her face. Her eyes immediately turned. Baby, if you keep staring at me like this, my heart will be stolen. Are you sure you want to keep looking at me? Ah. Su Luo used her voice-changing ability to sound like a queen. Wow, what just happened? What's that sound? I'm numbed. If I'm not mistaken, this is Su Luo's voice. Chapter 26, Living in the Courtyard. You're so sexy. Yi Zayaramu looked at Su Luo with a smile on his face. Are you calling me slutty? Woman, you are playing with fire. Su Luo rolled her eyes and immediately spoke in a queenly voice. Yi Zayaramu was stunned on the spot, her face suddenly turned red, and she lost her momentum in an instant. She looked at Su Luo with a red face. Oh my God, this feels like a queen. I'm on my knees. Come and ravage me. Upstairs, my little whip is ready. At this time, in the director's room, Ding Lei nodded with satisfaction. This Su Luo has a real talent for variety shows. The number of views this morning has already exceeded 100,000. That's great. Wow, is this the filming location? This place is so beautiful. I heard that the celebrity couple was filmed in Jiangcheng. I've been to Jiangcheng so many times, but I've never seen it. It's so beautiful, it feels like a pastoral beauty. Su Luo and Yi Zairamu got out of the car, along with Mayo Miu, of course. Master Li, be careful when you go back. Su Luo pulled her luggage to the driver's seat and said to Li Yang. Okay, Zairamu, Su Luo, Mayo Miu, I'll leave first. Li Yang stuck his head out and greeted the three of them. Okay, Master Li, take care. Yi Zairamu and Lu Mayo Miu waved to Li Yang. Let's go. Su Luo looked at the various camera positions around the yard and saw that she was the mobile camera that had appeared behind the two of them and said with a smile. Yi Zairamu nodded, took Su Luo's arm and walked towards the courtyard with a smile. Lu Mayo Miu was left alone. Who was I? What was I doing? Where was I? TT keyword add data title equals game. Data tag equals featured recommendations. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1913 / TT keyword add room number 3, room number 3, room number 3. Yi Zairamu started muttering again. Su Luo, Yi Zairamu. At this time, Ding Lei suddenly appeared and interrupted Yi Zairamu, who was muttering. Director Ding, Su Luo and Yi Zairamu shouted. Well, our show has already started, and I have a few things to tell you. I'll also tell them when they get here. Su Luo and Yi Zairamu nodded without saying anything. The only room without a camera is the bathroom. The camera turns off at 10 p.m. every night and turns on at 8 a.m. every morning. Wait, the bathroom, we also need to apply for installation. It's not anything else, I just want to see if the bathroom is clean. Upstairs, you're too, I agree. Sure enough, everyone is an LSB, but I'm different. I just want to see what brand of toothpaste they use. I don't have very good teeth. Ding Lei paused for a moment and continued. This courtyard has 4 houses. You will receive basic supplies and 10 kilograms of rice every day. All you have to do is live here for a month. Guests will come from time to time, and there will be more than one guest. Ding Lei turned and left after he finished speaking. Su Luo and Yi Zairamu fell into deep thought. Wait, what does this mean? Only 10 kilograms of rice. No vegetables. Does this mean I have to get it myself? Is this the daily grind that turns into survival? But it shouldn't be difficult. Looking around, there are bamboo forests, woods, and small rivers. It shouldn't be a problem. Su Luo and Yi Zairamu looked at each other, and there was a hint of astonishment in their eyes. Isn't this equivalent to a honeymoon? Wait, just as the two were about to leave, they were stopped by Lu Jun. What's wrong? Su Luo looked at Lu Jun in surprise. The luggage needs to be checked. Walter, no way, brother, you want to confiscate snacks too, Su Luo said with a bitter face. Lu Jun looked at Su Luo with a half smile, but then he saw Su Luo's eyes turn. Director Lu, you absolutely cannot do this. Under Yi Zairamu's surprised gaze, Su Luo took out a pack of cigarettes and handed it to Lu Jun, while rubbing her stomach. Lu Jun immediately understood that, indeed, she was pregnant. If something really went wrong, it would be difficult for their production team to explain. Looking at Su Luo's expression, Lu Jun smiled knowingly. Little brother, you didn't bring any food with you. You left us with nothing to do. Lu Jun put the snacks back without saying a word. Good boy, I thought to myself, this is not avoiding us at all, is it? Isn't this teaching people to bribe? Is this kind of program allowed to be broadcast? Didn't the nitpicker above see the explanation from the production team? It's because Miu Miu is pregnant and they're taking care of her. The live broadcast is for show effect. This Su Luo knows how to handle things. I think it's okay. Su Luo, when did you start smoking? Yi Zairamu glared at Su Luo, who was smoking with Lu Jun in the corner. Well, Director Lu, smoke next time. I'll leave first. Su Luo put out the cigarette and threw it into the trash can. Tell me, when did you learn to smoke? Yi Zairamu patted Su Luo and glared at him. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Su Luo smiled awkwardly. Try to smoke something better next time. Look at what kind of cigarette you gave Director Lu. Yi Zairamu glared at Su Luo. Her father also smoked sometimes, and she didn't object to Su Luo smoking. Of course, Su Luo herself also consciously pulled Director Lu aside to avoid her. She naturally would not object. After all, it was fun to have some social interactions when out and about. Yes, my wife, Su Luo saluted, then picked up the luggage and pulled Yi Zairamu towards the room. Wow, what a dramatic turn of events. Is this what family status is? I can't even find a cigarette butt at home now. Su Luo pulled Yi Zairamu into room 3. The room was not very big, with 1 bedroom, 1 living room, and 1 bathroom. It looked more like a single apartment. The decoration is quite nice. Although it looks like a classical brick house from the outside, the interior has a simple European style and white minimalism. Let me pack up. After Yi Zairamu entered the house, he pulled up the suitcase and started hanging clothes. There's no TV in the room. Su Luo sighed casually. The bathroom was in the bedroom. Su Luo opened it and saw a bathtub. Zairo Mu, come and look, there is a bathtub here. Su Luo called to Yi Zairo Mu. Really? Yi Zairamu, who was packing her luggage, heard it and immediately put down her clothes and ran to Su Luo. Wow, really? Yi Zairamu's eyes lit up when she saw the bathtub, and then her face turned red as if she thought of something. Zairo Mu, why are you blushing? Su Luo whispered when she saw Yi Zairamu's expression. It's okay. Yi Zairamu knew that it was being broadcast live and rolled her eyes at Su Luo. She turned around and went back to pack her clothes. This is the room I envy. I envy you. Mumu just saw the bathtub and blushed. I admit that I was dirty. Su Thief, I will never forgive you. Su Luo looked at Yi Zairamu, smiled, walked over to her side and helped her clean up. She didn't tease her. When there were many people around, Yi Zairamu was still quite shy. Chapter 27, Barrage from Nothingness. Not long after, Su Luo and Yi Zairamu packed their luggage and walked out of the room. Su Luo, what do you think that room is used for? Yi Zairamu pointed to another room in the yard. It should be the kitchen, otherwise there is no place to cook, Su Luo said. Let's go and take a look. When talking about eating, Yi Zairamu's eyes lit up and he pulled Su Luo forward. Zairo Mu, Zairo Luo, good morning. Tang Jiru was standing at the gate of the courtyard and greeting the two people. Sister Ru, good morning. Su Luo and Yi Zairamu immediately turned around and greeted her. Where is Brother Jai? Su Luo asked. I'm packing my luggage in the back. Hey, I packed all the snacks for me, Tang Jiru said carelessly. Fortunately, I was smart and hid some on my body, Tang Jiru said, taking out 2 Snickers from her pocket and handing them to Yi Zairamu. Thank you, Sister Ru. I have some snacks and will share them with you when the time comes. Yi Zairamu took the Snickers and whispered in Tang Jiru's ear. Really, that's great. It's okay, come visit more often, come visit more often. Tang Jiru has obviously participated in many variety shows and is very familiar with the ins and outs of them. She did not mention anything related to snacks. Zairo Mu, Zairo Luo, good morning. At this time, Zhu Jai came over pulling a suitcase. Brother Jai, good morning. Let's pack our luggage first and go for a walk together later, Zhu Jai said. Okay, you guys go first, Su Luo nodded. Watching Zhu Jai and the other person walk into the room, Su Luo took Yi Zairamu's hand and walked into the 4th room. Sure enough, it's a kitchen and a stove. Su Luo took a look and found that the house looked like a kitchen from the outside. There are a lot of tools here, Yi Zairamu said, pointing to the corner. Su Luo turned around and looked. Oh my God, there's an axe. Could it be that they're going to build a house? He thought about it and found that it was really possible. This was the kitchen. There were only 3 rooms. If there were guests coming in the future, accommodation would become a real problem. Seeing Yi Zairamu's curious look, Su Luo smiled and took her hand. Let's go out first. When King Zhou and the others arrive, we can discuss it together. Su Luo turned to look at Yi Zairamu and said with a smile. Okay, Yi Zairamu looked at Su Luo and smiled sweetly. I'm in love. Goddess Mu Mu's smile is so sweet. I really envy Su Luo. I'm Zior. Zior, is that you? I'm hungry. As soon as he walked out of the kitchen, Yi Zairamu leaned over to Su Luo's ear and whispered in a low voice, feeling a little embarrassed. Then let's go back and have some snacks first. Su Luo nodded and replied in a low voice. Then Su Luo pulled Yi Zairamu back to the room. Zairo Mu, you eat first. I'll go find the director, Su Luo said when she saw Yi Zairamu sitting on the sofa in the living room eating snacks. Okay, go ahead. Yi Zairamu waved his hand and said. Su Luo nodded and left the room. Director, Su Luo shouted loudly. No one responded. Director, actor, Su Luo increased her strength. What's the matter? Lu Jun walked over and asked. It's almost noon on the first day. Aren't they going to let us eat rice? Su Luo asked. Aren't the program's rules very clear? 10 kilograms of rice a day. It's almost noon. Where is the time to prepare the ingredients? The program crew has to be responsible for the meal. Su Luo raised her eyebrows and spoke. We have to follow the rules. Director, I advise you to think it over carefully before you speak, Su Luo said with a weird look on his face, his facial expression extremely shameless. I've thought it through clearly. Lu Jun didn't buy it at all. Director, you have to know that I'm the only one who's going to talk to you properly. The other 5 are all king level, and I can't control their fans. When Lu Jun heard this, he was stunned. Seeing this, Su Luo immediately moved closer to the camera and spoke. Brothers and sisters, your idol is going to be hungry soon. So let's stop making trouble and give the production team 10 minutes to show their attitude. After Su Luo finished speaking, she looked at Lu Jun. Director, I'm not trying to stir up trouble, but the comments said that if you don't arrange lunch, they'll unfollow you. Where did the barrage come from? Tell me, come on, tell me where did the barrage come from on this camera? The screen switched, and Lu Jun was seen pulling Su Luo, pointing at a camera and asking loudly. Su Luo is really crushing the director's intelligence. The director said, I can tolerate your threats, but you can't insult my intelligence. Ah, can't you see the barrage? It doesn't matter, it's a radio message sent by the audience. Su Luo waved her hand and said casually. Lu Jun's eyes flashed blue and green. It's the much-loved segment of arguing with the director. King Joe from next door has also arrived. Okay, our program team will arrange it at noon. Lu Jun sighed and agreed. The barrage just now said that they want to see us eat something delicious. Su Luo said with a smile. No, we didn't. What a fantastic barrage of comments. 666. Whatever is arranged, what is eaten? Lu Jun was speechless. After saying that, he quickly turned around and left. Why are you running? I didn't say anything else. Su Luo shrugged and said to herself. Then Su Luo moved closer to the camera again. Brothers, put the extra snacks on the public screen so the production crew can see them. We'll put on a food show for you guys at noon. Su Luo finished speaking and blinked. A man can't handle this kind of charm. No wonder Miu Miu married her. King Joe, sister-in-law. At this time, Su Luo waved and greeted Zhou Yang and the other person who had come over. Hi, Su Luo, you don't have to call me the king, just call me brother. Zhou Yang said with a smile, holding Li Na's hand with one hand and pulling the suitcase with the other. Okay, Brother Zhou, just call me Xiao Luo. You guys go and tidy up first. The production crew will provide lunch today. I heard it's delicious, right, director? Su Luo said at the end, raising her voice. Bang! This was the sound of the army falling to the ground. Okay, let's go tidy up first. Zhou Yang nodded with a smile and pulled Li Na towards the room. Su Luo did not stay there any longer and walked back to the house. Su Luo, you're back. What's wrong? Yi Xiaomu saw Su Luo coming back, smiled at her and asked. I just cheated the production crew out of a meal. Su Luo changed into a pair of slippers, walked to Yi Xiaomu's side and sat down. Yi Xiaomu leaned towards Su Luo, and then lay in Su Luo's arms. Su Luo, ah! Yi Xiaomu held a piece of potato chips in his hand. While Su Luo was not paying attention, he licked it, then raised his hand and handed it to Su Luo's mouth. Click! Su Luo opened her mouth and accepted the food from Yi Xiaomu. Is it delicious? Yi Xiaomu asked. Tasty. Ha ha ha! Yi Xiaomu suddenly stood up and laughed. Chapter 28. Xiaomu, are you angry? Good boy, is Miu Miu letting himself go? I want to eat too. Su Luo looked at Yi Xiaomu in surprise, her face full of confusion, wondering why he suddenly laughed. Yi Xiaomu took another piece, licked it, and then handed it to Su Luo. Only then did Su Luo realize that it was the same thing over there just now. Crack! Su Luo bit it again. Then Su Luo took out a piece, licked it, and handed it to Yi Xiaomu. No, Yi Xiaomu pursed her lips and hid. Seeing this, Su Luo laughed twice, and suddenly snatched the bag of potato chips from Yi Xiaomu's hand. Then, under Yi Xiaomu's surprised gaze, he threw the potato chips he had licked in, pinched the seal, and shook it. Then he put it back into the hands of Yi Xiaomu, who was already stunned. My goodness, these two are probably 10 years old in total. I just did that, and my girlfriend threw a big dick, almost knocking me unconscious. Yi Xiaomu stared blankly at the potato chips in his hand, then looked at Su Luo, who was grinning mischievously. A few seconds later, Yi Xiaomu put down the potato chips and threw Su Luo onto the sofa. Su Luo immediately controlled Yi Xiaomu's hands and gently stretched them outwards. Yi Xiaomu fell down. Su Luo raised her head and kissed her. After a while, Su Luo continued. My goodness, these two are really not short of dog food. I am so full of it. Yi Xiaomu's face turned red quickly and visibly. Su Luo, Yi Xiaomu's face flushed and he spoke seriously. Su Luo looked at Yi Xiaomu, worried that she was really angry, and quietly let go of her hand. When Yi Xiaomu saw his hands being released, he immediately touched Su Luo's waist and twisted it. Are you angry? Su Luo rubbed her face with a bitter look and asked softly. HMPH? Yi Xiaomu sat up. It wasn't that Yi Xiaomu was really angry, but this was a live broadcast and she felt a little embarrassed. Su Luo looked at Yi Xiaomu, smiled helplessly, sat up, and leaned close to Yi Xiaomu's ear. Wife, don't be angry, Mua. Su Luo was still very thick-skinned and could say cheesy words at will. Yi Zaiyamu glared at Su Luo angrily. Ah, Su Luo stepped back. Your eyes are so powerful, I'm hurt. Yi Zaiyamu laughed out loud immediately. Okay, get up quickly, we're still broadcasting live. Yi Zaiyamu patted Su Luo. Yes, wife. Su Luo stood up immediately. Do you still want to eat potato chips? Su Luo pointed at the potato chips. Let's not eat for now, we'll have lunch soon, save it for dinner. Yi Zaiyamu shook her head. Zio Mu Zio Luo. Tang Jiru's voice also came out. They called us, let's go out. Yi Zaiyamu stood up and said. Okay, Su Luo nodded, stood up and walked out with Yi Zaiyamu in her hand. TT keyword add data title equals game. Data tag equals featured recommendations. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1913. /TT keyword add the 6 people were standing in the yard at this time, and suddenly found that there was not even a place to sit. The scenery is pretty good, but the practicality is a bit poor. Zhu Jai sighed. I looked around, and even in the kitchen. There was an axe there, can you believe it? Zhou Yang nodded. Another thing is that if any guests come, there is currently no place for them to stay. Su Luo reminded. Don't worry about that, let's let them sleep in the kitchen. It won't be cold at night, Zhou Yang said with a smile. This is a must. That's good. The 3 men looked at each other and laughed. A man is a boy until he dies. The 3 men who covered up the crime reached an agreement at this time. Of course, it may take some time to get familiar with this place. By then, I believe I can even ask guests to do some of the work. Thinking of this, the 3 of them looked at each other again and gave a thumbs up at the same time. When I saw the looks from the 3 of them, I had a bad feeling. It's time to eat. Lu Jun suddenly appeared and interrupted a few people. The 6 people and the cameramen behind them followed Lu Jun to the cafeteria. A large round table with a shabu-shabu hot pot in the middle. Not bad, there is hot pot to eat, Zhu Jai said in surprise. Where are the dishes? Zhou Yang looked at Lu Jun in confusion. If you want to eat the food, you need to get it yourself, Lu Jun said, opening the tablecloth on the table next to him and directly placed various dishes on the round table. Each person has 5 rings, and they can eat as many dishes as they hit. Lu Jun took a few bamboo rings from the side. Is it so difficult to eat now? Zhou Yang said in surprise. 5 circles each, who will go first? After testing, everyone is hesitant about who should go first in the ring. Please choose. 1. Choose the first one to get a bonus of divine skill hit ability. 2. Choose the last one, and you will be rewarded with 100 million yuan in cash. Option 1. Selection successful, reward has been issued. Su Luo realized that she didn't feel anything at all. That's it, that's it. Let me go first. Su Luo walked forward and said. Okay, Lu Jun handed the ring to Su Luo. Let's get started. Su Luo took the hoop and tried to swing it, and she felt that she was bound to win. Wait, director, can I help them vote as well? Su Luo asked with a smile. Okay, Lu Jun nodded. Dear brothers and sisters, just tell me what you want to eat. The talented little prince is here. Su Luo turned around and said to the others. Yi Zaiyamu pulled Su Luo. Wife, what do you want to eat? Su Luo asked softly. I want to eat tripe. Yi Zaiyamu raised his hand and pointed at the tripe on the table and said, Okay. Su Luo threw the bamboo ring casually, and it flew out instantly and landed on the tripe. Several people in the room opened their mouths wide, including Lu Jun, who looked at Su Luo with his mouth open. Husband, so great. Yi Zaiyamu immediately hugged Su Luo's arm and jumped, shouting loudly. Su Luo raised her eyebrows and hugged Yi Zaiyamu with both hands to prevent her from falling. You know what, it's really accurate. Seeing Su Luo protecting Miu Miu, I believe in love again. After Yi Zaiyamu calmed down, Su Luo rolled up her sleeves. Brothers and sisters, just order whatever you want to eat. Su Luo looked so confident that Lu Jun covered his face. Ribs. Okay, let's go. Fat beef. Okay. 30 plates were brought to the table. Looking at the scene in front of him, Lu Jun was in tears. This game is so lonely. I felt that the production team was disappointed. Ha ha ha, this is the worst loss the production team has ever suffered. Just a quick question, when will this show end? We in the circle don't welcome him. 6 people sat around the hot pot. Let's eat. Brother Zhou Yang gave the order and everyone started eating. Lu Jun secretly picked up a bamboo ring and threw it out. The bamboo ring bounced off the edge of the plate and then bounced back, landing on his head. I can't stop laughing, ha. Chapter 29. Survive at home or survive outside. By the way, what are we going to do after dinner? Zhu Jai suddenly said. Everyone looked at Zhou Yang at the same time. Why are you all looking at me? Zhou Yang asked puzzledly. You are the eldest brother, I have to listen to your advice, Zhu Jai said with a smile. Big brother, we need to have a good talk about this matter. Zhou Yang coughed lightly, indicating that he wanted to act like a big brother. Lina rolled her eyes and pushed Zhou Yang aside. I think we should listen to your sister-in-law on this matter, Zhou Yang said without changing his expression. Brother Zhou has a very high status in the family, Su Luo teased with a smile. Of course I do. Usually I'm the one who takes action when something happens. We have a clear division of labor in our family. Zhou Yang straightened up and said confidently. What is my sister-in-law usually responsible for? Yi Xiaomu said blankly. Well, she is usually in charge of giving orders. Zhou Yang touched his head and said awkwardly. Well, so I just listened to my wife. Su Luo laughed, and Zhu Jai looked at her in surprise. Brother Jai, why are you looking at me? Cherish it, I hope you can still smile in the future. Zhu Jai patted Su Luo's shoulder and said. Su Luo instantly understood what Zhu Jai meant. My Xiaomu is very gentle. Don't worry, this situation will never happen. Su Luo patted his chest. Honey, I want to eat shrimp. Yi Xiaomu suddenly spoke. Okay, I'll help you peel it. Su Luo immediately picked up a river shrimp, put it on the plate, and began to help Yi Xiaomu peel the shrimp. Zhu Jai and Zhou Yang looked at each other, nodded, and then each picked up a shrimp and started peeling it. Wife, let me blanch another tripe for you. After Su Luo peeled the shrimps, she immediately picked up a tripe and started blanching it. Wife, I hot beef for you. Zhu Jai was equally unwilling to be outdone. Zhou Yang's mouth twitched as he watched the scene in front of him. At the same time, he glanced at Li Na, who was smiling at him, shuddered, and immediately picked up some vegetables and blanched them. Good boy, I'm just saying good boy. These guys are rolling up. I feel like they're not hurting themselves but us. My wife is asking me to cook for her now. Brothers, stop posting random comments. My wife is watching too. After my wife saw it, she gave me a big bye and said I didn't spoil him. Yi Xiaomu watched Su Luo boiling food for her, feeling satisfied. She placed her left hand on Su Luo's leg and patted it gently to show her satisfaction. Su Luo felt the hand on her thigh, smiled, stretched out her left hand to hold Yi Xiaomu's hand, and continued to help Yi Xiaomu pick up the food with her right hand. Oh my God, this is dog food, and these two people are even doing some tricks. After dinner, the ladies can go back and have a rest. We'll go find something to eat, Zhou Yang suddenly said at this time. The program crew definitely won't be able to provide food in the evening, so I'll have to make it myself. But isn't this the daily routine of celebrity couples? What's the point of asking us to survive here? Zhu Jai couldn't help but complain. Maybe this kind of survival is the same as your daily life. Su Luo suddenly spoke expressionlessly. Zhu Jai was stunned. Ha ha ha, does this mean that men usually survive at the hands of their wives? On the married man's desire to survive. I just want to have a full meal, is that wrong? Su Luo looked at Zhu Jai's reaction, which went from confusion to acceptance in just 10 seconds. Brother Jai, thank you for your hard work. Su Luo patted Zhu Jai's shoulder with a sympathetic look on her face. Oh no, Xiao Luo, what do you mean by this sympathetic look on your face? Yi Xiaomu couldn't help but burst out laughing. Ag Xiao Luo means that it's not enough for you to survive at home, and you have to come to the program crew to survive. It's quite hard. Zhu Jai had a wry smile on his face, while Tang Jiru, who was standing beside him, covered her face with her hands, her face slightly red. Haha, Brother Jai loves his wife, Su Luo said with a smile to smooth things over. After a few people finished eating, they walked out of the cafeteria. Su Luo sent Yi Xiaomu back to her room. Husband, Yi Xiaomu saw Su Luo was about to go out and suddenly called Su Luo. What's wrong, Xiaomu? Su Luo turned around at the door and looked at Yi Xiaomu in confusion. Honey, I want to eat grilled fish, Yi Xiaomu said in a low voice with her head down. If I remember correctly, they just finished lunch. Has our goddess Miu Miu become a foodie now? Her image has collapsed. Don't talk nonsense, little black guy upstairs. Miu Miu is pregnant. It's normal for her to want to eat. Besides grilled fish, what else do you want to eat? Su Luo smiled, walked to Yi Xiaomu, rubbed her head, and asked gently. TT keyword add data title equals game. Data tag equals featured recommendations. Data type equals 1. Data value equals 1913. /TT keyword add. I also want to eat roast chicken. It would be even better if there is roast duck. Yi Xiaomu squinted his eyes and said with a smile. Okay, I'll look for it this afternoon to see if I can get it. Su Luo nodded in agreement. Thank you, husband. Yi Xiaomu stood on tiptoe and kissed Su Luo. You should have a good rest in the afternoon. I brought the computer and tablet. You can watch some TV series when you have nothing to do, Su Luo said as she walked out. Okay, Yi Xiaomu nodded. Today is the first day, so the three of us men should find more food so that we can take them out for more walks later. Zhou Yang explained his plan. Su Luo nodded after hearing this. If the efficiency is not high on the first day, the pressure will become greater and greater later on. They just received notice that the first guest will arrive tomorrow afternoon. Apparently, the pressure of finding food was greatest today. Su Luo actually didn't have much confidence in this, because he didn't have any magical skills. He was just at an average level. Let's split up and act separately, Zhou Yang said. Okay, Su Luo nodded. He wanted to go to the river first to see if there was any way to get some fish so that he could make grilled fish for Yi Xiaomu in the evening. Start checking the watches now. Zhu Jai pretended to be in special operations mode. Su Luo and Zhou Yang looked at Zhu Jai as if he was mentally retarded. Well, I was thinking, ha. Zhu Jai started laughing halfway through his explanation. It's already 1:30. No matter what the result is, let's be back before 5 o'clock. After all, Zhou Yang is older, and judging from the performance of his two younger brothers, they also want him to give orders, so he naturally took the responsibility. Okay, let's go, Zhu Jai said. The three of them looked at each other and said, swoosh. Of course, they couldn't disappear, this wasn't fantasy. Three people walked in three directions, each followed by a cameraman. Su Luo walked towards the river. My wife wants to eat fish. I'm going to see how the fish are here. Su Luo was walking as if leisurely strolling in the garden, but in fact she was also observing the surrounding environment. The place chosen by the program team is indeed quite pristine. According to Su Luo's calculations, no one had even lived here before. Bite. Chapter 30 Fishing and Catching Chickens. Bite. Faced with the surrounding environment, you who are looking for food, please choose. 1. Choose to catch fish first and be rewarded with God-level crafting skills. 2. Choose to catch the chicken first and be rewarded with God-level planting technology. Su Luo felt the options in her mind. Both options were quite useful, but in the end, Su Luo thought about it and realized that Yi Xiaomu was the first one who said he wanted to eat grilled fish. Option 1. Selection successful, reward has been issued. Su Luo felt the knowledge in her mind and nodded with satisfaction. This God-level craft should also be helpful for him to catch fish, and even be of great help in building a house later. Su Luo came to the river and first observed the river. It was very clear and there were many fish. He even saw a few fish swimming past. Brothers, I'm ready to catch fish first. Su Luo turned to look at the camera and spoke. Catching fish with your bare hands. You're not going down to the river. Su Luo looked around and saw a forest. She nodded in her heart, wondering if there was any wild game in the forest. Su Luo thought about it and immediately ran back to the yard, walked into the kitchen and took a saw, a knife, and a bucket. Knife, saw, bucket, how do you catch fish with this? Su Luo took a saw, walked into the woods, found a few not very tall saplings and started sawing them. Dear audience friends, under normal circumstances, these saplings cannot be cut down, but the program team gave us too little, so I had no choice. Su Luo said helplessly. I believe the production team should have made a statement after reading this. I cut down a tree, so please remember to replant it. Otherwise, you will be lagging behind in global warming efforts. Su Luo spoke seriously while sawing the tree. There's a skill to this blame shifting, but what he's going to do, I don't understand. Is it related to fishing? I have an idea. Is Su Luo planning to make a fork to spear fish? Oh my God, is this so primitive? Can you really catch fish? Not long after, the small tree, about 2 meters high, was sawed down by Su Luo. Su Luo pulled the tree to the river and first sawed off all the branches. Seeing that there was about 2 meters of wooden stick, Su Luo grabbed it, pushed it forward, and nodded. It felt good. Take out a knife and simply sharpen the stick to remove the burrs. Then, sharpen the thinner end. Oh my God, what did I see? He was really about to spear fish. This can catch fish, I'm going to eat shit live. The guy upstairs, I suspect you're cheating here. Don't forget, Su Luo never misses a shot with her hoops. Friends who eat shit, I've taken a screenshot. That's what my friend just said. Don't worry, I'll supervise him and make him eat shit upside down. Good fellow, making friends out of nothing. Well, a friend of mine is curious. Is shit delicious? It's disgusting. That's what my friend told me. This style of painting is wrong. Let's keep it clean and simple, okay? Let's not talk about this kind of shit. I think the thinner ones should taste better. I'm going to vomit. Su Luo naturally couldn't see the comments in the live broadcast room. At this time, he walked to the river with a nearly 2-meter-long wooden stick. At the same time, he turned around and made a hush gesture to the camera. Su Luo observed for a while with the stick in hand. Now they were all small fish. Shaking her head, Su Luo said, "The river is flowing, going upstream." The camera followed Su Luo quietly. Suddenly, Su Luo stopped. In an instant, the wooden stick flew out. Su Luo held the end of the stick with her hand. The other end had already wiped away the river water. Oh my God, this is too fast. The key point is that Su Luo just happened to catch the tail of the flying stick. Su Luo pulled out the wooden stick and saw the sharp tip of the stick, which had pierced a grass carp, its body still swaying slightly. Oh my God, it really got pricked. It looks like it's quite big. Where's that brother who just cheated me for food and drinks? Su Luo looked at the fish on the wooden stick and nodded. This one weighed about 6-7 jin, which was not bad. He walked to the bucket, scooped some water, put the grass carp in, and the blood instantly dyed the bucket red. Su Luo continued walking towards the river with the wooden stick in hand. This is not small, is it? Do we still need to catch it? After all, they still have to prepare meals for tomorrow. This time, Su Luo did not spear the fish as soon as she saw it. Instead, she prepared to see if there were any bigger ones, or perhaps black carp, because black carp tastes great when grilled. Soon, Su Luo took out the stick again. A silver carp weighing about 15 or 16 pounds. Oh my God, this one weighs at least 15 or 16 pounds, and it's silver carp. The head will definitely taste good if you cook it. Su Luo nodded, and immediately took the saw and carried the bucket back to the yard. I quickly processed the 2 fish, and applied some salt to prevent them from going bad. This fish is killed with such pleasure. Is there anything Su Luo can't do? With this ability to kill fish, I definitely don't believe he's a bad cook. Brothers, there are still a lot of fish in this river, so I won't catch too many. These 2 will definitely be enough for tonight. After washing his hands, Su Luo spoke to the camera, then he looked at the time. There's still an hour until the agreed time of 5 o'clock. I'm going to try my luck in that woods. Su Luo talked as she walked. Brothers, don't go too deep into this kind of large forest. The large wild animals should have been driven away from the place where our program team arranged it. So the danger is relatively low, of course. At this point, Su Luo suddenly smiled mysteriously. Of course, it's not that I'm afraid of danger, but if there really are large wild animals, you could go to jail if you hunt them casually. Nowadays in China, many wild animals are banned from hunting, and some are even nationally protected animals. Good boy, Su Luo is really cruel. I feel like if it weren't for national protection, Su Luo would have to ask the program team to arrange it. After Su Luo finished speaking, he walked into the woods. Whether he was fishing or preparing to hunt for food, Su Luo relied on his god-level hitting ability. Su Luo only then discovered this ability. It was really fragrant. Normally, there would be some wild animals in a large forest like this, but I walked for about 20 minutes and didn't see a single one. After a while, Su Luo suddenly spoke. Then her face turned serious. Then all wild animals should be protected. So there should be only one possibility. Su Luo looked at the cameraman. Cameraman, judging by the crew's style, there should be some chickens, ducks, and geese here, right? Good boy, this is a direct question to the production team about whether there is cheating. Brothers, this isn't a pure survival show after all, so it's only natural for the production team to place the chickens, ducks, and geese they raise here. After all, earning food through labor is fair. After Su Luo finished speaking, he immediately followed up and added that he was mainly afraid that someone would lead the pace at that time. Chapter 30, There is really nothing in this forest. Su Luo's question left the cameraman speechless, because the truth is that the production crew didn't prepare anything at all, and there was really nothing in this forest. No way, Su Luo said in surprise as she looked at the cameraman who was shaking his head. Nothing, Su Luo confirmed again. The cameraman nodded. Program crew, come here, look here. Su Luo suddenly appeared in front of the camera. In the river, fish, normally you can't catch anything. And here's a forest and you tell me there's nothing. There's a field of rapeseed flowers next to the yard. I didn't see the other 2 sides, but the layout should be similar to this side, with woods and a small river. Come on, tell me what to eat. Su Luo touched her forehead. It seemed that the production team of this program was completely unaware of the situation. Looking back, it really is. I just checked out Zhu Jai and Zhou Tianwang's live streams, and there was absolutely nothing there. Su Luo felt somewhat dissatisfied. After all this fuss, there was nothing to show for it. It would be strange if the audience would like to watch this. If you want to do a slow variety show, then do it. If you want to do a survival show, then don't set up a small courtyard or have a flying guest show. There is nothing around you, nothing at all. If you hadn't caught 2 fish, you would probably have nothing to eat tonight. Who the hell arranged this? No food prepared? Ding Lei slammed the table in the director's office. There was complete silence all around, and no one dared to speak casually. TT keyword add data title equals game, data tag equals featured recommendations, data type equals 1, data value equals 1913 / TT keyword add Wang Ning. Ding Lei immediately called out a name. Director, a slightly bald man wearing glasses stood up and shouted. You are the program planner. Tell me how the guests' meals are arranged. Ding Lei's eyes immediately swept over Wang Ning. The director team arranges 10 kilograms of rice every day. Wang Ning said. Fuck, we have such a big show, and you tell me we're going to let the guests eat rice every day. Ding Lei slammed the table again. Ding Lei's eyes flashed with helplessness at this moment. He had prepared the program for such a long time, but there was a mistake in this part. Hurry up, go to the nearby village and buy some poultry and send them over. Ding Lei thought for a moment and immediately gave the order. Also, has our guest star coming tomorrow arrived yet? Have her come in early and bring the poultry. We'll discuss it after the broadcast tonight. Ding Lei immediately began to make arrangements and asked Lu Jun to contact the guests immediately. Communicate with Su Luo about the current situation. Ding Lei informed the cameraman over the phone. Su Luo and the cameraman were staring at each other at this moment. Suddenly, the cameraman pointed the camera at the woods in the distance. Then he turned off the radio and immediately informed Su Luo of the situation. Do Brother Jai and Brother Joe know about this situation? Su Luo asked. Their cameraman will find a chance to tell them later. After the cameraman said this, he signaled Su Luo to prepare to continue the live broadcast. Su Luo nodded, and the cameraman turned the radio back on. It seems that food is not so easy to find, Su Luo said. The agreed time is almost here. I'm going to go back first. If my calculations are correct, Brother Jai and Brother Joe will be returning empty-handed. As Su Luo was talking, she suddenly laughed. I'm different, I caught 2 fish. Zairamu, your man is so awesome, Su Luo said pretentiously. A best actor and a superstar both returned empty-handed. Let's change it. Am I better than both the superstar and the best actor? Seeing Su Luo like this, I don't know why, but I just want to hit him. Add me. When Su Luo returned to the courtyard, Zhu Jai and Zhou Yang also arrived. The 3 of them looked at each other and nodded secretly. Everyone understood what was going on. Then just acted out. This is actually a program accident, but there is nothing we can do now. We can only smooth things over. Brother Jai, Brother Joe, why are you empty-handed? Su Luo said in deliberate surprise. I looked around and saw that sparrows and other animals are protected species and cannot be hunted casually, so I let them go. Zhu Jai looked around and said, Good boy, I can't even refute this reason. They are all protected animals, what can we do? Now sparrows have indeed been included in the list of protected species. Basically, all the delicious things you see in the wild now are from protected animals, so you really can't eat anything. Compared with Zhu Jai, Zhou Yang is obviously much more honest. I didn't find anything, but I'm an old man, so even if I did see a pheasant or something, I wouldn't be able to catch it. Zhou Yang said seriously, Brother Joe, you're an old man now, and I'm a frustrated middle-aged man born in the 2000s. Brother Jai is an older man born in the 1990s, facing the crisis of unemployment. Su Luo listened to Brother Joe's explanation and said, I, a middle-aged man born in the 2000s, am not convinced. I, an empty-nest person born in the 1980s, disagree. I am a 70-year-old who is about to be buried. Please help me up. I am still able to do it. Brother Jai, Brother Joe, don't worry. I actually caught 2 fish. Su Luo took Zhu Jai and Zhou Yang to the kitchen with a mysterious look on her face. Luo, it's great. As soon as Zhou Yang entered, he saw 2 slightly marinated fish and began to praise. How did you do that? There were fish in the river where I went, but I couldn't catch them at all. There was still disbelief in Zhu Jai's eyes. It's very simple, all you need are hands. Su Luo shrugged and said casually, As long as God has hands. This spearfishing technique is quite good. Let's just eat grilled fish tonight, my brothers. Su Luo saw the 2 of them rolling their eyes, straightened her expression, and spoke. It's great to have something to eat. Zhu Jai said that he is not qualified to be picky now. Zhou Yang also nodded. Is anyone there? A pleasant voice came out at this time. Is someone coming? The 3 of them looked at each other and immediately walked out of the kitchen. What is this? Su Luo admitted that he didn't know it. Peng Xiaoramen, Tang Jiru's voice came over. Tang Jiru, Li Na, and Yi Xiaomu also came out at this time. Peng Xiaoramen, 22 years old, is a new generation actor and a rising star in TV dramas. You're here and you bring things with you. How naughty. Su Luo saw Peng Xiaoman holding a rope and carrying a few chickens. Haha, isn't this food? Zhu Jai said happily. Then a few people started chatting. Su Luo looked at the camera and saw that it didn't notice her, so she signaled to Yi Xiaomu with her eyes. Su Luo walked out of the yard and found Ding Lei. Director, with the current situation, we have solved the problem of food, but we have a problem with accommodation. Su Luo spread her hands helplessly. I just came up with a plan. We'll assign you a task, and once you complete it, our dedicated construction team will help you build a temporary house right away. It'll only take about an hour. How do you do it? The task can't be too difficult, Su Luo nodded. Don't worry, Ding Lei patted his chest and said seriously. Su Luo looked at Ding Lei deeply and turned away. Chapter 32, Su Luo cooks. It's almost time we should cook, Zhou Yang said when he saw Su Luo coming back from outside. Let me make it clear first, I can't cook, Zhu Jai said at this time. Brother Jai, you seem to be very proud of not being able to cook, Su Luo teased with a smile on her face. Actually, I don't know how either, Zhou Yang said quietly from the side. Then let me do it, Su Luo shook her head helplessly. Ah, you can cook, Tang Jiru said in surprise. Of course, do you know how to take down my father-in-law? Su Luo raised her eyebrows at the camera. Yo, let's interview Yi Xiaomu. Zhu Jai spoke at this time and looked at Yi Xiaomu at the same time. Brother Jai, ask. Yi Xiaomu took Su Luo's arm and answered with a smile. Is Su Luo cooking at home? Zhu Jai clenched his fist and used it as a microphone to speak. He is good at cooking and his food is especially delicious, Yi Xiaomu said with happiness in her eyes. Oh my God, brother, you've broadened your horizons. Zhu Jai looked at Su Luo with admiration. Basic exercises, sit down, Su Luo said with a smile, while her two hands continued to press down. Okay, then I'll leave dinner to you, Zhou Yang said from the side. Okay, you guys chat, I'll go cook. Su Luo nodded, turned and walked towards the kitchen. Yi Xiaomu also followed with Su Luo on her arm. Xiaomu, there's a lot of smoke in the kitchen. Go and chat with them. Su Luo saw Yi Xiaomu following over, reached out and rubbed Yi Xiaomu's head and spoke. I'm afraid you won't be able to handle it all by yourself, Yi Xiaomu said gently. Don't worry, I'll handle it. You just need to take a rest. I'll make grilled fish and grilled chicken for you in the evening, Su Luo said with a smile. Okay, Yi Xiaomu's eyes narrowed into slits as she smiled. She stood there and nodded. I believe in love again. They really do look like they've been together for decades. So sweet. To be honest, the other people don't seem to be able to let go yet. But when they see Su Luo and Yi Xiaomu, they feel like they are just here to spend time together, like they are on their honeymoon. Su Luo watched Yi Xiaomu leave, smiled, and walked into the kitchen. He took a charcoal stove and started to make a fire. At the same time, Su Luo took a look at the chicken tied in the corner. Well, 1 rooster and 3 hens. I'll kill one today and raise the rest, Su Luo muttered to herself. Su Luo was very efficient. She killed the chicken, poured hot water on it, and plucked its feathers. Looking at Su Luo's actions, I would believe that he is a chef. In fact, Su Luo was not concentrating on killing the chicken at this time, but was thinking at the same time. The program has officially started, but in reality, he feels that it is not very interesting, as there is a big gap in the status of the guests. TT keyword add data title equals game, data tag equals featured recommendations, data type equals 1, data value equals 1913, /TT keyword add they were not even familiar with each other, and the program team did not provide any guidance at all. Such a show would be very awkward. He wondered if the director had noticed it. Anyway, Su Luo had this feeling in his heart, but there was nothing he could do at the moment. He is not from the entertainment industry, so there is nothing we can say about his identity. Zhu Jai seems to be more relaxed, but even though he is an award-winning actor, he is still not as good as Zhou Yang. After spending a day together, Su Luo felt that Zhou Yang was a relatively decent person. Therefore, this program actually needs a host to control the situation. Otherwise, there will be no rhythm at all, and even the guests will find it difficult to joke and make each other laugh. Su Luo placed the processed chicken on the chopping board and began to massage it. Apply the marinade by pressing it, and the roast chicken will be more flavorful. Wow, this is a real massage. It can be seen that Su Luo is really a great chef. I haven't changed the live broadcast room for a day. Do you need help? Su Luo turned around and found that it was Zhu Jai who walked in. Brother Jai, there's no need. I can handle this. Why are you here? Su Luo looked at Zhu Jai curiously. There's nothing I can do. I can't join in on the conversations between women, Zhu Jai sighed. After Su Luo left, Several women started chatting, ranging from married life to skin care and preparing for pregnancy. Li Na and Zhou Tianwang's children are now 10 years old, so they are naturally respected as seniors. Of course, King Zhou couldn't bear it anymore. The woman just chatted with him directly, so he took a saw and went out to chop down the tree. Su Luo knew that King Zhou had gone to get wood, and she admired him in her heart, then looked at Zhu Jai strangely. "Brother Jai, why didn't you go to help Brother Zhou? If you do this, you will be blamed." Su Luo raised her eyebrows at Zhou Jai and spoke. "I just don't want to cause trouble for Brother Zhou. Come over and get some tools. Let me see if you need help first," Zhu Jai said with a smile. "There's no problem here. You go and help Brother Zhou. He probably can't handle it alone," Su Luo said. "Okay, I'll be there right away." Compared to Zhou Yang, Zhu Jai certainly wanted to be with Su Luo more. After all, the age difference was not much, and there was no problem with their status. Being with Zhou Tianwang will create pressure naturally. Zhou Yang is indeed quite honest and doesn't have that overbearing attitude. We can get along well, but to be frank, there is still a generation gap between us, which is like a generation difference. At this time, the director's office was having a heated discussion. After a day of live broadcast, they were also summarizing the shortcomings of the program. "Lu Jun, you speak first." Ding Lei pointed at the executive director and said, "Throughout the entire day, apart from Su Luo's slightly funny moments in the morning, the rest of the time was more or less awkward. Although the three celebrity couples had already met yesterday, they weren't familiar with each other, and it felt like the show was missing something." The others nodded in agreement. They had also noticed this, having also been following the live broadcast and the show all day. But at the end of the day, the online playback volume was not very high, mainly because the program lacked attractive points. "Then which direction should we move forward?" Ding Lei asked. "Director," a girl suddenly raised her hand. "Li Xiaoshuang, what do you think?" "Director, I feel that we haven't yet defined the nature of our own program." "Oh, go on." Ding Lei's eyes lit up. He felt that the program was very messy and tedious, but he just couldn't find a solution. Nowadays, there are reality shows, slow variety shows, business shows, and games. There are several types. It depends on what kind we want to do. Li Xiaoshuang spoke for a while, leaving the other people in the program team stunned. "Actually, my original intention was to make a different variety show. Slow variety shows are more suitable for us." Ding Lei thought for a while and then spoke. Chapter 33, Girls Chatting. "Director, actually our show is not very suitable for slow variety shows because we have live broadcasts," Li Xiaoshuang said hesitantly. "Xiaoshuang, just tell me everything boldly. It's okay," Ding Lei said after listening to Li Xiaoshuang's organized words. "Okay, director, let me be frank. I think we should drop the survival aspect of our show and just provide the food directly. Let's add some games for couples." Li Xiaoshuang said this, took out his water cup, took a sip of water, and continued. "Adding some interesting tasks will at least help the guests get to know each other better. So I think the main focus of our show is emotions and games." "Clap, clap, clap," Ding Lei clapped his hands. "Your idea is quite good. Our show was originally going for a couple, but it got changed so many times later that it's really a bit awkward. Xiaoshuang, I'll leave this to you. It would be best if you could come up with a plan tonight. That way we can arrange the game tomorrow." Ding Lei looked at Li Xiaoshuang seriously and spoke. "Okay, director," Li Xiaoshuang agreed. "Lu Jun, make arrangements to build a house for the flying guests. Also, remember to arrange for them to play a small game later. Look for our old game copywriting and pick one to play." "Okay, director," Lu Jun responded and went downstairs. At this time, Su Luo had already grilled the fish and chicken. Su Luo leaned against the kitchen door and looked at several women sitting in the open space, chatting in the distance. Yi Xiaomu felt someone was looking at her. She looked up and saw Su Luo standing not far away. Yi Xiaomu waved at Su Luo and smiled sweetly. "You two have such a good relationship," Tang Jiru said with a smile. "Haha, it's not bad," Yi Xiaomu said with a blush. "Sister Xiaomu, I checked online and it seems that Su Luo is younger than you," Peng Xiaoman said. "Yes, he is 3 years younger than me, but he is very mature. When I am with him, I feel like a child." Yi Xiaomu said this with a smile on her face. "I find this program unfriendly at all," Peng Xiaoman pouted. "Isn't this just for a single guys to come here and eat dog food?" Peng Xiaoman pretended to be unhappy and said dejectedly. Several girls suddenly laughed. Even Li Na, who was silent at the side, laughed. The friendship between girls is sometimes very strange. They seem to be quite polite to each other in the afternoon. Everyone sat together and chatted for a while. It seemed that because there were no men here, several people quickly became friends. Xiaomu, I tell you, you can't give this man money, otherwise they will really go crazy. Tanjiro held Yi Xiaomu's hand and spoke earnestly. Yi Xiaomu looked curiously at Tanjiro, and then at Li Na. Yes, Li Na nodded when she saw Yi Xiaomu looking at her. Sister Na, Sister Ru, is there any explanation for this? Peng Xiaoramen asked with a gossipy look on her face. Tanjiro smiled and tapped Peng Xiaoramen's forehead before speaking. My husband always likes to drink with his friends whenever he has money. He gets drunk every time and always asks me to pick him up, said Tanjiro with a dissatisfied look on her face. Then I confiscated his bank card, and now he rarely goes out. Jairu, won't Jujai be angry if you do this? Li Na asked from the side. Actually, it's mainly because he likes to drink, but we're actually trying to conceive now. He drinks every day, which is bad for his health. I'm also worried that it will affect the child in the future. Tanjiro blushed a little and began to explain. Yi Xiaomu's face turned slightly red, and she felt a little worried in her heart, because her child was not only caused by the alcohol consumed by both of them, but she was also drugged. However, Yi Xiaomu did not show it at this time. So is Jiru's purpose of participating in the show this time to successfully conceive a child? Li Na asked. Yes, I heard that this program would be filmed continuously for a long time, which means we can rest for a long time. Of course, this rest means we don't have to go back to the cruise separately. Tanjiro explained that as actors, they do not have much time to spend together every day. This program should be relatively easy, so come on. Li Na looked at Tanjiro gently and spoke. Come on, Yi Xiaomu and Peng Xiaoramen also said. Sister Na, then why did you accept money from King Zhou? Peng Xiaoramen looked at Li Na curiously at this time. My husband used to lend money to others whenever he had nothing to do. The key point was that he never expected others to pay him back. He was a good guy, so I took all his money, Li Na said with a smile. Actually, I know they're all his good friends, so it's impossible for him not to pay them back. But after all, the child is about to go to high school and will need money. I have to make some preparations for him anyway. Indeed, after all, at this time, the child's affairs should be the first priority. Sister Na, who will take care of the child when you record the show this time? Tanjiro nodded in agreement. My mother-in-law and her family take care of him more often. He often goes to activities, and I usually follow him. It's mainly because he has a bad stomach. If I'm not with him, he can't take care of himself at all. As Li Na spoke, a hint of worry flashed in her eyes. Then she looked at Yi Xiaomu. Xiaomu, you just got married and your career is booming. How do you feel about being pregnant at this time? I was actually the one who went to the hospital for the checkup when it was exposed. I didn't dare tell him because he was still in school. That was what I thought at the time. Yi Xiaomu recalled what happened before with a smile on her face. When the results showed it was true, I panicked and told him I was pregnant. He then asked me to wait for him and ran out. Then I saw him coming back sweating profusely. He used all his money to buy me a ring and proposed to me. At that moment, I was not panicked at all. How romantic! Peng Xiaoramen looked at Yi Xiaomu with envy. Did you feel at ease at that moment? And then did you feel that everything was worth it? Li Na asked. Well, this idiot was sweating profusely at that time. At that moment, I was just happy. Yi Xiaoramu's eyes were almost narrowed. I'm a married woman, but I envy you so much, Tanjiro said with a smile. Listening to them talking about these boring things, but I don't know why, I just find it very interesting. You're not the only one upstairs. +1, Chapter 34, when I told you to sleep first, you were obviously relieved. Xiaomu, ask Sister Ru and Sister Na to call Brother Jai and Brother Zhou back. Let's get ready for dinner. Su Luo roasted the grass carp, made a chopped pepper fish head from the silver carp, then braised some fish pieces, and finally had a roasted chicken. There aren't many dishes, but the portions are sufficient. The army has already built the house, and a pavilion has been built next to the kitchen as a dining area. Su Luo brought all the dishes to the table in the pavilion. The girls' eyes lit up when they smelled the fragrance. Xiaomu, your husband's cooking is so delicious, Tanjiro said with admiration. It's okay. Yi Xiaomu looked at Su Luo putting the grilled fish and grilled chicken very close to her, and replied with a smile on her face. Not long after, Zhou Yang and Zhu Jai came back. After several people sat down, Su Luo naturally sat next to Yi Xiaomu. TT keyword add data title equals game, data tag equals featured recommendations. Data type equals 1, data value equals 1913, /TT keyword add let us all welcome Peng Xiaoramen. Zhou Yang spoke first, and several people held up the water jars and clinked glasses. Thank you, everyone, Peng Xiaoman said coquettishly. Wow, this fish head is amazing, Zhu Jai exclaimed after taking a bite of the chopped pepper fish head. They are all delicious, Tang Jiru also said in admiration. Damn, watching them eat makes me hungry. I just finished dinner, and now I see them eating, so I made another serving of instant noodles. Su Luo is so amazing. I declare that from now on, Su Luo is my husband. What are you dreaming about upstairs? Several people have almost finished eating. Su Luo, you are still a student, right? Zhou Yang asked at this time. Yes, I'm a senior and will graduate this year. Su Luo nodded. What are your plans for the future? Zhou Yang asked. At this time, the barrage was all the same. Must debut. That dancer is amazing. He must debut. Agree. I'm going to be Xiaomu's assistant. She needs someone to take care of her now. Su Luo glanced at Yi Xiaomu and said with a smile. Aren't you planning on debuting? Xiaomu is originally from the entertainment industry, so she's going to be quite busy. If I get busy too, I guess we won't be able to see each other much. We have to give Su Luo a thumbs up for this, Lina suddenly said at this time. Because she is Zhou Yang's personal assistant, she naturally understands Su Luo's thoughts. If two people want to stay together forever, one of them will naturally have to make sacrifices. Brother Jai, can you please stop? You're just busy eating. Su Luo saw Zhu Jai still eating. Really, it's so delicious. It would be such a waste if we don't finish it. Zhu Jai exclaimed in admiration. It was indeed quite a lot, a whole chicken and over 20 kilograms of fish. Tang Jiru patted Zhu Jai on the side. I heard that Brother Jai came here to prepare for pregnancy. Judging from his condition, Brother Jai is usually very busy. Su Luo rolled her eyes and sighed towards the camera. Several girls covered their mouths and laughed. A Luo you? Zhu Jai was stunned. He started driving now. Brother Jai, don't worry, I'm good at cooking, and I must prepare something nourishing for you tomorrow. Su Luo teased Zhu Jai with a smile. Although the two had a big age gap, they were able to get along well after spending more than a day together. That's totally unnecessary. With my physique and figure, I was just too busy recently. Don't get me wrong. Zhu Jai stood up and showed off his figure. After all, he was an actor and he had great control over his body shape. I don't think Sister Ru will accept your explanation. Everyone looked at Tang Jiru, who just glanced at Zhu Jai and shook her head. Oh, everyone cheered. Their expressions were like, yeah, I get it, I get it. Actor Zhu is being despised. However, I felt the look in his wife's eyes at the end. It seemed like she said nothing, yet it also seemed like she said everything. Zhu Jai's face flushed a little at this time. He slammed the table and stood up. What are you looking at? Zhu Jai glanced at Tang Jiru and said firmly, then looked at everyone. Tell the director that my wife needs to take the morning off tomorrow. Oh, everyone started to make a fuss again. Even Peng Xiaoman joined in. They were all adults and didn't understand anything. Ding Lei's mouth twitched in the director's room. This group of adults were really willing to talk about anything when they were together. Fortunately, it was a live broadcast on the internet, so the standards were quite lenient in person. However, this part cannot be included in the final film after post-editing, because it will be broadcast by the TV station and the review will be much stricter. At this time, Tang Jiru just rolled her eyes. Come on, when I told you I was going to bed last night, you were obviously relieved. Ha ha ha, everyone immediately burst into laughter. Zhu Jai's face flushed red. After sitting down, he leaned on Tang Jiru and started laughing himself. It's okay to be relieved. I didn't expect Ru could drive. Ha ha, I'm afraid this meme about Mr. Zhu will be with him for the rest of his life. I saw actor Zhu heaving a sigh of relief. Ha ha ha. Tang Jiru also laughed. She didn't expect that what she said would actually reveal what happened last night. Brother Jai, it's okay, leave this to your younger brother. I'll make you some soup tomorrow to nourish you. Su Luo suppressed her smile, looked at Zhu Jai and spoke. Ha ha. Zhu Jai was about to explain, but he ended up laughing. After a long time, Zhu Jai adjusted his mood, exhaled, and controlled himself to stop laughing. Brother, why did you breathe a sigh of relief? Su Luo and Zhu Jai adjusted themselves and raised their mouths again. Puff, there was laughter all around again. Su Luo, Zhu Jai shouted, stood up and pretended to hit Su Luo. Brother Jai, I was wrong. Su Luo immediately ran to the side and admitted her mistake. Su Luo, stop teasing Brother Jai and come here. Yi Xiaomu stretched out his hand and said to Su Luo. Su Luo smiled, put her hand on Yi Xiaomu's hand and sat back in her seat. After this commotion, the relationship between everyone became obviously much closer, which made Ding Lei nod secretly in his heart. Pa. At this time, Lu Jun came out and clapped his hands twice. Everyone looked at Lu Jun in confusion. It's like this. Su Luo discussed with us a while ago about the accommodation for the guests. We just built a room specifically for the guests to stay in. Thank you, Director Lu, Peng Xiaoman said. Hey, don't thank me yet. There are conditions if you want to get this house. Lu Jun waved his hand. What are the conditions? Zhou Yang asked. You need to complete a challenge. Having said this, Lu Jun showed a sly smile on his face, but immediately restrained it. Oh my God, Director Lu, were you smirking just now? Su Luo immediately stood up and pointed at Lu Jun. No, I didn't, don't talk nonsense. Lu Jun immediately waved his hand. I saw it all. We have received strict training and will never smile casually. Lu Jun said seriously. Chapter 35, is this the main daily routine you just mentioned?